Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joe Moran, and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And that's now episode 280. In this episode, we're going to debate whether or not the Warriors dynasty is over. Talk about the Lakers turnaround, Suns meltdown in Game 6, Heat knocking off the Knicks, give our biggest takeaways from the All-NBA team selection, and preview the conference finals. So today, Riv has honored Drew's bet of Lakers and Warriors, and you see Riv is dripped out right here.
Listen,
LeBron
man,
jersey, Lakers hat.
I feel good. It feels different.
You think I wear it for no reason? I look good in it.
I look
It's
good
simple.
in it. It
was really Draymond.
No, yeah. I lost. Lost the deal respectfully. Got to honor it.
I
Gotta
respect
come
that.
here.
I respect that.
And I feel good, stress-free. I have no more headaches, no more pain in my heart.
You faced the bottle of wine yesterday to get over it.
Yeah, I'm good now. Not a real NBA fan.
Are you going to tell the people how I did you a solid? You only have to wear it for today.
Oh, yeah. Drew, unfortunately, did not honor the whole bet and is letting me wear it for one episode. But we're here.
Legendary episode. I feel like, you know what? If you want to come see Riv in Lakers uniform, you're going to have to watch just today. Because a whole series would just have been just a little bit too much, if you ask me. And yesterday was just already one of the best days of my entire life. So I figure, you know what? One day's good enough. Riv was pretty spicy on my name a couple of days ago.
I said, fuck you.
Yeah, for sure.
That was hilarious.
It was.
And it's a big part of why it's going to be a huge fuck Riv energy today. So
don't worry, we got a lot today.
It's going to be an amazing, absolutely unbelievably perfect show if your name's Andrew Velez.
Definitely got a lot going on today. Before we get on to the first topic of the show, Dehls, we got some Boom Fantasy picks for this Game 7 of the Celtics and Sixers. A conference finals is on the line.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, we're going to get into the Celtics later, but it was nasty for about 42 minutes. My mentions were disgusting. I was in hell for a long time, but we got Game 7. We survived it. Tomorrow, 3:30 on Mother's Day. We got to start with Tatum, right? What his lines are looking like: 29.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 44.5 PRA. What do you guys like there? Any of them? I know you call him the under king.
Tatum is the under king. This is a pivotal game. But through 3 quarters, he was absolutely
1 for 14.
Garbage shooting from the field because he does impact the game in other ways. And that raised the question because I was talking to my friend who's a Celtics fan, not you, Dehls.
And you're nicer to him, I'm assuming?
We definitely have more civil conversations. And he told me, he was like, listen, I know you guys just had the Jason Tatum versus Devin Booker conversation, but here's my argument for Tatum. Notice how he's struggling from the field, but he's impacting the games in different ways. When it comes to Booker, if he is not shooting well from the field, he doesn't give you that same impact, and that's why he would lean Tatum because the shots will eventually fall. I don't know when because they haven't been falling all playoffs.
Fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, they fell down.
16
when we needed
points.
When we needed, they fell.
Well, look, Tatum is the under king. I'll take the under again on Tatum. He's the under king.
29.5? That's
Yes.
high.
That's 30
I'm going to go
points.
under.
7 in Boston.
29.5 high. I'm going under. That's a lot.
You going under 2, Riv? Fuck it. Everyone go under.
I mean that with respect. I think you guys will win the game.
No.
29.5 is a lot.
If that man is under 29, I don't know if he win the game.
35 Game 5.
I'm going to go over.
How many do you have?
35.
Oh, no. Game 6. How many do you have?
Last game, he had like 19.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll go on a limb here, and I'll say Tatum has been reading. He's been looking. He
Kobe
needs a big
highlights.
Game. Now, I'm not going to go that far. When people bring up Kobe highlights, they fail. So we're going to just leave Kobe's name. Rest in peace to Kobe. I think Tatum needs to have a big game, though. Game 7. His name has been in the mud. I'll go over.
Like, I still think that
John,
Tatum...
you got the lower third for the boom.
I still think Tatum can be that 25, 26, 27.
Mm-hmm.
Him not hit the over. Him still look effective. Celtics still win the game.
And we're still going to do the MLB giveaway. I'll be doing that sometime next week. So if you did enter, your name will be in the raffle. Okay, who else do you guys want to see? Embiid, Harden, Maxey.
I want to see
Maxey's
Harden.
been eating.
I'll tell you what, Maxey, I do want to hear the line.
Okay, we'll start with Harden. I'll do Maxey too. Harden, 20.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists.
Oh, that's easy.
36.5 PRA.
8.5 assists. It sounds pretty all day.
20.5 points.
Yes.
I'm going over on that.
I understand that. I only say 8.5 assists is because I look at last game and Harden was a little bit of a ball hog towards the end of the game, and I really would have liked Embiid to be a little bit
No
more
touches last
assertive.
4 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. That's inexcusable. It should not happen, especially when you're the MVP of the league. You need to dominate the basketball. 8.5 assists. I'm going to go over on James Harden. I think that he's going to be in a big facilitation mood when it comes to that game 7.
Over. Assist easily.
Yeah.
8.5.
Yeah, that's easy for him.
And you like
I
points?
like to stay away
That's
from
fine.
lines
The
that are
points
9
are
or
fine.
over.
Yeah.
9 or over lines just kicking my ass.
8.5. That's
Easy.
basically what Harden has done all season long.
I understand, but yeah,
I get where you're
given
coming
how they
from.
cover him, sometimes he just doesn't get
What's
that.
Maxey's vibe?
I'm gonna go with the points. So I think Harden has to have a big time scoring day
He does.
for the Sixers to win.
He does. Maxey, we got 21.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 28.5 PRA.
I don't love these lines.
2.5 is so fucking funny.
I don't
Oh,
love these.
yeah.
21 and a
2.5
half.
what?
21.5 points.
21.5 points.
But I think it's 2.5 rebounds.
No assists.
Assists.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't pass.
Yeah.
3
He
assists.
doesn't need to.
He's
just
fast
not-
as
yeah.
shit,
It's not his
and he
vibe.
gets buckets.
Yeah.
It's not really his vibe.
That's high. I don't know if I want to
I'm
answer
staying
any of
away.
this.
hot
I'm
the
staying
last
away
few
from
games.
that.
Yeah, agreed.
Respect.
That's a
Real
very
hot.
good answer.
What are
Just-
Horford's rebounds at?
Hold
You got
on,
Horford lines?
Hold on, Deli.
What's up?
Is this Horford's breakout game? What do you think?
Rebounding
Talk to me.
wise,
Oh my God. I can't make any.
No. All right,
aware.
forget about. We're not talking
You know
about
what,
Boom
Dehls?
Fantasy right now.
Um,
Joel Dehls is Al Horford back game 7, yes or no?
You would hope after back-to-back games, was he 1 for his last 13
Horrendous.
threes?
He's absolute dog shit.
At some point, they got to fall. He shot 45% from the regular season from 3. At some point, things have got to level out.
Maxey
All right,
last
we're
two
back to
games,
talking about Boom Fantasy.
Maxey's last 2 games, 26 points, 30 points. He had 21 field goals, 20 field goals before. I'll go over.
He's been
Fuck
cooking
it.
the last
I'll
couple
go Maxey
games.
over 21.
He's been OD.
He's a
He's
bucket.
been good.
He's been OD.
And you want Horford rebounds? He's at
Mhm.
7 rebounds.
Oh,
I'm
that's
good
a
off
little
that.
bit too high.
It's too much.
Yeah, I'm personally good off Horford. Personally.
That's a little bit. What about Rob Will?
Rob Will, I think, was it
Rob Will is
7.5
I
rebounds.
can never trust him.
7.5
Finish
points.
the game.
He
7.5
started
rebounds.
recently,
Yeah.
and
He
he'll start again.
Yes, he will. 1.5 blocks,
Mm.
16.5 PRA. Javante back at camp, expected.
I saw that.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Rob Will rebounds.
7.5.
So I'm going Harden points, Rob Will rebounds, and Tatum under.
Okay.
I'm a big 2-legger.
Tatum over. Tatum points over. Maxey points over. Harden assists.
You're going over Tatum points.
Yes, I
Okay.
think big game.
Oh,
I
you're a
got you.
believer.
I'm here with
You're a
you.
believer.
I'm here with you, brother.
Rub it
man.
off.
I still.
Let's go.
What? Stop.
My bad.
This guy
Yeah.
is nuts.
Yeah.
No, he's
Okay.
ridiculous.
No, he is, but we're good. Yeah, I'm going over. I'm going over King. You know me.
Okay.
I don't
Boom
play
Fantasy.
unders.
You could find the description or the link in the description. Use code PICKASIDE. Like we said, we were on a franchise tag last month. We're on the franchise tag again, man. Get those numbers up. Download Boom Fantasy. Use code PAS.
Getting
Help out
treated
the
like
show.
Daniel Jones out here, man.
Let's get it. Let's get it popping for the NBA Finals. The NBA
Yes,
Finals
sir.
coming up.
You know what? And I do have an announcement. An announcement that I really do hope that my mother is not watching for. Because the hope is that my mother's not listening, so I can share this news with her at another time. But she did text me thinking that, hey, you guys are late. You guys aren't starting
I
on
saw
time.
her. I saw in the comments.
She's in the comments?
I
I wouldn't
saw
say,
her earlier. I don't
I
see
wouldn't
her
say
now.
anything if I was you. Don't. She's in the comments, bro. Wait till like.
All right.
Don't.
Wait till we're 2 hours in.
Yeah,
'cause
she
we have
won't
like
be paying
17
attention 2
topics
hours
to
in.
cover.
All right, you know what? I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
We had a Miami Heat specific topic this episode, and I decided to chop it
Of course you did.
because I thought we could combine both these topics, even though the majority of it will be dominated by Lakers talk. But with the Lakers and the Heat now advancing to the conference finals, it does showcase that the Lakers and the Heat are both prime examples of increasing parity in the NBA and the potential of the play and actually being a successful staple. I think long term, that's what it shows. But we got on one side, we have the Heat making the conference finals as an 8th seed. Only second time that's happened in the East. First was the Knicks. We did it first. We made the finals too.
You lost.
The Heat's not going to do that. We know that. They're not going
You
to do
lost,
it.
right?
Huh?
Did you lose? Yeah,
Wait,
you did.
Patrick Ewing was injured.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we know the Heat not going to make the finals. I mean, that's obvious. Whether they face Philly, Celtics doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter,
They
right?
won't make it.
They
The
were
Lakers
Jimmy
got a
Butler
chance,
trade
though.
away.
The Lakers 7th seed, all the way to the conference finals, now facing the first seeded Nuggets.
Your Nuggets.
Now, Drew,
It's time.
I
It's
know.
time. It's time.
Remember when we were in 13th seed?
That was a lot. No, you know what's funny about the 13th seed? You guys were really 13.
We were really 13.
for like a minute too. It was like
No.
2 months locked in.
Remember
13.
when I had to sit in this chair
It was pain for you.
and absolutely take an onslaught of abuse? You remember that? And
You.
now here
hold
we
on,
are.
hold on, stop.
Me.
Yeah. Stop. Real
Are you
quick,
about to
stop.
go in?
Stop. Why you keep doing that to the Heat?
Doing what?
Like, just we know they're not gonna make the finals. Why you keep disrespecting the Heat?
Is it not true? I think I'm just.
I mean,
saying
you
truth.
thought the Bucks would come back 3-1. They
Mm.
didn't.
Yeah.
You thought the Knicks would wash them. Opposite. And now you're just completely wiping away the fact that they could go back to the finals.
You have become the spokesman for the Miami Heat. I'm just wondering why.
I'm just respecting all the game, man. I'm now unbiased.
Game.
I'm respecting game for game.
All
Spo.
10
You're
of his teams
disrespecting
are
Spo
gone.
right now.
I'm
All
over 10.
10 gone.
So
yeah,
no,
he's got
11.
nothing.
So now he's hopping on to another team in
no.
the Heat.
He's got
Troll.
non-biased
Troll.
eyes right
Who's
now.
trolling?
Him and I spoke about this. He said that the Heat were strictly for trolling purposes.
For jokes and giggles.
He said that he's out all 10. He's 0 for 10. He's willing to accept that. However, he needs to hold accountability.
Yes.
So here he is.
And
calling
you
out.
need the
You have to
Take
respect
accountability.
Spo.
and Bam.
Listen, I respect
And Jimmy
Spo.
Butler.
I think Eric
Best coach
Spoelstra
in the
is one of
game.
the best coaches
No, he's the best.
The
of
best.
all time.
Let me ask
Oh,
before
okay.
right now.
is he a top 5 coach all time? A lot of people have been trying to have this conversation with
I
me.
don't feel
He's
like
top
Damon
5
Butler.
all time.
Probably. Yeah, sure. We'll go with it.
I think he's one of the best coaches of all time. I don't know where he ranks.
I'm fine
but
with that.
I think he's
I'm
one
fine
of the
with
best
that.
coaches
I'm
of all
fine with that.
time.
It's a conversation for another day.
I don't like the Miami Heat.
I can see.
I don't care.
We know.
But why?
Because
made it abundantly
back in 2012 when we traded for Carmelo Anthony, I think it was 2011. You know, the Heat had LeBron James at that
Why
point.
don't we?
There
talk
was a
about
brewing rivalry
23?
with that.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I
wanna
just think
listen.
Why
if, you,
would
if
someone
you're
hate?
if
I just
you're
wanna
a,
listen.
if you're a Knicks fan, and Drew, I understand you're supposed to be a Knicks fan. I don't know how you don't understand this right now.
I chose the Knicks. I was wrong. I was pretty upset about it.
There is a rivalry between the Knicks and Heat historically.
This is a rivalry?
In 1999, well, it
Yeah,
used to
say
be
recently.
it used to be a great
Yes, in
rivalry
the 90s,
back in the 2000 late 90s. The Knicks in 1999, we beat the Heat in the second round to
Yeah.
make it to the conference finals. That's what we did.
Uh-huh.
Allen
That
Houston
Tim
buzzer beater.
Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning.
Yes. But here's
We
the
beat
25
that
years
team.
no,
ago.
here's the
What
joke
you
of it
doing?
all. You are holding on to a rivalry you have no part of.
You weren't even
Oh,
Oh,
alive. yet.
I watch highlights and I still
You
feel
weren't
very
born.
strongly.
He wasn't alive.
I feel very strongly when I watch those games.
You have
I
no.
do.
There's
It's
no
the
emotion
same.
into
It's
it.
the same reason why if we face the Pacers in the playoffs, it's the same
All right, but
thing.
Joel, I really do want to talk about this on an analytical standpoint. What does 2012 have to do with 2023?
I don't like the Heat.
I can understand that, but we're supposed to be unbiased. I remember if you go into Joel V. Moran's Twitter bio, it says the most unbiased
Really?
podcaster in the world.
I am
Fucking
unbiased.
The
hilarious.
lies start
So
early. You go
talk
right on
to
his
me.
page, you see a lie.
On an analytical standpoint, why is it that the Heat are these so-called frauds?
And if I was biased,
Uh-huh.
I'd be saying that he can make the finals because we all know they obviously can't. If
Oh.
I was biased, it proved that I'm a fan of the Heat, thinking they can make the finals.
I'm curious.
Me being
Where's the
unbiased,
correlation?
That
me,
makes no
me,
sense.
me
I
being,
don't know.
me
You're
being
losing me.
unbiased proves me saying that he can't make the finals proves I am unbiased.
But you just
because
lost
they
to that.
cannot
But
beat
you
the
just
Celtics.
said you
they
hate.
cannot
You just
beat the
said you
Sixers.
hate the Heat.
I do, but I still unbiased.
He
I'm
lost
unbiased
his
about it.
completely.
No, you.
I'm unbiased about it.
I'll
You
be
asked me
honest,
why I
have
don't like
no
the
clue
Heat.
What you're saying.
I don't like the Heat because, for one, I think it's the same reason why when KD went to the Warriors, there was a disdain for the Warriors, although it already existed. When LeBron joined up with D Wade and Chris Bosh came along, there was a disdain for the Heat.
Mhm.
I was one of those people to hate the Miami Heat when that happened.
But those times are dead and gone.
Those times-
JT
it's
and
I don't
still-
even
Jersey.
really hate the Heat.
It still
I don't
still
like
lingers
them,
on.
but, like,
The rivalry still carries on for
fucking
me.
hate them.
It still carries on for me. I don't like
It still
Miami
carries
Miami
on for me.
Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Marlins. I don't like them.
Oh no, that's obvious. You don't like the Dolphins. Yeah, very
We know
clear.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing Miami.
I think there's someone specific on the Dolphins, but anyhow,
No, Dolphins, I really don't.
No,
like.
that's more of a one-person thing, though. I think.
it is.
Well, I'm unbiased too when it comes to Dolphins. We all know Tua is not that good, and he proved it. December stretch.
Told me he had a phenomenal season.
Yeah, statistically, numbers wise, you watched the tape. It wasn't that impressive. It wasn't.
Holy
know.
shit,
It's good to know.
Let's get into the show.
man!
Lakers turnaround, historic turnaround this season. We got into the topic. You know, Heat and Lakers going to the conference finals. The Heat aren't that exciting. They're like a
Oh,
grit and grind
We
team.
don't care.
We understand.
With all due respect.
So let's talk about the Lakers because that's what people are here for. They're not here for the Heat talk. They're here for the Lakers talk. So, Riv,
Yo,
wearing your Lakers gear, how are you feeling? And Drew, quickly respond to how you feeling with Riv wearing this Lakers gear
I feel amazing.
and how you feel with the disrespect these two have been spewing on your Lakers all year long.
These two is crazy.
So,
Are we gonna start with B or we're gonna start with you?
No,
And
we
see,
can-
I didn't understand
No,
how
we
you
can- we
approached
can-
that.
we can
You can
roll
go
out.
ahead, Riv. We know that people.
me
wanna
and
hear
Drew
but
have had very multiple conversations about the Lakers versus the Warriors. For the most part, it's been nothing but respect on both.
for the most
ends.
part,
Yeah.
until you fucking
Listen,
cross the line.
Listen. I may have got a little excited on Twitter.
Bro thought he was part of the team.
And listen, what happened? Let me tell you exactly what happened. I didn't like the energy after Game 5. I felt like Drake could have used that energy in games 1 through 4. Felt like the team was down. So I feel like fans needed me to up the spark up a little bit, and the fans needed that. I didn't have to name drop Drew's name. I could have just said fuck the Lakers. But a little bit more exciting, more funny, a lot more giggles.
Got more interaction.
Yeah, a lot more giggles if you add them.
Hey, we're all sellouts.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
Listen,
with that.
Not me. Not me.
No, but to talk about the series, the Lakers are a great defense. They play great defensively. The Warriors couldn't hit shots. It was just Steph and the rest of men. I couldn't really name too many people out there that was helping them out.
Even Chenzo.
But oh yeah, he was good for a couple games. Every other night, though, you saw with the Lakers, a role player stepped up, and I think that's the most important part. Their depth was really good. It could have been D'Lo one night, Reeves one night, Dennis Schroeder another night, Rui for a game. They had a role player step up every single night, and AD was playing. Me and Drew was talking about in the car, great defensively since Tim Duncan. We haven't seen a guy big hold down the interior defense like this since Tim Duncan. And I think that is what led the ship. You know, LeBron and AD weren't great offensively, scoring-wise, but the role players locked in defensively. They were great. They were able to shut down the Warriors' role players. And it was really just Steph and others. I mean, there was a stat that I saw about high-quality shots. The Warriors were getting a lot of high-quality looks. They just weren't
Especially
making
Clay.
shots. Yeah, listen, we'll get on him later.
Okay.
But, yeah, I got a bone to pick with him. But, and then you saw Ham put on, like we talked about all this shit in the car, but you saw Ham put on a masterclass in terms of just making Steph work on the other end, making him tired. I think after game 3, I'm gonna say it in a minute. After game 3, it went from Steph shooting 41% from the 3-point line to like 28. You know, you could tell the legs was gone. He had to work defensively and then carry the load offensively. Ham out-coached Kerr. It was blatantly obvious. The rotations was great. The adjustments was great. You haven't seen in a long time an experienced coach like that, which I told him he wasn't really that experienced.
That's a fact.
But an experienced coach like that get outworked by a first-year head coach in the playoffs. But shout out to the Lakers. They was amazing. AD, great. And this next series is going to be great. In terms of the Warriors, man, Clay, Poole, listen, Korea's been calling me. I'm gonna tell you, Korea's been calling me. And I've been on the phone with a lot of countries.
China hung up. They hung up. China hung up.
China hung up. Japan hung up. Russia didn't even respond. I've been trying to figure out what's going on.
Russia's busy.
But Clay and Poole combined for like 15 to 16 points back-to-back games. Poole didn't score the last 2 games. Clay was dog shit, missing a lot of open looks. It's just Steph and the Warriors couldn't get enough offensive output as where the Lakers got a new guy every other night, and I think that was the difference.
How do you feel about being wrong about the Lakers? Blatantly wrong.
Don't answer. And this is when it's Andrew's time to go. And I'm sure, again, everyone's tuning in to hear me speak about the Los Angeles Lakers. You want to know why? Because the Los Angeles Lakers are box office. Do you remember when I told you that the Lakers are box office, but apparently no one wanted to watch them? Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, you weren't box office at the time.
But I know he remembers it.
Oh, okay.
Because
everyone who said that?
Because
that was you.
My good friend Joel V. Moran told me that the Lakers aren't worth watching. I don't watch the Los Angeles Lakers. And
too late for me.
And it's super funny how I miss a podcast because I'm here studying for my NCLEX and I'm working very diligently, but never ever think that I don't keep focus with my pride and joy, the Pick a Side podcast, because I was absolutely floored to hear Joel speak in a positive light of the Los Angeles Lakers. And in fact, John, if you could do me a favor, can you please
look at the landscape of the NBA playoffs right now? Is there an argument you could make against the Lakers not being the best team in the playoffs currently? You look at the Celtics, they're the most talented. But in terms...
Did you hear that? The Los Angeles Lakers are the most talented team in the NBA playoffs right now.
I said talented?
I think the clip did say talented.
I said best.
Oh,
even better.
You said Celtics were the most talented.
Even better. The Lakers are the best because talent only takes you so far. What gets you there is the extra hard work. The Los Angeles Lakers are the best team in the NBA playoffs. And why that's so phenomenal is because all I've heard all year long is that the Lakers are not worth watching, that the Los Angeles Lakers are not good. I sat here. We're going to lose to the Timberwolves once we made the play-in, of course. Nuts. I sat here and was told that the Lakers were going to lose in 5 games to the Memphis Grizzlies, although they had injuries, and we just decided to gloss over them. I was told that Anthony Davis and LeBron James were question marks in the Golden State Warriors series. And now all I'm hearing is now the Los Angeles Lakers are the best team in the NBA playoffs. And it's going to be even sweeter when we have conversations about the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets preview later on in the show. Now for Riv, because of course I had to talk about him because he decided to take a vulnerable moment when I wasn't on the show to talk nicely about the Lakers. And I'll be fucking remiss. I'll be fucking remiss if I hear positive comments coming from Joel V. Moran about the Los Angeles Lakers. Now I'm going to talk about you, Riv, and why I'm going to be so brash with you. It's very shocking because I'm usually nice to you. You're one of the nicest people I know. I really don't like to have negative energy towards you, but you decided to say fuck Drew.
Yeah, no, I did.
For comedic purposes, which, hey, I understand more than anyone. I like making another man laugh as much as the next person. It was funny. I even laughed. But I laughed even harder when we blew you out by 20 to close the series out.
I also laughed.
You know what? And if, John, you could do me another favor, if you could pull up the graphic.
Bro's got receipts.
If you could do me a favor, the tweet, not the stats, the tweet, please. And I'm solely pulling this up because Riv decided to play stupid when I decided to bring up the fact that people overrate Jordan Poole. John, let me know when you have it up because Riv was one of those guys that said Jordan Poole can be a poor man Steph Curry. And when I brought it up saying that Riv said this, he said, "Oh, I never said that. That's just Twitter." But ironically enough, John, do you have? Oh, there it is on the lower third. Here's Riv.
He said that.
Here's Riv.
You're not coming back from that.
Saying that Jordan Poole can be a poor man Steph Curry.
That was this year.
That's crazy.
Someone said you must be a maniac.
That's
January 12th.
And what did January 12th, 2023?
I said it last year.
You're cooked. You're cooked.
I thought I said last year. All right. Why the fuck did I?
Someone said you must be a maniac for that.
I think he was starting at the moment. Yeah.
Let's see Warriors.
Yeah. Fuck.
And I'm sure you can show the last 3 games, and I'm only pulling up the last 3 games because the only games that matter to me is everything after Riv saying Austin Reeves was mid. So why the last 3 games matter so much to me is because if you could just pull up Jordan Poole's numbers for me, please.
I'm
Jordan Poole in the last 3 games of the series, 6 points, 3.3 assists. Hey, not bad. 1.3 rebounds.
Or the splits.
It doesn't even matter.
You don't want to fucking know.
He scored 0.
Because he had more fouls at one point than points. But here's Austin. Austin Reeves, Mr. Regular, Mr. Undrafted, 20 points per game, 5 assists, 4.7 rebounds, 36% from 3. Mr. Regular, outperforming poor man Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So talk to me, Riv, because I'm genuinely shocked. Steph Curry, I know you never said this because you know what? At least I can respect you. You have somewhat of a brain. This was someone that was supposed to enter Mount Rushmore with a W in this series. He was supposed to enter Mount Rushmore. Again, I say this because you have a brain and you're not illogical to this degree. Yeah. Steph Curry was supposed to enter the Mount Rushmore. What happened? Because in a game 6, in a closeout game where you're expecting the best player in the world, Stephen Curry, to show up, the real best player when he wants to be, when he asserts himself, because he understands that at 38 years old, he needs to be tactical when he decides to be the true King James, decides to be the best player on the court from start to finish, a 39-9 game. And as we saw the series progress, I started to see that 3-point percentage slowly but surely, as bad as it was, start to increase. And what's really insane to me is that in a game 6 where you expect Steph Curry to be his best, where I don't think Steph Curry was per se horrible.
You thought he was to blame for what we got?
I wouldn't say he was to blame, but it's not the Steph Curry we were expecting. Were you expecting that Steph Curry?
No, it's almost like in order to beat LeBron, he does need Kevin Durant.
Were you expecting that Steph Curry, the inefficient Steph Curry that was?
Let's
no.
He did it.
Riv,
he did
I'm
it.
sorry.
He did it.
I'm still talking.
Riv,
I'm sorry. Let me finish.
When you're done.
Agreed.
I'm just letting you know he did it.
Of course, listen, this is a Lakers Warriors topic, and I'm sure they want to hear from us.
You don't need to talk about Kevin Durant.
No. You did it.
It's facts.
You brought it up. He's done now.
Klay Thompson. This guy is supposed to be one of the greatest number 2s of all time. He was historic in the regular season for his standards, a career high in points. He's going to come into the Lakers series, which he was saying that he's been looking forward to his entire life. He idolized Kobe Bryant, one thing you can respect for sure, but he comes into Laker Nation, comes into Crypto.com arena and puts up this performance. Andrew Wiggins is one that I can salute because he was playing through injury. However, he didn't play very well. Draymond Green was very clearly your second best player all series long. And when Draymond Green is your second best player, you revert back to that Golden State Warriors team that missed the playoffs when you didn't have Clay.
You played the Grizzlies?
When you played the Grizzlies, you played the Los Angeles Lakers, and you didn't make
Wiggins was actually
the
on that team.
playoffs. He was. And Curry was a MVP finalist, number 2. But think about it. When you don't have Clay playing at Clay standards, and Andrew Wiggins isn't the number 2 option that you saw last season, you watch this Golden State Warriors that was in this series against the Los Angeles Lakers. I told you before the series started, we're better on every front except shooting. And that was emphasized this series. I told you the Lakers were going to win in 6 games, and you told me I'll see the Warriors win in 6 before I see the Lakers win in 6. All I have asked this entire season is for respect. And again, I want to emphasize, the job is not done. I'm taking this minor victory lap because I was laughed at.
We're talking for 20 minutes.
and if you think this is a lot, wait until we fucking win the entire championship.
Goddamn.
It's good monologue.
I was laughed at when we were the 13th seed,
You
the
had
11th seed, the 9th seed. We weren't the 9th seed when we had Westbrook.
13 though, for sure.
Kendrick Nunn.
And then I was told that we weren't going to
rough
make it
roster.
past the play-in. We weren't going to make it past the first round. Golden State, that's where this amazing run was going to end. Bring me the Denver Nuggets. Bring me Nikola Jokic. Because all I've emphasized is that this Lakers team is for real. And that Anthony Davis will continue to assert himself as the best big in the game. This is the test that I've been waiting for. Nikola Jokic, the so-called best big in the game, and it's deserved. He's been unbelievable this postseason. But here we are, the best defensive big versus the best offensive big. Which will matter more? Because Anthony Davis is no slouch when it comes to the offense. And when it comes to defense, we are watching the single-handed greatest postseason run by a defensive player ever.
Oh,
this is
my
a
God.
dominant.
2020?
I think he's been way more impressive this go round because his shot blocking, his rim protection has been even more heightened. The Los Angeles Lakers have exceeded all expectations, but we're not done because the Denver Nuggets are next on this list. And then we'll continue to talk about the championship when we get there. But right now, we have to finish our food, and that's the Denver Nuggets. But again, I told you so. Lakers in 6.
Whew.
That was a lot. Thanks.
And you know why it was a lot? Because again, I sat here all year long
6 minutes.
hearing your disrespect. So I'm allowed.
You are.
I'm sure you
You're
see
for
these
sure.
fans.
You are.
I'm not even reading the comment section. All I know is what they're saying.
Cook.
Let Drew cook. Because I've sat through abuse nonstop. And Riv, I want to shake your hand. Because you are a very respectable human being. Very few people can take the abuse that I just gave.
Pause.
I lost. Let me know.
Very appreciative. I appreciate that. You're a true man.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Appreciate
What's up, fellas?
Oh,
What
Dehls,
got going
hey, you got
on?
something to say? You got something to add on to
He
it?
said a lot.
He
He
said
said a
ton.
lot. And my biggest takeaway from it is I really do hope for your sake Lakers do win.
Don't get
Because
me going.
this
Don't get me
this
going.
feels very reminiscent of week 2 Dolphins 2 of 500 yards.
You want to know the
And
difference?
then nothing
Here's
happened.
the difference.
Why did you
Here's the
do that?
fucking difference.
Why did you
We're in the
do that?
fucking playoffs. The shit you said we wouldn't even fucking reach. So what you're going to do is respect us the way that you respected us on that last podcast that I wasn't a part of, Mr. Moran.
There's no disrespect.
So what you're going to do is
There's no
talk to the
disrespect.
camera. Call us the best team in the NBA playoffs.
And listen, Dehls, and Riv
Listen,
Dehls,
Dehls,
I want
what?
you guys to be witness because you came up here talking about you conveniently talk great about the Lakers when I was gone. Well, listen, they just took a 3-1 lead over the Warriors, and
reigning
here's
champions.
what we're not about to do. Because not everything happens on the show. There are some things behind closed doors. And even on the podcast, Drew mentioned it. We had an intimate conversation at Blue 42
It's true.
talking about the Lakers. And I told him, listen, I think you guys got a legit chance. I told him, look
Who was
them in
your
the
last
eyes.
hope? Who was your last
I
hope?
said
Do you
the
remember?
Warriors are my last hope because I think we will see about Denver. The clip you played, while yes, that's true, I do think that one of the things that the Lakers will try to do is force Jokic to go one-on-one more because AD can handle that type of coverage. The Nuggets have so many different disposals on their offense that they can use. They have run Nikola Jokic as a pick and roll ball handler. I don't want to get too in depth into it because we're going to do a preview on it. But I do think that games 5 and 6 showed me that Denver can win even if Jokic is going one-on-one or they're forcing you to go one-on-one because Denver has adjustments for that. What I will say about the Lakers, and this is the biggest surprise this season to me, is that Darvin Ham has been an excellent coach.
Amazing.
Every single game, he's made a different adjustment. And although he's caught a lot of scrutiny from Lakers fans these playoffs, from the media these playoffs, his rotations have been questionable. I excuse that because it's a new team. He's trying to figure out what works right now. And fans think they know what works. These are the guys that are watching the film all the time that feel more comfortable in their decision-making. And Darvin Ham has adjusted brilliantly. Vando starts off the series. They start off in drop coverage. They now have Vando guarding Steph Curry. They now switch and have smaller guards guarding Steph. You eventually have Schroeder starting in the lineup because they know Vando is limited offensively, and you can sag off him defensively. So I think the adjustments that Darvin Ham has made throughout the series has been very impressive. But to the Lakers' credit, this is one of the greatest historic midseason turnarounds that we've seen.
For sure.
Up there with you guys.
And I apologize for not seeing this coming because even last year with the Celtics, I didn't see it coming either. They look so horrendous.
Saw that coming.
Me.
Okay.
It was
me. You didn't. I'm not saying you didn't.
They look so horrendous. I was ready to rule them out, and they made the finals. So the Lakers, of course, you now have depth around LeBron and Anthony Davis. They're both healthy. They can make this deep of a run. I'm not ready to just cast Denver aside as some easy opponent. I think it's going to be tough.
It's going to be an amazing series.
It's one of the series that I'm having trouble predicting. What I do feel, and this is what I feel very confident in, I said in that clip, I don't trust the Boston Celtics. I don't trust them.
Back to you.
And it is, and as much as and as much as I love the Philadelphia 76ers, specifically James Harden in that bright of a moment, I am not sure what I'm gonna get. I don't know. Right now, the teams that I'm feeling the most confident in the NBA landscape are the Lakers and the Nuggets. And with that clip, all I said was, is there an argument you can make against the Lakers? Because anybody here can make an argument for the Lakers being the best team left in the playoffs. You can make that over the Nuggets.
For sure. I prayed for this, man.
Yeah, you did.
I prayed for this.
Hey, you took a beating. You took a bashing for months. Listen, to our defense, the Lakers were terrible and weren't box office for months. And then once that deadline happened, they got some pieces. And I think in terms of turnarounds post-deadline, this is probably the best I've ever seen. I think Celtics' second half, the record was just so ridiculous last season that you probably give the nod to them. But I think this might be even more impressive because the Celtics still had the same players, right? Outside of Derek White, they didn't really make any moves last season. And it was still the same guy, same coach, and they just, energy shifted, as Jalen Brown said. Yeah, I'm saying last year why it shifted. But the Lakers, what's interesting is that obviously you made the moves at the deadline, but the reason you won against specifically the Warriors was still mostly the pieces you had pre-deadline. It was still obviously LeBron and AD. Rui, you got around the deadline, but you had Austin Reeves step up, right? Vando earlier in the series, later he kind of got fizzled out of the rotation because offensively he was a liability. But the first couple of games, guarding Steph Curry and Schroeder, as you mentioned too, was playing some really good on-ball defense, hit some timely shots. Every once in a while, he'll have a brainhead moment here and there. But
Lonnie fucking
yes, sir. Lonnie Walker single-handedly won you a game in the series.
Last night.
Right, so
Walker was really I understand. I would have turned it off if I was you too.
And Lonnie was hitting 3 after 3 yesterday. But it just felt like this Laker team, even though it went 6, it really never felt like the Warriors had a chance in the series. If we're being honest, I know it was 6 games.
When we were up 17, you guys brought it to 6. My stomach started.
Yeah,
to
and I think
once Reeves hit that half-court shot,
that's a fact.
I was like that. That felt like a real dagger in the heart because you You were cut it. It was up 17 early. You cut it down to
I felt
6.
good. I was
You have a
talking
wide
mad
open
nasty
3
right
air
quick.
ball. Even Chendra's
Yo,
there
we was
for a
up, they was
layup.
up 17. We came back. I'm already in the crib. I'm like, yeah, nigga,
Yeah,
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
Relax.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
like,
you're
yeah,
okay.
it's up. Like, I was talking, stepped in the air one. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, shit
Then
was
went
getting
this
active.
brief Poole dumbass just
Yo,
Yeah.
Let him
Poole
shoot. I was
having
just like-
4 fouls, 0 points.
the foul
was
where he just ran
nasty.
down on. I'm
Nah,
like,
it was
what do you
it
like?
was
I
some
was
real.
so, like,
He had a couple nice moments in the
Facts,
second half
yep.
where he hit a
I
couple
don't care. I
and
didn't watch
ones.
the second
I
half.
think when it comes to how the Lakers look against the Warriors, most of it can be attributed to they just were a better team. I think that facing the Kings in the first round definitely took its toll. Guarding that
They were
offense,
gassed, especially
guarding
yesterday.
that
They were
offense,
gassed,
having
the
to move around,
Warriors.
it definitely took a toll. That game, the series won 7 games.
And it was very impressive how the Lakers are able to play the Grizzlies,
What do you think, Griff?
who are
Did it
paint
take a
dominated.
I don't give
toll?
a fuck.
Did it take a toll on the Golden State Warriors?
It did. I think
Talk
that's
to
fair.
me. Do
Hey,
you think
this
you have
past
championship
game, you guys
I
look
think
cooked.
it took a toll on Steph, but I think
Steph had to drop 50 for y'all to win.
Remember?
Steph, yeah.
No. And here's an example because, of course, I'm the LeBron fan. I'm only a LeBron fan. It's the only reason I'm a Lakers fan. So let's revert back to 2018 when we went 7 games against the Indiana Pacers.
Mhm.
Was it fatigue that we went on to win in 4 games against
Are you-
Toronto?
Why don't you ask the guy?
No,
who-
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at
Oh.
you because you're in my line of sight. Would fatigue have bothered LeBron James in that series?
You can make the argument.
just
now,
curious.
I guess.
To win in 4 games, wouldn't he be fatigued? When you're the reigning NBA champions,
We're talking about the Raptors, bro.
no, and we're talking about the Lakers. You told me who
the
weren't
Raptors.
worth anything, weren't worth
Yeah.
watching, weren't worth talking about.
They weren't at the time.
So talk to
Absolutely
me.
Not. They
You
were
picked
not.
the Warriors to win.
Yes.
You said Anthony Davis, LeBron James were your concerns this series.
I don't know about Anthony Davis.
You said Anthony Davis was a concern.
Why?
You said Anthony Davis was
Why
a
did I
concern.
say it was a
LeBron
concern?
James was a concern. You said LeBron James was a concern because he hasn't looked like the same LeBron James. And you said Anthony Davis was a concern because he's been, quote unquote, inconsistent.
he was kind of inconsistent this series.
Offensively.
But defensively, this is the best defensive
Yes,
player
for
we've
sure.
seen
Stop
since
saying
that.
Tim Duncan.
I mean,
okay.
I never said.
And listen,
before he said
and
all
I
time.
and no,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
he's
only
all
gripe.
time.
I
That's my
still
only gripe.
feel that confident because again, we see what Anthony Davis is able to do around the perimeter against your GOAT, Steph Curry.
Steph
Not
Curry
one
points per possession was insane on
but
AD.
Steph Curry
But-
was. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest scorers
Yeah,
of all time.
but
We're
his-
talking
you're
about
talking
one of the
about-
greatest
you're
players of all time.
highlighting
That
two
game
possessions.
four-
In
that
the
game
biggest
four
moment
was
of a
huge.
game.
Yeah,
That
but-
game 4 was huge.
In
No,
the
I
biggest
understand,
moment of
but
the
his
game. Not
points
one,
per possession.
not one
That-
shot
that
attempt,
decided
Riv.
the game.
Not one shot attempt, Riv, but 2.
That decided the game. That decided the
So
series.
that makes
damn
you
near.
the
Anthony
greatest
Davis-
big man
Anthony
defender
Davis got
of all time.
Steph Curry so scared
Scared.
that he jacked up
Well, I mean, he's a
arguably
rim
worst
protector.
3 shot. Why isn't he taking Anthony Davis to the rim?
He was doing that
But he didn't do it in that possession.
in the fourth,
Why?
but he was doing that the first 3 quarters.
When
Why
it
don't you explain to me
mattered-
why he couldn't do it in the fourth?
You want to know why?
Why?
Why is that? Because again, we
Clay
understand-
wasn't making. Poole wasn't making.
Nobody.
Okay, but
Wiggins
that
was
has
making.
nothing to do
Steph
with
was
anything.
carrying
Why
them
isn't he?
for 3
Did you
straight
answer my
quarters.
question? Did you answer my question? Why is Steph Curry not driving to the basket on Anthony Davis
Why didn't he? Okay, my thing is he did
Answer-
it the first 3 quarters. He didn't do it
in
in
the
fourth.
biggest moment of the game when you're down 1?
Probably 'cause
Why?
he was tired.
So you're tired in the biggest moment of the game when you're supposed to give everything.
He's gassed.
You're going to jack up not 1 but
I
2.
admit it was a
ill-advised
horrible shot.
Which shot was worse in your opinion, guys? Because I already got his opinion, and you can answer too. Which shot was worse, Jordan Poole's 3 in Game 1, or Steph Curry's 3 on Anthony
It
Davis?
was Steph's 3.
I think it was Steph's 3.
Which one was worse?
Worse. Which was a worse shot selection?
I think it was Poole's.
I think it was
Really?
Steph's.
Steph step back 40
John-
footer.
Yeah,
John,
that
you know
shit
what, bro?
was-
I'm sorry, bro.
That was
In your
like mad
opinion, which
time.
is a
That
worse
was like,
shot?
I don't want to get blocked and get embarrassed. I'm going to just chuck this shit up.
I understand, but it's Steph. Like I trust him with that shot.
Jordan Poole was wide open at minimum.
He was.
I think it
He was
was
at the
wide
open.
logo.
Nah,
So was Steph.
He was definitely-
Steph was deeper for sure.
No. Jordan
Steph was
Poole was
deeper.
deeper.
Steph was
When he
right
took that
next to
shot.
him, and the man was in front of him.
Steph was
The issue
deeper.
becomes, why didn't Steph drive?
Okay, like we can go back and forth on this all day. I think what Riv is pointing out that the Warriors did have success on Anthony Davis in the pick and roll all series. And that is a real thing. The Warriors, what he mentioned earlier was facts with how this is why they lost the series. They didn't make shots. Their shot quality was amazing. They just didn't make shots.
Their defense was
And sometimes that happens. And
On and off.
I want to push back. Anthony Davis, I know he's an elite defender. I'll never question that. Offensive consistency is what I question. LeBron James, I don't think he looked like the same LeBron in this series, and that's not a knock.
Game
Okay,
when you need
listen.
it, the king the most.
He could put. He got
and that's not a knock.
It's
It's not a knock saying LeBron isn't 2018 no more. LeBron is still a great top 10 player, but his game is limited now because he just drives to the basket and he's inconsistent getting to the lane. He's averaging the least amount of drives he's ever had in his career, and his jump shot is very spotty.
He's been a post-up player recently, and it's
game six, he had a great game, 30 points. He was shooting the ball terrific. I attribute that to Andrew Wiggins was coming into this game with a rib injury, and LeBron, being the player he is, decided to attack that early and decided to post him up and be physical with Andrew Wiggins early. And Wiggins can't really push back because he's injured and can't give much physicality.
And I'll push back against that with a lot of these matchups that I saw with LeBron James were either Klay Thompson, which LeBron was taking advantage of that, putting him in the post, or when Jordan Poole was on the court, it was whoever offense on Jordan Poole. And that's when it was a body bag, or we'd switch on to Steph Curry. It was a lot of switching, and if LeBron James saw Klay Thompson, he was taking advantage of that by putting him in the post. And even with Andrew Wiggins, he was not afraid. He was backing him down. He was driving to the basket. He was drawing fouls. That was
in game 6, though.
I'm saying 6.
Yeah. 1 through 5, Wiggins was very good.
He was doing his thing, but again, when LeBron James understood, hey, it's time to close. We don't need question marks on the series. LeBron was undoubtedly the best player on the court.
Yeah, 30 and efficient 30.
No, there's no doubt. Game 6, I think he was the best player on the court. But games 1 through 5, he wasn't. And I thought it was a mixture for the Lakers when they won games. For the most part, it was Anthony Davis, but then you had the Lonnie Walker game.
Still leads the team in points this postseason.
I understand that. And LeBron James is still a phenomenal player. I'm not knocking him in no way, shape, or form. I am just saying those question marks were valid because he did not dominate this series like I've seen LeBron do in the past, and he still struggled to get into the basket.
I had the same questions, but the Lakers still ended up winning the series with LeBron outside of game 6 not being a dominant offensive player. His shot came around these last few games. I mean, coming into the series, he was in the 20s in three-point percentage. He shot, I think, 33, 34%. So you see the jump shot coming along, but that was my biggest issue or my biggest concern coming into the series was how are you going to keep up with the Warriors if LeBron's not going to be able to give you 27 a night? And I think I definitely overlooked the fact that the Lakers were able to make this switch from going against the Grizzlies, who at any time really never had more than 3 shooters you respected. You really just had to lock down the paint. The fact that they were able to switch and go against the Warriors, who, usually have 3, sometimes 4 shooters out there, except when they have a Looney and Draymond lineup out there. They were able to make that switch, and some of it was the Warriors just not making shots, but a lot of it was the ball pressure. You saw AD obviously continue to be the best defensive player in the NBA right now. Reeves go down the perimeter, Schroeder go down the perimeter. So a lot of credit, although we had that question, is that LeBron can probably still put up 23, 24 a game, but if their defense is going to be this good, they can limit a powerhouse like the Warriors. They can limit a powerhouse like Denver, and they just have to hit timely threes like they did for, I would say, about half of this series, right? They had the game or this past game they shot.
Man, we shot horrendously.
Yeah, you had multiple games against the Warriors. You were shooting in the 20s, but last game 6, you shot 50% from 3, made 13. You had another game, you made 13 threes, shot around 30, 40%. So if they're hitting their timely shots with their defense, LeBron doesn't have to be that dominant scorer.
Yeah, I don't want this to turn into a Lakers Nuggets preview because we're going to save that later. But we can go back to those points.
Talk to me, Riv.
I don't know. I think they're going to need that because Denver, the thing with why they didn't need LeBron to be on that, Warriors weren't hitting shots.
I know.
So they offensively, they couldn't keep up with themselves because they could not hit any shot. They were getting open looks they couldn't hit. The difference between Denver is they've been pretty much, for the most part, consistent, at least at home. The Warriors weren't good at home or in the road in terms of just hitting shots. If you told me this, Klay wasn't good at all. The Warriors didn't have a second guy or a third guy consistently hitting shots from the outside or even a fourth guy. So it's like, LeBron, you're right. LeBron he doesn't need to do that because at that point,
he's saving himself. He's being smart. He understands that this upcoming series against Denver is going to be all eyes on Anthony Davis and Jokic. But who really is going to be the X factor? LeBron James, because realistically, who on that team is supposed to guard LeBron?
Even still, they're putting up 117, 120. They're still being able to put up
that's a good matchup. If you're Anthony Davis, you're Nikola Jokic, you're looking at, hey, that's pretty even. But there's no real even matchup for LeBron James with the Denver Nuggets.
Respect Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, yeah, he's a solid
all
defender.
I've done is respect Aaron Gordon all season. Let's be real.
I don't remember. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
What are you looking at there, Dehls?
I was seeing, because Riv was saying like how the Warriors were just beating themselves. So I was curious. The Lakers, it was really half the games where they were offensively dominant. They have, I think I lost it, but I think 3 games of 117 plus points. If you're hitting that total with the defense they play, you're going to be winning a lot of games.
Like
it's just their shot tendency.
So this one game, right?
Making, really.
This one game. This is game 4. The Lakers aren't that great of a 3-point shooting team.
Agreed.
The Warriors shot 29% from 3.
Yeah, no, the Warriors have a lot of
this is
ones.
12 for 41.
But again, now that we can look at it in the grand scheme of things, game 1, the Warriors were probably the best they were going to shoot all series long.
That first quarter, they hit 7
shot
threes,
almost.
right?
Yeah, that's why I don't attribute the fatigue thing. I think the King series was tough, but
game 1, they looked tired.
Game 1, they came out and tried to steal game 1, a game that me and Riv, who's the Warriors fan, even believed game 1 was going to be the Lakers.
They're coming off a 7-game series.
And they hit over 40% of their threes. They hit over 20 threes, and they still lose the game at home. Their dominant trait is their shooting. They put it on full display game 1. The Lakers were atrocious. The 3-point shooting team that the Lakers are supposed to be were exactly that game 1. And they still were able to come out with the win on the road. It just should highlight how great and how versatile this team is.
It is.
I think it's great.
Shots, especially, sorry, go ahead.
I think it's great for the NBA that we have this much parity. And I understand it is a bit cloudy because you do have a team like the Lakers that can make 2 trades and now become contenders, but not every team has the luxury of having Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And you're lucky you have LeBron, freaking guy. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of LeBron.
I bet you are. And you're probably one of those guys, hey, LeBron's 30 years old. This fuckery can't go on much longer.
No, trust me. I know it can go on longer. That's why
And you know what? And I put respect on your name in this one aspect because you put up multiple TikToks praising LeBron James' longevity. And that's all you can do. But the last thing I want to touch on when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, and we're going to talk about them later, so I'm lying. But let's talk about the bubble real quick. Is it a fluke? You have the
2 completely different scenarios.
You have the 2 teams that made it to the NBA Finals.
No, but I just think it's 2 completely different scenarios.
And I agree, right? Now you had it where the bubble was supposed to be, hey, this is easy basketball. This is supposed to be where people felt they're most comfortable, no fans. Hey, they're getting off every shot. They feel good. They feel confident. No real no real animosity that they're supposed to be feeling. But here we are, 3 years removed, and potentially all 4 teams that were in the Western Conference Finals in 2020 will be in the Western Conference Finals so long as the Boston Celtics closed out this series against the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay. So I just bring this up because, again, I hear people tell me, hey, LeMickey has 4 rings. Disney has his 1 ring, and he was cemented as the second best player in the NBA based off a bubble run, his Disney championship. So talk to me. Is the bubble really that much of a fluke?
I think the biggest question was always you have LeBron and AD, LeBron who's aging, AD who's injury prone. You get the 3-month layoff. I think that was the biggest question. I don't know if anyone's still questioning if LeBron has his clutch gene or can do in front of Vance. I don't think anyone's saying that. I think the biggest question was mostly on the Lakers side of things because you have your 2 best players needed that time off, and you had LeBron coming into these playoffs.
I don't think it's a fluke, and here's why.
Wait, when we argued about it, we wasn't arguing fluke. We was arguing hardest.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because we had an argument about it before, and I called it one of the toughest championships to win.
I didn't call it a fluke. I thought I did.
I mean, listen, in the round 1, they dominated Portland.
Talking this time. I'm talking Houston in the grand scheme of things because then the religious disrespect that gets put onto that 2020 championship. I'm not talking you guys.
I mean, people say that shit.
I mean, it's you know,
people like to be funny, but in reality, let's be real. Is it funny now? Because all you did was laugh all season long, but here we are, and we have the potential to have the exact same conference finals as we did in the year that the bubble came around. So that's the only thing I wanted to pose the question because it's just amazing to see how things just happen.
I mean, Boston and Miami were in it last year, and the Nuggets, their stars were injured the last 2 seasons.
I feel like Boston and Miami been in this shit since.
Yeah, it's 3 out of the last 4, or 2 out of the last 3.
Nah.
That's a testament to them for sure. But again,
this would be 3 out of the last 4 if we go, yeah.
And that's a respect to the Nuggets because you understand how good they are when they're fully healthy, and it's a respect to the Los Angeles Lakers when they are fully healthy. No, that's what I said.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Now on to the next topic.
KD?
No.
it needs to be KD. It needs
we'll
to
do
be
it after.
KD.
We'll do it
Wow.
after.
It depends. Talk to me. What's the next topic?
This is the Warriors.
Is the Warriors dynasty
Okay,
over?
fair.
Okay, yeah, we can stay on point. Oh,
Is
please,
the-
let's get us
And
there.
you're wearing the
going.
Lakers hat right now. You're not a real Warriors fan. So I'll speak on behalf of Warriors
First of all,
fans.
Oh my God.
All right.
That's crazy.
Because I'm the most unbiased analyst in the
We only
world.
got one episode. We're in the Lakers.
No.
So I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pass this over to my boy
Hold on.
Joel.
I just want to throw this out here because this guy is a funny guy. So we're on Twitter, and he's giggling about Steph Curry losing. So I throw a little flick up, like, yo, don't ever forget this. KD just got smoked out by Denver. So he's like, oh, your team's out. And I just
you did something with this one. I saw that. That was funny.
I just find it funny how I went 0 for 10. Yeah, that's understandable. I went 0 for 10, but like this, like it 0 for 10 is fine. I get it.
No, it's insane.
It's insane. But here's where the kicker is for
They
me.
didn't even make it to the
No,
Western.
listen. Steph won last year. I'm good. I'm swimming well.
Fair.
My
Here's
prediction
what-
too.
Here's
Don't
where the
forget
kicker is for this guy. He has watched these teams since he was born
Yep.
and has not seen a championship with none of them.
That's fucked.
Tim's, Rockets, he was a fan
It's
of.
been a fan
The
for like
Nets,
a
They
year.
didn't even
he
go.
was a New Jersey Net, and then he was a Brooklyn Net. The Knicks, like I find it odd, that you throw these jokes on me being fans of these teams, but you've never been satisfied in a year yet.
Hold up. Let's just clear up
Backtrack.
something, right?
Are you gonna lie about
I'm
your
a New
fandom?
York Knicks fan.
Everybody knows
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
that I'm a Knicks fan.
Did you
Does
know that?
everybody
You
know?
had to know
Yes.
this was coming.
You told me you didn't watch them.
Yes, I
He
told
was
y'all a
crazy.
million
He
times.
didn't watch
I
them.
told you a million
You
times
didn't
why I don't
watch
watch them. I don't watch them.
I don't get Celtics games in New Jersey. I still watch
Find
all the
a way.
That's
Celtics
bullshit.
games.
That's bullshit.
You
bro.
find a way.
That's BS.
How many times
know
do you
that's
see me
BS.
watching a regular
You
season
find a way.
Celtics game when we're in
I don't.
here?
I'm not with you at 9 o'clock. No.
When we're doing the show during the season, you see me have streamy stuff watching the Celtics.
Yes, bro. I don't use streaming, so I like to support the company.
No, you
Can-
who the
can-
fuck
God
is the
damn it.
company?
Oh,
I like to support the
You think
NBA.
MSG needs your money, bro?
I don't support MSG. And hold up. Let's
don't
So
support
that's why
your
you should
let's
do
get-
streamies.
wow.
Wait, hold up. Let's get something straight. MSG, for one, they do not have a service yet where you can just buy Knicks games and watch it. They're coming out with it this upcoming season, and it's going to be as much as
expensive. I know.
Game Pass.
Bro, just use streamies.
I'm going to buy
We have
it.
1,000 people
I'm going to
here.
buy
You
it.
think if I
still.
ask 1,000 people right now if they know you're a Knicks fan, they'll say yeah.
They know I'm a Knicks fan because they literally are saying.
John, can you put a poll?
They're literally
John, put a
saying
poll.
why
Polls
I'm a Knicks fan.
exist?
John, put a poll. Oh shit.
Yes, you can, John. You can put up a poll. Just be on the Pick a Side account. They're literally saying, why is this Knicks fan talking about the Heat in this way? So they know I am a Knicks fan.
By just
Bro,
alone.
let's clear something up, 'cause
Bro,
I'll
last-
tell you
what,
Last year,
we've
was the
seen
biggest
it-
Nets fan I've ever seen in my
I'll
life.
defend him. I've not seen him be this much of a Knicks fan until the playoffs started.
Interesting.
The playoffs
must be
started?
nice.
So long.
He was
must
back.
be nice.
The playoffs started. You were back.
Oh, no doubt.
You saw
No
him being
doubt.
a Tim's fan in the playoffs too, right? Remember
Are you
the play?
kidding me?
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
What are we
Jaden
doing here?
McDaniels was the greatest thing since sliced
Let-
fucking
let-
bread.
let's-
That's Jalen Brown.
Yeah, he is, and he was fucking injured, and
And
that's
he
why
broke
y'all
Jalen.
won. That's why y'all won.
So, is that the reason we beat
If
the
McDaniels
Grizzlies too?
was there, he would have locked up LeBron.
Is
You
that
know
the,
that.
Is that the reason we beat the Grizzlies too? Is that the reason we beat the Golden
You
State
became a
reigning
Grizzly
champions?
fan off hate
Between-
for the Lakers.
but-
That was
between-
nasty.
You're absolutely right. I despise the Grizzlies. I've been here all season long saying the Grizzlies are frauds.
But all
Drew-
it took was playing
Drew, you're
the,
lucky.
The Los Angeles Lakers. My Los
All of a
Angeles
Drew,
sudden.
you're
Lakers.
lucky. Drew, you're lucky.
Talk to
You
me why.
annoyed me to the point where I said, you know what? I'm gonna fucking root for the Grizzlies. I'm gonna root for these motherfuckers. I hope they
You
beat
know
the Lakers.
why? It's because I have a fucking studio apartment in that brain of his.
Yeah.
I live rent free in that head of his, and it got to the point where, please God, don't let the Los Angeles Lakers make a playoff run, because then Andrew Velez, of all people, Andrew is gonna be right.
No, to be fair, this is not as bad as if the Dolphins would have
Huh?
hypothetically made a
Huh?
playoff run.
This is
Or-
way worse.
Nah.
No, he would have probably
this
killed
is,
himself.
No,
Nah.
this is
Yeah,
way
he would've
worse.
100%
Nah.
You
hurt
said
himself.
we weren't worth watching.
Nah.
You
You
weren't at
said
the
we
time,
weren't worth talking
Yeah, I know.
about.
That's why I don't.
He
He loses me with that. He loses me with that.
You
no,
really
that's
were
fine.
more
Let's
positive.
make it more
Garbage.
recent. I
Oh, all
don't
right, bro.
trust LeBron
He lost me with that.
Anthony
He lost me with that one.
Davis.
He lost me with
Listen,
that
Drew.
one.
That's a him thing.
Listen, Drew. You done spent 20 minutes talking about these
40.
same goddamn.
I don't
talking
deserve it.
points.
I don't
It's
fucking deserve
over.
it.
Let's go. I'm here to defend my honor because I done told y'all why I don't watch Knicks games. It's because it's blacked out of
No,
my
that's
area.
fine.
You're
No,
a Philly
fine.
The Celtics are not blacked out. I could go on YouTube TV on League Pass and
I
watch
don't
the
have
Celtics,
YouTube TV.
but I do.
You're a Kings fan.
I watch all of my games on YouTube TV because
You're a
I
Kings
have
fan, right?
League Pass on it.
You're a Kings fan, right?
I rooted for the Kings this year.
You're a Philly fan, right?
James Harden's my favorite player.
You're a Nets fan, right?
Let's talk about
Wolves.
Let's talk about these teams in order. I'm a Knicks fan first. I predicted Jalen Brunson's breakout, by the way.
You love saying that.
Because nobody saw that shit coming.
That doesn't help you be a Knicks fan.
You did not know he was this guy.
You knew
pushed back.
You never said he was this.
He did. Yes.
No,
I did say he was this.
Did I say that this move was great for the Knicks?
Yes.
No, but
I supported that.
Drew,
he cooked with that one.
Drew, you supported the move. I went above and beyond to say Brunson was going to be an all-star player.
He did.
I did say that.
I'm not taking this credit from him. I'm not going to take this credit from him. He definitely gave Brunson.
You said he was a good sign.
I just my respect on the Jalen Brunson to the Knicks.
He predicted this.
Listen, bro, you didn't laugh at it, so you get credit, and you said it was good. Everybody else laughed at it.
Agreed.
I
don't know.
I would never.
I don't know. All I know. Well, this might have been before you were full-time basketball, because I know for a fact Riv was not happy.
You spent $100 million.
But I was also, what happened was, I think they didn't get D Mitch, so I was cooking him for that moment. Yeah.
And I literally said the teams that actually lost the Don Mitchell trade were the Hawks, the Bulls, the Raptors, all those middle-end teams, which did come true. I said the Knicks did not lose the trade. Hindsight, it's an amazing take. But what I'm saying is that's why I don't watch the Knicks. When we talk about all these other teams, the Wolves, I'm an Anthony Edwards fan. That's my favorite player in the NBA upcoming. James Harden.
What
happened to James Harden?
I'm more of an Edwards fan than Luka. I love Luka because his play style is similar to James Harden.
Right?
He was throwing Luka.
I love Luka. If
this guy stand 10 toes on anything?
I love Luka. What are you talking about? We can't have more than two, three good players we love
here for accountability and accountability only. This is unbelievable.
Terrible.
Hey, he's talked more about De'Aaron Fox this year than Luka Doncic.
Easily.
What is
it? Kings fan. I'm trying to tell you this.
Well, there was really nothing to talk about.
I rooted for the Kings. Bro. I said they was going to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs. Yeah. That's why.
That was a good take. Hey, good take.
That's why I rooted for them.
Good take.
But Anthony Edwards, James Harden was my favorite player all time. Now Edwards, he's the new one coming in. So now he's going to supplant
Luka out the
that.
picture. Like Luka's gone out this picture.
Luka, I love Luka. I have his jersey, but it's Edwards, Luka, and his Harden
jersey.
Yeah,
I don't have a LeBron.
Julius Randle is what I meant to say.
Wait, Harden dropped to 3?
No, Harden's at 1 right now.
Agreed.
My favorite
Who's 2? Ant is 2.
Ant is 2 and Luka is 3. But I'm saying as time goes on, of course Edwards is going to take that reins. I had to pick a new favorite player because Harden is on his way out of his prime.
See, look.
So I picked Edwards.
Like me would never ever let somebody take Steph's spot. I'm just letting you know.
You know what, Riv? If you didn't say fuck Drew, I would not bring this up on air. But you just told me that you're about to clip the Bulls.
Yeah, I will tell you again.
He's going to clip the Bulls before clipping Steph.
He's going to clip the Bulls.
100%. You thought I was going to run
before he clips the Clippers.
It doesn't sit right with me at all.
Wait, but did he think I was going to run from that statement?
No, I think you said it on the podcast recently.
I've said it before.
No, did you?
Yes.
You definitely hinted
at it. Let's not act like we don't. Outside of Dehls here, we all root for 3+ players in the league.
Oh, but when I do it,
what?
You're a LaMelo Ball guy.
15.
I'm not a Charlotte fan. I don't root for Charlotte.
Nah, he's very strong Lakers, and then everything else is second.
Are we gonna try and group me into this? Don't do that.
Nah, you two are in a different world.
He's with
We're
me.
Celtics and Lakers,
right,
and then there's everything else.
You're a John Moran fan.
You're closer to Riv than you are Drew.
He's right next to me.
Easily.
It's the two of you guys.
Yes, I get a guess.
Joel.
Yes.
Joel's dolo. He can be put a class in his own because he's a Celtics fan. I have only
Knicks too.
But that was for the Lulz.
No, hey.
I took it.
But it's
Drew.
Lakers. We know for sure Knicks is number 1. I don't know.
Hold up. Drew, I'm not saying that you're fans of these teams. I'm saying we all have players we root for. That's what I'm saying. You was a Gary Trent stan.
That's only for agenda.
And that's why you had the Raptors agenda this year.
You said Trent was not the reason. It was Scotty.
Yeah, it was Scotty.
Gary Trent was definitely contributing reason.
Gary Trent name drop was crazy.
It was because that starting 5 last year was one of the best starting 5 lineups advanced.
But obviously your love for Scotty / Trent.
It was Pascal Siakam, who was All NBA last year. It was Fred VanVleet.
Your love for those players contributed to your agenda for that team.
Trent is crazy.
I don't love them. It's a belief in them because I had an agenda.
But outside of the Lakers, who has he really been talking about this year?
Knicks. He has admitted he wants to be a Knicks fan.
But it's been more so as laughs because Joel was not talking about the Knicks.
Well, he was talking about the Raptors here until we knew they was cooked.
And he had a Pacers agenda until that died.
That was last year.
That was last year.
Shit died dead in the water.
And I love this. They bring up the bad takes. because the best take.
I didn't bring up the bad take.
You just brought up the Pacers.
No, so you had an
You
agenda.
just brought up the Raptors.
He brought up
bring
Gary
up the
Trent.
bad takes because the best take has been the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's a good
So it's
take.
fine. I'm fine because last year my worst take was the Los Angeles Lakers.
Full circle.
So what did they do?
60 wins?
65. No,
Oh,
no,
you
not
did
65.
say
65.
that. I actually forget.
So all will be forgiven when they go and win the Larry O'Brien.
All I'm saying is that our love for certain players definitely attributes to
It's agendas.
to
I'm with you.
root for certain teams.
I agree.
That's
But
a fact.
All I say is let James Harden.
I'm
be
not
number one.
tweeting that I'm rooting for 12 teams this year in my bio.
That's where you lose.
that was all trolling purposes
You've had it pinned for months.
because it's funny.
Since October.
It is hilarious. Is it not?
Riv,
is.
Come on, Riv.
It's a great
You
tweet.
can fool a lot of people.
I have 10 teams. I don't care. Fuck,
These dudes came into the show and said, "I'm a front runner." I am.
Doesn't hide it. Not one bit.
3 of them
Listen,
are lottery teams.
We didn't talk this much, and we didn't get to the Warriors dynasty
Facts.
being over.
Warriors dynasty.
Because
1,000
listen,
people.
listen, Riv.
It's over
It's
again.
over.
Yeah.
It's not over. Listen, don't say
LeBron
it's,
ended
this
a
one?
dynasty.
don't say it's over again, because maybe to other people they thought it was over. I never thought it was over when they was getting hurt.
Let me explain over. Like, we'll never win a chip again. I think we'll go back to the playoffs again.
The
Yeah.
playoffs for sure.
Okay.
But
Dynasty
listen,
means
here-
you won championships.
Okay.
Like your dynasty continued and was called a full-fledged dynasty when you guys
Last
won
year.
last year.
Type shit.
And I want to just start this by saying this, because what they've done is historical.
Yeah.
I mean, losing to the Lakers was the first time they lost to a Western Conference opponent in the playoffs since 2015, which is insane. That's how dominant they've been. Some years they've taken some time off because of injuries and stuff. Didn't make the playoffs.
Sounds a lot
I
nicer
understand
than-
that. But I'm looking at the Warriors salary cap table. Steph Curry's going to get paid $51 million.
Deserved.
Klay
Need more.
Thompson, $42 million.
Gross.
Jordan Poole,
Heavens.
$27.5 million.
Gross.
Andrew Wiggins, $24 million.
Nice.
And Draymond is going to command $20 million plus.
Cool.
So your owner, Joe Lacob, I'm saying your
My team,
Warriors
respect
owner.
me.
I'll be honest. I consider Riv a Warriors fan more than I consider him anything else.
Yeah, respect
right,
me. I
you're
watch
right.
80 games.
I don't think he's a Bulls fan.
That's fine.
He's happy. He's ecstatic about that.
They're fucking ass.
Today he's
Joe-
a Lakers fan.
Joe Lacob has already came out and said that he won't cross the $400 million line. And the Warriors have already kind of committed that much money. So I think either Draymond Green or Jordan Poole will be out. Draymond Green, it showed this year for the Warriors that he's irreplaceable. You can't replace Draymond Green for what he offers to the
You just said he would
Warriors.
be out, though.
I think it's between him or Poole.
No Clay.
No, I don't think Klay will be out. I think the Warriors will ride out with this core of Steph, Draymond, and Klay Thompson. And the mainstays in this roster, it still looks promising. You have Steph, Klay, Draymond, Wiggins, Looney, GP2, and Mooney. Moody showed some strides in the postseason. But the biggest unknowns are Jonathan Kuminga and Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was awful.
Yeah.
And Jonathan
Terrible.
Kuminga, for whatever reason, even though in the regular season when Wiggins was out, he contributed heavily to the stretch of the Warriors making the playoffs. He did not get run in the playoffs. Now, for me, I do think that they're going to trade one or both of these players. And the reason why I think the dynasty is over is I think Steph Curry, he's no doubt about it, still good enough to be the best player on the championship team. I'm not sure if Klay is able to be the second best. I'm not sure if Draymond Green's able to be the top 3 team on the championship team. And I think Andrew Wiggins, although he offers a lot defensively, he's very inconsistent. I don't want to say it's over, but it's trending that way. And I think allocating so much money to players that I believe are regressing outside of Steph is a recipe for disaster. And I think ultimately what's going to cost the Warriors is the fact that, one, they missed on their draft picks. That's the biggest one. You had 3 drafts. Well, 2, I would say you had 2 drafts
Two.
to really hit on players, and you missed. We talk about 2020 James Wiseman. James Wiseman was always a project. They needed a center. We understand that. But at the time, you could have drafted LaMelo Ball.
He was right there.
You
for
could have
guys.
That was a
even
fail, yeah.
you could even drafted Onyeka Okongwu, who's a better player than James Wiseman. There were different ways to go there. They missed on James Wiseman bad, and people think he's a good player in Detroit. He's not. It's just empty numbers. 2021, people talk about missing on Wiseman, but drafting Jonathan Kuminga over Franz Wagner can look just as bad one day. It can.
He's still a big Kuminga guy.
I've
It's
seen
gonna
a lot.
be- it's
I've
gonna
seen a
be
lot.
hard
It's
to-
tough because Franz
Yes.
has been uber productive.
But he's also been given opportunity, a lot of opportunity.
But I think
But
his
justified opportunity.
But we understood
Team sucks.
even in that draft, we understood Kuminga was the high ceiling prospect, and Franz Wagner, we didn't see the star potential, but he was
Ready
a
to
Swiss
go.
Army knife, ready to go prospect who could have contributed early to Golden State. And then Moses Moody, I like him, but they did miss on a guy like Trey Murphy, who went, I think, 3 picks after him.
Moses was really good for you guys against the Lakers.
He was.
And against the Kings, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's going to be that number one thing is that they missed on the draft picks. Number two is that instead of packaging these draft picks to get contributors, they kept them and they tried to compete now while also developing and rebuilding, which is a recipe for disaster.
Talk to me, brother.
Is it over?
Is it over?
Is it over? I
I
hope so. Fuck them.
Fuck you. It's
LeBron
tough.
James.
As long as Steph's, like you said,
Fuck him,
as long as Steph is at the top of his game, it's gonna be so tough. I mean, I don't think like the Wiseman was a miss. I've seen a little bit of Kuminga to think he was always gonna be a project, but he really improved towards the back end of the year. You know, defensively, he was great in that stretch. Rebounding was good. Offensively, he was a great roller. He did a lot of good things for us. I don't know why he didn't play. Kerr just completely mishandled that situation completely wrong and has no explanation for it.
I had a log jam in the front court.
Anthony Lamb.
He didn't play though.
JaMychal Green.
No, in the regular season.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
I
had a couple shots game.
You started JaMychal Green.
lost me. Well, we won that game.
It was a better
started
move than
again.
Kuminga,
It was.
though.
And you
They needed
lost.
the spacing.
Yeah, no, that the second go around.
They
was-
started
They
Gary
were
Payton.
doing anything to get AD out of the paint.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Imagine how good AD had to be to change your lineup
To
Oh,
JaMychal
AD's
Green.
4 times.
AD's a top 8 player in the world.
I agree.
Top 8 is.
Sorry, you want me to cut it lower?
Yeah, I think so,
I just want to be
yeah.
nice
Right now.
You know, I don't want to go through a list. You know,
Close your boy.
I don't think it's over. I still think if you got the big 3, you can make some things work. You know, it's going to be extremely tough to say it's completely over. I think is a little bit of a stretch. Will it be difficult? Absolutely. I mean, Jordan Poole looked like dog shit this year. He looked great last year. So you got some. It's like
Year 5.
it's a 1-and-1 thing right now. You got to figure that out. Kuminga, you have to figure out a role for him. Like, are you going to play him and not play these vets over him? Or are you going to let him work? Or are you going to trade him? Moody, up in the air. You need better bench players. That's pretty much what it is. Dante has a player option. Hopefully he accepts. I thought he was pretty cool for us
Gonna opt out,
last
get
year.
it back.
Oh, please get a bag then. Fuck you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Someone that you would take over Austin
Or
Reeves.
Şengün on the Warriors. Could have been nice.
You need DiVincenzo back.
you can't really defend though with Drake.
His
Who really,
offense is
who really
different, though.
can defend on the Warriors?
That's cap. That was just terrible cap.
I don't know. It's going to be tougher, but I also look at Western Conference teams that are going to get better.
Like who? Like Minnesota,
Rockets?
Rock.
Yeah, but I mean, we actual contenders.
Hopefully, if the Pelicans are healthy,
Minnesota.
I think they're
Their problem. Their only
Dehls.
problem is health. It's tough. Like I would have to see what they do in the offseason to say it's completely.
like, for
over.
example, I think even if the Warriors beat the Lakers, I don't think it was be in Denver.
It's a WCF push, baby.
I just don't see it anymore. I don't.
I think it's done.
And it's not because of Steph. I just
But
want
that's the
to
thing. You
No,
can't
it's
really.
never-
but
you
that's
can't-
why you gotta
That's
have
why
that.
you gotta. You can't like. You can't.
That's why you can't say
completely
it's
say
done.
no because
That's
Steph's
why.
still at a top 5 level.
And here's the way that you can look at it also. Last year with the Golden State Warriors, you had Andrew Wiggins playing the best basketball of his NBA career on both sides of the floor. And then you had Jordan Poole live up to the expectations that some fans had, i.e. River Brown. And then Klay Thompson, even though he was streaky, you had these role players around Steph Curry, like an Otto Porter, like a Gary Payton, that were playing so well that everything was just clicking for the Golden State Warriors. But that's what happens when your role players play at the level that they're expected to, and your star player is playing at the level that they're accustomed to and elevating in the playoffs, you can win a championship. Steph Curry is still amongst the top 3, top 4 best players in the world. If Riv wants to say he's the best player in the world, there's an argument. He has been that
Not no
great and
more.
was that great in the
I'd have to
NBA
joke on
playoffs.
one.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying, Riv, you told me Steph Curry, you just glossed over Nikola Jokic. You went right to Curry. So I'm just going off your words. I'm going off your words, Riv. You told me Steph Curry.
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. The last time we were here,
Who said Steph?
Yeah,
I said I could push the agenda.
you did.
I didn't gloss over. You gloss over the Joker.
I still am.
Yeah, don't put me in your category
Because when AD
You
kills him,
throwing
in here,
AD in there?
as one of the best in the world.
wait till the series.
Okay.
Wait till the series.
He's
Wait till
playing
the series.
unbelievable.
And so really why you look at this team and think, hey, the dynasty's over is because Klay was not Klay for a consistent amount of time. Poole was just completely in a spot where he was regressing significantly from last season. Does not look anywhere near that contract that he signed this past offseason. Draymond Green's looking like he might not even be a Golden State Warrior next season. But of course, they already had conversations that you have Clay, you have Dre, you have Steph. With this big
based
three,
off the post game, they've said they expect to be back next year.
Correct. But then he also did say I have the best agent in the world, Rich Paul. So we're gonna see what happens.
I knew he was a fucking fraud.
So it really is dependent on these role players whether this dynasty's over. For me personally, I don't see Clay getting back to that high of a level where he can be a true number 2. Jordan Poole is going into year 5. He's still a young player. He can get better, but to go so far in the wrong direction, it's hard to see him get back to the level that he was last year. And with Draymond's contract situation being looming and not one that you can really bank on if you're a Warriors fan, it's just a safer bet to say this dynasty is over.
I don't know if I'm going that far. You look at this Warriors team, and it's about retooling. I think if you just look at, compared to the NFL, what the Chiefs did when they trade Tyreek Hill and you reshape the offensive line where you have Mahomes, you have Andy Reid, you have the organization. The key parts are there. Now you just have to retool. It's not a one-for-one basketball versus football, but I think the Warriors are kind of in the same situation where they have a ton of question marks, right? Draymond, player option, Klay Thompson. He's somewhere in between being a number 2 and what he showed, this past series. He was terrible. I mean, he's at a point where you cannot have this man.
He had great moments.
That's why he's between.
But when he had his best game of the series, you guys won by 30
because
points.
Klay should not be shooting 27% from 3. He should not be missing wide open shots.
We have 2 number 3s on our team, and that is Wiggins and Klay.
But we've seen Wiggins be able to play up to a number 2. Wow. Overwhelming.
That's trolls.
80
that's
20.
Nuts.
Those are trolls.
80%?
Just so you guys know, we put a poll out. Is Joel V. Moran a real Knicks fan? 80% of our people say
that's
no,
not.
he's
That's
not.
not the question, though. Listen, John, you fucked me. That's not the question.
Whoa!
That's not the question.
No. What he said is fact.
Yeah, he pointed at him and said,
The question was, is Joel a Knicks fan?
like young.
A real Knicks fan? Come on, what are we talking about?
Jesus, we just
That was crazy from John to do. To sabotage me like that.
What did you want him to ask?
The question is Joel a Knicks fan? Not is he a real Knicks fan? Of course, we're going to say no.
Oh, so
They're
you're
trolls.
not a real Knicks fan?
I don't.
No, they're trolls. Of course, they're going to say
people
no.
have questions around you and your.
If he would have
But
said,
more people
is
call
Joel
me
a
a Lakers fan before they'll call him
Probably.
a real.
Easily. I mean, you saw the chat, bro. It's like
you're a
90%
LeBron guy.
Laker fan. Yeah, everywhere. We
That
got a
was
ton.
crazy.
I think the summary of what we all are saying, at least this is what I'm getting out of it, is that in order for the Warriors to continue what they have been, they need better role players or they need Jordan Poole to bounce back.
Yes,
They also need
which
to
he can
abandon the system at times.
and do what?
Just run Steph to the ground.
Just high pick and roll.
Yes,
High pick
bro.
and roll.
I'll be honest, the system is pretty. Everybody knows it. Especially you played against LeBron. You have played against each other for a decade.
Who's the only one that's been able to stop them though without KD? It's been LeBron.
That's my thing.
So against anyone else, the system's effective. And I'm not
even
saying
against
this,
the Kings.
I'm trying to say
though.
some biasly.
No, but even against the Kings, though, the
It's
system
okay.
it wasn't
50-point
always
game
effective.
seven.
Oh yeah,
For
they
them to
get
get
Kyle
it done.
Kuzma. Y'all are cooked.
Who
The Kings.
gets what?
If they would have had Kyle
That's the
Kuzma in that
move?
series,
Oh,
they would have
move?
cooked y'all.
That's the move I'm supposed to be scared of. Kyle Kuzma.
Respect Kuzma.
I'm laughing at his
respect,
eyes.
respect Kuzma.
I got the
couldn't
dirt
see it.
eyes.
Respect
Right.
Kuzma.
What? Kyle.
That was nuts.
Kyle Kuzma on the Kings is attractive.
Yeah, it's not moving the shit out of me. I'll be honest with you. I think
They beat the Warriors if they have him. I'm gonna be honest.
he stopped Steph from getting 50. What?
Probably gets 43.
Who gets 43? They were up 30 at that point.
You never know. He can score the ball too.
Okay. All right,
I'm not
buddy.
ready to count the Warriors, man. You got Steph. He's way too fucking good for
I'll
you
be honest,
to
if
not
Dre
get
goes, we're
one
fucked.
person. If Dre goes, yeah, we'll have a different
But
conversation.
if Clay goes, we have a chance.
What?
The last
Clay
time
a
Clay was
positive
out,
asset?
you guys didn't make the playoffs.
We were.
Is
you have
Clay-
to, okay, I get you bring that up, and I agree with you. I need you to go look at the actual roster, though. We
It's
were
not good.
playing Michael Mulder.
Agreed.
I don't think you know who that is.
Juan
He's
Toscano
garbage.
Anderson was getting consistent minutes for you.
James
guys.
Wiseman was also playing consistently.
Is Clay a positive asset making 45, whatever, $42
fucked.
million?
He just had a career
He
high
needs
in
to
points.
talk.
He just was. He was too inconsistent in the playoffs.
Listen, I think
needs to
I
talk.
think with all due
He needs to what?
respect,
He needs the talk.
with all due respect, I do think that people are too quick to bash Klay Thompson. I do think that.
I mean, he'll
Coming
bounce
from the
I
guy
think-
who told me that Jordan Poole should start over Klay Thompson this season.
Last year, for sure, because Jordan Poole looked way better than him. But Klay Thompson averaged 26 in the regular season without Steph
Take you back.
Curry.
Clay was really bad. I want to say this.
And
You're right.
also, JJ already pointed this out on his podcast, but the switch in offensive approach could have messed up with Klay's rhythm. I do think he should hit shots, but you're going
Open
from a
shots.
movement offense to now you're more of a spot up shooter.
Good. I get what you're saying, but bro, Clay took a 40-footer. Bro, it was crazy.
He missed, but would you
Was
be
it a
surprised?
40-footer?
Would you be
40's not.
surprised
Oh,
if
no,
he
that
made
shit
it?
was
Oh wait, was that on the near side?
Yes,
That's on our the near
Look,
the.
I understand
If
that
the
was.
camera we're looking at
It's
the far
just,
side.
it's
I don't-
more
I
of a
don't-
shot
I don't-
diet, bro.
I know I don't love that shot, but to be fair, when you go look back at the clip, the context of it, the clock was winding down.
I get no.
and he kind of had.
I'm not. It's not more. It's Clay's game, but his shot diet is really bad. He takes a lot of bad shots, like death-defying offensive shots, bro. Some of his shots are tweaking. I want to say this because the Poole Discord has been nasty, rightly deserved.
Will he bounce back, Riff? Just to mention briefly, his Mojo share price is at $116. It's down 11% in the last month. It was at $130. Poole has been dropping a lot rapidly in these playoffs.
I forgot we had Kai Bowman.
What's Reeves'
listen,
price?
I can check it.
it won't
I'll
be
get it
100.
if
I
you.
guarantee you.
But talk to me, Rick.
Yeah.
No, because
I wanna
this
say-
is
can
a
I-
part of
Can I say my?
this is a part of
go.
you wearing the jersey only for one show because I'm a nice friend. Austin Reeves, Jordan Poole, gun to your head. Who are you taking?
Who am I taking? Poole. Who had a better year? Reeves.
Follow-up question. Is Austin Reeves regular?
He's a good player.
Answer the question.
How do I answer?
He is regular?
Can we get the
Or is he
definition
not
of what regular is?
Yes.
Is he an average role player?
Oh, okay. No, he's not an average role. He's a good role player.
Because all I've said is that he's a great high-level role player. True or false?
You just
I don't know
keep
if that's
saying
all you
regular.
said. I'm not sure.
Okay, again, don't confuse me with our good friend over here, John. All I've said is he is a high-level,
Mhm.
great role player.
Okay.
A lot of people have overrated him, and even when we did our overrated, underrated, I said people have underrated him all season up until this point. It's getting to that point where now he's properly rated because of how much.
So
people
who's
are
like a
over.
high level role player? Andrew Wiggins would be a high level
Emmanuel
role player.
quickly.
He was so bad in the playoffs that I don't know
Derek
if I'll
White.
call him. Derek White's a
Malcolm
great name.
Brogdon,
That's another great name.
Marcus Smart.
Okay,
Is he them?
is he not?
I think they're better.
You could say they're better, but why can't we just put him in that conversation? The same way I say again.
I
you
would
don't
like
have-
to see another year,
That's fair.
respectfly.
That's fair.
Oh, you lose me with that, man.
I mean, these guys
the
have been doing
thing
it for
with-
years.
The thing with the
Why you really
Poole-
stepped
but
up
he's
this
doing
year,
it with
though.
the Lakers, one of the biggest markets there is.
You can say that, but Jordan Poole was also spectacular last year with the
and,
Warriors.
and I want
Good point.
and this is what
And
I
you
say-
could have said, "I want to see another year with him too."
But this year, this is what I want to say about that because
I want to see when he gets paid. how he looks.
the Poole and Reeves thing is interesting because you guys have mentioned he's been great this year in his role, and Poole has been bad. But people legitimately forget we don't make the playoffs without Poole. When
You don't want
Steph
to chip
went,
without Poole.
well, this year I'm just speaking this
Oh.
year. When Steph went down with an injury and Poole had to step up and start, I don't know if Reeves can do the same thing that
He
Poole
can't.
was
No,
doing.
he doesn't have that
And
upside.
that's the
Don't-
thing.
don't
He doesn't have
do
that.
that.
He does not have the
Do
scoring
not
upside
do
of
that
Jordan.
And,
because-
and Poole is
Let me say
doing
this.
things
Let
that
me say
not
this.
many guys can just
Because
go
again,
in there
what
and do.
I've said consistently is offensively, scoring wise, you go with Poole.
Yeah.
Because when
But
he's
even
at
then,
his
that
best, you
matters.
go Poole. However, who was more significant, Poole or Clay when Steph was out?
Well, obviously Clay.
Okay, so now you look at when LeBron James was out. How great was Reeves? That's something we don't talk about.
Was he
Reeves
averaging?
He was not putting up
Reeves,
what the
Reeves
shit he
was
doing.
averaging from. I don't want to say this wrong because again, I didn't look this up, but it's anywhere from 17 to 19 points.
Who was
when
averaging
LeBron James-
26 points a
27.
game?
He was amazing because again, scoring wise, you lean Poole always.
The scoring upside.
But think about how great
drastic.
Reeves was. That the fear in some fans was that LeBron James was going to come back and ruin the feng shui of the Los Angeles Lakers because he takes the ball out of Austin Reeves'
How many
hands.
games
I mean,
was that for?
they said that with Jeremy Lin and Carmelo, respectfully.
Well, what does that have to do with it? But the difference is now that's a bad analogy.
No,
because
I'm saying
again,
that
You're saying
because
people just make-
no, I'm saying
Yeah, I
that
got
is
you.
a great analogy because a hot stretch from a player will have people overreacting in ways that people
But
probably
again,
shouldn't should.
fair, but
The fact
Austin
that it
Reeves
was
showed
ever,
glimpses last
like,
year.
Nobody should ever be having that conversation.
I know it
man.
was disgusting. I'm glad you feel that way because the fact that it was even a conversation was gross.
but it just speaks to the fact of how versatile and how you don't need Austin Reeves to be on the ball consistently to be effective.
Listen, Austin Reeves is at $84. He's $30 less than Poole, and in
How
these
much is he up?
in these playoffs, he's up 13%. While
Listen,
Poole is
basically the
down
opposite
11%.
of Poole.
14 and 12 without Steph. Poole's leading the charge. Clay's right there, and then Dre's back in the defense. Not many guys can just go in there and give you top 3 player production like that. You're losing.
They're 2 different
12?
players.
Yeah.
They're 2 different
Without
players.
This year, yeah. Like, you're
you
losing.
told me
Poole's
26.
offensive upside is it clears
You told me
Reeves.
26 points.
No, I'm talking about their record.
14.
Yeah, the record. I'm talking about
So,
their record.
But
Austin Reeves this
Reeves might be a
year,
better all-around role player
in
for a
t-
championship team.
in 24 games without LeBron, he's averaged 16, 4, and 3.
That's really great.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, I don't care about the Jordan Poole versus Reeves conversation. Honestly, I don't. When it comes to Jordan Poole, though,
I care because you guys laughed at me.
I am willing to give him another year to see how he looks.
Sorry, 26, 5, and 3 without Steph
That's
this
amazing.
year.
That's amazing.
I am just not sure
Splits his ass.
if he's going to get that opportunity with the Warriors. Because I think a big part in the Warriors' road struggles this year, and just overall their chemistry falling, was Draymond punching Poole in the face. I think for me, that was the beginning of the end for that season, for the season when we came into it. Once that happened, I was kind of off the Warriors. I didn't think too much of them. And I have trade packages for Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga, so let me know what you guys think of it. This one is for the Raptors. Raptors potentially losing Fred
Bringing the Raptor
VanVleet.
guy in.
Jordan Poole could go there. Jordan Poole, this is the 2 trade packages I have. Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga for OG Anunoby.
Just OG.
So it was Kuminga and Poole for OG.
Kuminga and Poole for OG.
But how does that make you feel, Rev? What? The fact that you're going to trade Kuminga and Poole.
Yeah, they need depth. They need multiple
I
role
love
players.
Kuminga.
I know.
Badly.
That's why I say, how does that make you feel?
It hurts me. If we trade Kuminga, I'm going where he goes. But OG's a good piece, but it's fucking
What if they add in
Is that a poor man's
Boucher
Wiggins?
Ooh,
or
You
Otto
need
Porter?
another role player.
yeah.
I mean, multiple.
But
That's
the thing
all
with
that
Boucher, he
deal.
can stretch too.
Yeah, he's 6'10". I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Because you could add Kuminga in a different deal that would get you.
I'm just afraid of if they pop, it's like, damn.
Jordan
Yeah.
Poole, I think in Toronto will pop.
But that's been the issue these last 3 years
It'll be
since you
Gary
draft them
Trent
is we're going to
minus
hold
the
on to them
defense.
because they
True.
could be
But
really
better,
good.
obviously,
But if
offensively.
you would have traded them, who knows where you guys could have gone this year?
It's more than the Kuminga thing. Like, if he pops, I'm like,
just for Jordan Poole, now these are just specific to Poole.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole for Otto Porter, Chris Boucher, and Thaddeus Young.
Otto Porter played 6 games this year.
Yeah, nah.
Who was the other 2 guys?
Boucher and Thad Young.
I'm so good.
There's absolutely no way.
If they accept that, I'm literally leaving.
This is
lying.
an attractive trade offer. This for the Nets. Jordan Poole for Dorian Finney-Smith and
Bro saw that
Spencer
on the net.
Dinwiddie.
Bro saw that on the Nets Twitter page. Dorian Finney-Smith and who? Spencer Dinwiddie?
Are the Warriors just going to get that desperate to get under that $400 million mark? Because that's what these offers, except the OG
Can
one.
Spencer
respectable.
Dinwiddie not do what Jordan Poole can do? At a lesser level, of course,
Lesser
but
level.
high level
Similar-
backup
similar
guard,
efficiency, better playmaking,
and you're getting
Make it less.
Finney-Smith.
better defense. I
No, I think Poole was
suppose
more
Marja.
efficient last year.
I'm talking this year.
Oh, yeah.
This year. I mean,
Similar
Poole's-
efficiency where, I mean, let's be real, Spencer Dinwiddie's efficiency was not great, but
No,
what
no.
he was really good was his playmaking.
Dinwiddie quietly was top 3 in assists once he got traded to
Yeah,
the
it
Nets.
was
Were they
really-
winning, though?
He was averaging like
They're like
9
500.
assists.
It was below about
He averaged
500,
9 assists.
But I love this for the Nets, though. Imagine you could have Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jordan Poole,
That's a fun 8
and Claxton. It'll be a fun team.
Who's playmaking?
Jordan Poole.
That'll have to be addressed, but I think it's a fun team.
Okay.
Poole
It's a
can
fun
play,
8
man.
seed. For sure.
It's
Okay,
good.
but
It's
the
The
not-
number
I'm
one
not trying to
option
be
you
rude,
would
it's
want
true.
it to be McHale,
What
and I
if-
feel like
Poole
Jordan
be a
would kind
7
of
seed.
steal some of that.
But I like that trade a lot for the Warriors, though. Getting Finney-Smith and Dinwiddie, I think it's not bad. And then this for the Orlando Magic. Jordan Poole for Gary Harris and Cole Anthony.
Yeah,
That's
I'm good.
horrible.
I'm good.
That's
I'm good.
horrible.
I'm good. If you, what the fuck we bringing in Cole Anthony for? We got Jordan Poole. Fuck we doing?
You're getting Gary Harris.
I'm good. Yeah, the Nets one is and the Raptors one is the one that intrigues me.
If Draymond doesn't come back and
He's
you
on a player option.
trade Jordan Poole, I feel like the more intriguing option
Steph
would
will
be to
retire.
bring in Markelle for the playmaking aspect, and still it doesn't even look that good. You know
Steph
what I
will
mean?
Retire.
No,
He will. If
you
you
won't.
bro,
You
Dre.
saw what I sent you.
Yeah, Dre's
what's
on
gonna
a player
happen.
option, so hopefully he accepts. He what he said was
He wants an
No,
extension.
DS.
yeah, he wants to
Celtic.
extend. The goal is what Lacob told us. The goal is to either talk about a contract extension while he accepts, or let him decline and then they work on it?
Because if I'm the Magic, if I'm the Warriors and I'm trying to do a deal with the Magic, the only player that even piques my interest is Markelle. Like, obviously, you understand Franz and Paolo. These are the guys, but the Magic aren't trading them. And they're not trading their first-round pick. You probably look at a guy like Markelle, and that's one of those that could come in, play, make, defend, rebound. That is what intrigues the Warriors, not Gary Harris and Cole Anthony.
Oh, come on. Respect Cole Anthony.
Stop it. Stop it.
Respect Cole Anthony.
Stop it.
You and Cole Anthony, man.
Dude, he's a six man at best. I'm sorry.
Respect Cole Anthony.
Huh? That's the nicest thing you've ever said about him.
I said he's a great six man. He's not
Nothing
starter.
wrong with that. It's hard to be in the NBA.
So now this question, will Jordan Poole bounce back next season? Here are 3 players on Mojo that are above his price and below his price. You tell me if he'll have a better season than them next season. Above him, Trey Murphy. Jordan Poole or Trey Murphy, who will have a better season?
Both are in interesting roles.
And that also depends on the health of Zion.
It's hard to say how you're going to define a better season because they're both going to be asked for different things. Like Poole is going to be more, offensive focused.
That also depends. Is CJ McCollum going to come back?
I don't think that matters for Trey per se.
But I just mean that in terms of touches, he's scoring.
CJ's on a good amount of a contract. I think 2-3 years. I like Trey Murphy more than Jordan Poole, so I'll go Trey. I'll be honest. I really do like Trey
I
Murphy.
do like Trey Murphy more as well.
No, I really like Trey Murphy.
Listen, I lean Trey also, but I just worry about the touches that he'll see.
CJ
if Zion's
Chris
back,
Paul.
If CJ's still going to be on the team.
I think
I'm looking at Trey Murphy, and I'm saying at the end of next season, I'll value what he brings more than Jordan Poole. That's why I'll go.
CJ for CP3. Lock it in.
No way.
The next name up, Devin Vassell.
Empty stats is tough to evaluate.
Good player though. It's just
I don't think he's bad. Yeah, I just think
were you holding that same energy for DeJounte?
They made the playoffs. Play in.
Yeah,
Spurs aren't.
You
close.
also love DeJounte.
Also, that is a little bit of a in there, but also the Spurs aren't close with Devin Vassell.
I feel like I would go Devin Vassell, but I mean that.
How do they value it on? Do they value? And they just stats and that's
it's just production.
So probably Vassell.
Yeah, Poole is 116.05. Vassell is 116.5.
As of right now, Vassell will have better production than Jordan Poole.
I'm gonna go with Jordan Poole. I think he has a little bit of a better season. Actually, no, I changed. I'm going with Devin Vassell. I'm going with Devin Vassell. He's a 20 point per game guy.
He's pretty efficient too.
And then the third one that's above him, Kevin Huerter.
Okay.
Really?
Battle of the Mints.
Kevin Huerter's over Poole?
Yeah, he's 116.62.
Crazy for me to say.
Dude, no,
I'll go
saying Kevin Huerter's over him right now. Poole's got a chip.
Really? Kevin Huerter's that high?
I mean, you have to understand.
Who was worse, Poole or him? I mean, that's honestly
Kevin Huerter all season. I think you can actually. It's close. This is career value, so you have to take into account that Poole was a G leaguer, came into the NBA, had one season of great production, where Kevin Huerter has been in the league consistent for a while.
I think they do two different.
I'm gonna go Poole.
I'll go Poole here.
Yeah, because right now on Mojo, Kevin Huerter has earned $42 of his share price, while Jordan Poole has earned $38 of his share price. Now I'm going 3 players below. So these are players below Jordan Poole's share price. Jeremy Grant.
Poole.
He's a free agent.
Poole. I'll also go Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
I'll go Jordan
Poole. There's not a lot of good teams. Bro's
about to go to a bad team and do exactly what we seen him do.
Houston.
I'll go Jordan Poole too. Jabari Smith Jr.
Poole. If we're gonna rot on people who's been dog shit,
he was a rookie though.
Yeah,
and now you got Ime Udoka.
He had like a month or two stretch.
And also,
Ime Udoka's supposed to help him hit open jumpers.
I'll tell you who will help him hit open jumpers because they'll get him more looks. Scoot Henderson.
I think you can say James.
Scoot's gonna get him more open looks than what he already
had. He's a point
had.
guard, and you need someone who's actually.
Jabari had a lot of open looks.
Jabari was not that efficient from 3. Very disappointing. He was very disappointing as a whole.
He's relying on another rookie to get him.
I'm defending on them getting a true point guard.
I'm gonna go Poole.
Maybe Harden too, but I don't see Harden leaving, especially with how close
they go to the WCF. I mean ECF.
It's second year Jabari, so I'll go Poole. But I think Jabari Smith has a bounce back sophomore season.
I'm gonna go Jabari.
He definitely improves.
I'm gonna go Jabari.
I think I'll still go Poole. I gotta see it first.
And then the next player is Jaden McDaniels.
I
like Jaden.
Jaden McDaniels.
It's a little bit better of way better of a two-way player.
If they trade
offense,
Cat,
obviously you go with Poole.
You're expecting the Wolves to bounce back too.
Yeah. If they do indeed if they trade Cat, I think McDaniels jumps to 18 plus a game.
because you could see
Minnesota.
McDaniels taking that leap. Jordan Poole is not taking that leap, and if he does, it's probably because he's on a bad team somewhere.
Wait, what leap?
The leap that Jaden McDaniels can take.
What's the leap? All-Star?
Well, the leap.
Well, I was saying like points per game wise. I don't know if it'd be an all-star just because
Yeah.
a lot of good players.
Type shit.
But
Quote-unquote
you know how
Jalen
great the
Brownlee.
defense he is. He could provide.
Jalen
and he could
Brownlee.
give
the
him
quote unquote
18.
Jaden Brownlee. That's what I'm saying.
We'll talk about that. You know?
So right now, because we are an hour into the show, we are going to read some super chats
Of course.
and then
Just keep
head
dodging
back
the
into the
KD
show.
topic.
I've been
we're
having
2
fun. This
topics
show.
in.
Keep
I
dodging.
said it. My ammo was unlimited.
Keep
this
dodging.
show.
KD.
We're going to read 10 super chats and get back into the show. The
Yeah.
next topic, read 10 more. This from Micah Smith, just donated $5.
Mwah,
Shout out to Micah. This from Pick a Side Meme Santos.
my brother.
Start, bench, trade, and cut. First Cavaliers LeBron, Miami LeBron, second
this in the
Cavaliers
playback.
LeBron, and Lakers LeBron.
Start Miami LeBron 10 times out of 10.
I was saying second stint Cavs.
I like the two-way.
Let me tell, but I think the two-way on the 20 on
Miami
the second
LeBron
stint
is
LeBron.
his
Only
best
one LeBron
defensive
came
step.
back from a 3-1 lead against the
I'm-
most
I'm
historic
with you
team
there, but
ever.
the Miami LeBron on both ends was giving you that work.
But I'd go with I'm starting second Cavaliers LeBron. I'm
Benching
benching Miami LeBron. I'm trading.
I think young LeBron's better than Lakers.
I'm
LeBron.
trading first Cavaliers LeBron, and I'm cutting Lakers LeBron.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'll go start Miami, then I'll go second stint. I'll bench. I'll trade 07, like the young LeBron, and then I'll cut the Lakers.
It's tough because LeBron
Mid-ass.
now is so much more mature and understands the game at a much better level than he did when he was younger. But his younger self was just so athletic.
Apparently,
Yeah.
they said we all know why you're benching Miami, bro.
Okay, no.
So I'll say this. It's unfortunate that LeBron's jump shooting this season has been so poor because since coming to the Lakers, his jump shooting in the playoffs has been great.
He shot a higher
37
3-point percentage than Steph this series.
This series,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
37%
Shit's
his
gross.
first 2 seasons with the Lakers in the playoffs from 3. So it's disappointing that he's he's regressed in that sense because I feel like with jump shooting at this age, as smart as he is, you think about it, but yes,
heard
I
it.
think you do cut. You farted? You said
No. I did this.
Oh,
this guy.
So I think that you do cut Lakers LeBron just because of the injuries, and he's never
Cut
dealt
him, bro.
with it. You've never dealt with that before, but I do think because of the jump shooting, you think about it.
No, young LeBron
You,
was
you
crazy.
trade young LeBron, you bench Miami LeBron, and I think that you start second stint Cavaliers because that, in my opinion, is the best basketball player of all time.
This from
Ooh.
Santos again. Y'all are
I'm a
nasty
more
for
all-around player.
Miami LeBron.
The jump shooting, although it was great that year in 2013, he shot 40. Fair.
Miami LeBron was a better defender, better offensive player.
Debatable.
No,
The
it wasn't debatable.
offensive player, I would argue that he was a more consistent jump shooter in
but
Cleveland.
the defense wasn't debatable. Miami LeBron was the best defensive moments.
He has the greatest. Not that you look at one moment and think, "Hey, this is
No, the
only
block was OD.
and in Cleveland,"
Yeah, the block was OD. But
and he
let's
just was
not-
historic.
Let's
with,
not play games. What are we
I
doing?
mean, he should have been a defensive player in Miami. I can't argue that too much, but I feel like offensively, he was just so much more well-rounded
Yeah.
in Cleveland.
Santos goes, y'all are nasty for having an Andrew Luck argument when y'all supposed to start
Blame
23
these
minutes
guys,
ago.
bro.
Snitches. Who
Blame
snitched?
these guys.
Who?
Well, it's on Twitter.
John took a whole video behind her
happened?
back.
Fuck.
What do you
Look at this guy.
It was some good content.
Do your job.
There's
I
no need
was
for it.
kind of sauce for that conversation.
Pick a side meme. Start the effing show.
How many
Probably
he sent?
before.
We're here. I
Yeah,
mean,
this is
Santos,
an hour and a half
Santos,
ago.
credit to him, man. He's a respectable Warriors fan, also.
Q Boogavelli goes, Rev, you look nice, my boy, real spiffy.
You look fly.
Even when I'm taking the L, I always take a win. You know what they say? Real men. It's not about when they take a L. It's about how they bounce back.
It's how they take the L, in my opinion.
It's how they bounce back from the L.
Are you gonna bounce back?
However way I can. Heat Nation.
Trade Clay? Okay.
He-
Are you rooting against
oh,
us?
you're gonna bounce down in a bit. Yeah.
Says the
I'm
guy
sorry?
that lost to them. That was crazy.
That was Paul.
Am I bounce down? You said, am I who?
That was not
Oh, who you?
I actually haven't picked the winner yet.
Okay,
That's a tough one for me.
We'll talk.
I'm a fan.
We'll talk.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
gross.
Nah, bounce down in
Why
a
don't
bit is
you
crazy.
figure out Tatum? That's what you need to
Hey,
do.
we're in the lab. We've been talking.
You have been talking.
This from
He's
Joel
not been in
Lamas.
lab all week.
W Man's Drew, but Lake Show.
Like, show.
Alex Viveros. I got my snacks ready for this podcast episode.
He knew the vibes.
Avery Roberts had to drop off some bread after we dropped off them bums from Broadway. Hashtag Heat and Six.
Oh, shit.
Love the pod.
Damn.
Y'all boys doing good work.
Shout out
Appreciate you,
Avery.
bro.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
come
I
on.
do not have a BBL.
Listen, Avery, shout out to him for the
Yo,
super
my shit
chat.
looks fat in these shorts. I'm not
You're
gonna lie.
nuts. Tell us.
Chelsea told me that. I was like, hey, yo.
If,
She
any,
Thanks, mama.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, mama.
if anybody's ever expecting me to give credit to the Heat, it's not going to happen.
We know.
Noted. We got
We
it.
know.
He gave credit to the Lakers before giving credit to the Heat.
Jazzy
He picked the
Juice.
Grizzlies before you guys. His hate is very odd all over the place.
Does
Generational.
Tatum all-around game make up for his shooting woes?
No.
Fourth quarter makes up for it.
Well, question: Were you guys
No.
Fourth quarter makes
but
up
were
for
you
it.
critical of Kobe in that Game 7 against the Celtics?
Couldn't remember. I probably was a young kid.
But
So
now
probably
we live
not.
in hindsight.
No, I
Um,
wasn't because they won the championship.
They won the game.
Not the championship.
If they, I'm just saying.
I think
No, for that game, I don't care. He gets a pass.
yeah. I think superstars that are
I like how we're putting it.
yeah. I think superstars that kind of get a pass because they're doing other things, I think that's not fair.
That's the fact.
You are a superstar. You are supposed to score. at a
But
high level.
when your shot isn't falling, the fact that you could stay
It's
focused,
still- it's good.
play
It's
great
positive.
defensively,
Yeah, it's
play, make,
positive.
rebounds.
It's like I can look in hindsight now and appreciate what Ant Edwards was doing against us when he couldn't hit a shot, but he was still aggressive on defense. He was still playmaking. He was rebounding.
because you're gonna go through cold
yeah,
spells.
but your job, and this isn't the first Tatum stinker. This has
No,
been
it's not.
happening
All
this
year
season.
long.
This season. I'm talking about this
season.
playoffs. It's been a couple times now. It's like,
Did
bro,
you
it's
hear
not like
what?
twice.
Did you hear what Joe Mazzulla said?
Four? I think
No.
four. Let me see.
The game where he
Against
played 19
Atlanta.
minutes.
Not counting.
No,
I think Atlanta had like
you
one.
won.
Did you hear what Joe Mazzulla
Three.
said
That's
when,
three right
when he
now.
was asked a question? When Tatum's struggling from the field, what do you say to him?
So I love you.
And he was like, "Say I love you." No
Real.
stronger. He was like,
He's-
"No stronger."
He
statement
said
than
that. He also said he told him go get the fucking ball. I guess that works.
That's
All right.
real.
He,
I'll be
he
honest
was
with
like,
you,
"No
though.
stronger statement than that."
That's
He
real.
played 19 minutes, but he was 1 for 7.
That's such
It was
a
gross.
young
Yeah,
coach
so-
thing to do.
You know what? And we're going to talk about Celtics a little bit later, but I respect the fuck out of Joe Mazzulla, especially with the way that he is in the press conference. Y'all lost game 1. Y'all came out dominant in game 2. He said, "Yeah, we were playing pissed off." He kept it short. He kept it not sweet.
That's always
So
been
2.5
the whole shit,
stinkers.
Yeah.
2.5 stinkers.
8 games, right? How many games?
Very
6,
inefficient.
How many games?
6, 7. No, I'm tweaking 12 games.
He had,
How many?
Right.
2.5 stinkers.
Okay.
Right, 2.5 stinkers.
All right.
And one of those stinkers.
Are you counting
we
last
bounced-
game?
I would say one of those stinkers 16 in the fourth and carried us to that win.
That one is tough.
I can't count it.
This is not a prediction, but just off of annoyance level. If the Lakers win the championship versus if the Celtics win, for some reason, I just feel like Dehls is just gonna come on next show like nothing happened if the Celtics win.
Against the Sixers?
No, if y'all win the championship.
Oh. I mean, I think we're the most talented team. We're just like dickheads a lot of the time.
I'm sorry. Joel, be honest with us and yourself.
Okay.
You're going to come up onto this podcast if the Celtics win a championship and not talk your shit.
I'm going to talk my shit for sure.
Joel, who the fuck are you kidding?
I don't know
I
if I'm going
think
to go
Drew-
on a
I think-
20-minute
I think
rant
Drew-
like
I
Drew.
think-
No, he'll be
but-
better than me.
No,
because
Drew-
no.
Drew will
It's a
talk for
difference.
an hour.
Have
Well,
we disrespected you?
No, Joel, yes. Joel, yes. You guys, I'd bash on Riv because Riv gave me too much shit for last year.
Do not think that I'm
But
the
I've never
only.
said you
And
wouldn't
you
win.
and the bright lights Tatum shit's definitely going to
But
get
I've
That wasn't funny.
Dehls, I
It
never
was
said y'all couldn't
funny.
win.
Huh?
Never said y'all couldn't win.
I know. But still.
Just we beat you.
It's
I
just
know,
it
I
was
get it.
never a moment where it was a 6-on-1.
I feel like it's a 5-minute
I had
monologue
you,
from
I had
Dehls.
him, I had Joel, I had
just-
John,
I've been
I had,
so-
I had
I've just been-
Pee-wee, I
We've been
had
so
OG,
close so many
all in
times.
one
Like,
episode.
What I'm doing if the Celtics win a championship, I'm not losing no sleep over it. I'm gonna text Dehls, congrats. I'll text you congrats too, but I'll be like, damn, they really won.
Again, because I get
Hey, you
really,
gotta take care of
I get
food
really
tomorrow.
cozy in that brain of his.
Take care of
And,
food.
and Joel can
I
attest
love
to
all
this.
you. I want to see you guys happy.
No, you don't.
No, not you. Them
What
two.
the fuck?
Sorry.
Him? I'm shocked.
Oh no, fuck you.
Well, seeing me happy is the Nuggets.
You just
winning.
said fuck Drew in your last tweet.
Trolling purposes.
But we knew.
Yeah,
But we
come on.
knew. We knew.
But you,
you
Celtics,
just
I don't
said
like.
already,
you just
man.
so if the Nuggets win, you wouldn't be happy for Jokic.
You're weird with that because you picked the Suns to win the series, and then you flopped and flipped.
I thought the depth was better. Sorry.
It was better,
Sorry.
obviously, when they walked in.
It'll be Suns in 6 before it's Nuggets in 6.
Clown.
Hey, listen, I still Denver all year.
No,
I was with
you
them.
haven't. Stop saying
Who had
that.
Denver as the 1 seed? Do you remember? Do you remember before the season started?
Wasn't it all?
It
of
was
us?
you and I.
Oh, I thought you did though.
I had them as 2.
You had. Let me guess.
I think
You
I
had
had
Minnesota.
I had the
We
Warriors as
all
one.
know who
Yeah.
was number
If
1.
it was if
I
it
think
wasn't
I
for
had Denver
Minnesota,
2 or
I have
3.
Denver 1 though. They were my pseudo one.
Okay, shut up.
They were my
You took Minnesota one.
if you looked at that and
He's
said,
trying
well,
to get a W for having him at 2.
if you looked at that and said, well, Joel's just being a little bit biased. Denver's is real one. And
Well, don't put Minnesota.
Well,
one.
Minnesota's not your team, so why would
they
you be
were
biased to it?
unhealthy all year long.
sucks
I'm
to
sorry.
suck.
I'm sorry.
I had the Warriors one.
Yeah, they lost
They
in
were
the first
unhealthy.
round.
Oh, you're mocking injuries now?
They were unhealthy. I'm saying the Warriors were unhealthy. I'm not saying
you're
no, they
cool.
were hurt.
You're
We
cool.
won less than 4 games against the Kings. They had an historical year. Put that in context.
This from Anthony Saldana. Curry masterclass 11 for 28, 4 for 14 from 3. Fire emoji. All jokes
Only one with
aside,
30.
it was a fun series to watch.
It was
Lakers
fun.
to the finals. # Lake Show.
The one thing I'm happy about that the series is over is I can go back to listening to music that's been released post 2016.
He went out shooting. That's all you can ask for. The other guys,
When Tatum goes 1 for 14, doesn't go out shooting.
1 for 14. This man had 30.
Clay was on some Tatum shit.
Clay was worse.
This is from Blake Bass.
Clay gave me 11 LeBron vibes. It was that bad.
Fuck you.
No,
Joel
come on.
switching up on the Lakers is wild. He span facts.
How much did you donate for that?
Early he
$10.
donated $10.
God bless him.
Because Drew, early in the year, remember when I said if you guys get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, this team is dangerous.
How about you eat my
I
ass?
saw the potential. When Darvin Ham was
Eat it.
hired as coach, I said, listen,
what I said.
I like this hiring of Darvin Ham. I think he's gonna change the culture. Can't win them all. Can win some
I
though.
haven't won any. It's
No, legitimately, this has been a bad basketball season for my brother.
been a bad decade.
It's almost comparable to the football season. We flip sides this year.
It's all right. You know what's crazy too? You went Bucks, I went Rams. I guess you got the Chiefs, even though it was kind of late season.
I thought he picked the
Respect you.
Bengals to win that game.
No, I
he
picked
took
the
Chiefs.
He picked the
Not
Chiefs.
to the Chiefs.
He picked the
Y'all picked the Bengals. Y'all picked everybody outside of the Chiefs.
I did. I picked everyone against the Chiefs.
I don't care.
I don't feel bad at all, actually.
This from Zach Preeb, Lake Show.
All
How
right.
RJ the God. People
Bad.
were laughing at the Lakers at the trade deadline are quiet now. Remember, Drew, he who laughs last laughs loudest.
Oh,
I thought we liked the moves the Lakers made at the deadline.
We fucking did. This is the problem with Lakers fans.
But then it didn't move you. It didn't move you a week after.
You didn't win the finals yet, bro.
But it has nothing to do.
Why
I'm
the
not
fuck
saying
do you
that.
act like I won the finals?
Am I acting like that?
No, I'm talking about the people in here.
You want to know why? Which
Let
is
me
what I
guess.
went on my 20-minute monologue before is because you laughed at us all season long.
You probably laughed with us when you were 13.
That's not what I did. I was in pain. I was in pain because I was tired of sitting here with
If I'm watching Westbrook, I'd laugh.
This is from Vamp.
It was
Riv,
sneaky
you
good.
told me I don't watch basketball when I said Reeves over Poole. Thank you for this
Man,
masterclass.
I don't
Drew.
even know who you are.
I'm glad he said that. What's his name again? I apologize.
Vamp.
Shout out to Vamp.
He has to remind. I don't.
No,
I talked to a lot
don't
of people.
disrespect Vamp.
No, I talked to a lot of people. I don't. No, he has to.
He put you in your place.
Q Boogavelli, don't trip, Drew. F River, Lakers in 6.
Damn, hard R's crazy.
He called me.
Called you River.
Oh, thought he called me.
No, he wouldn't do
Yeah.
that.
This is from Ant-Man. Inshallah Jokic will answer my prayers. # beat LA.
It's so awesome seeing people just really go from one team to the next, Please, God, please beat the Lakers. Idiots.
And now this from Big O. Turn me up. Lake Show.
Shout out Big O.
Shout out,
Big O.
Shout out,
Q
Big
Boogavelli,
O.
LeBron on a bad foot.
Hey,
Sure.
that foot didn't look like it was bothering him yesterday.
RJ the God.
Can't trust him, right?
It seems like Tatum is getting pampered by the media. Luka, Trey, Ja, and Zion seem to be getting criticism for every little thing they do, but not the case for Tatum.
Luka?
Yet they
Luka's
were
the
drafted.
Have you
pampered
after
ever
shit.
him.
seen Luka get?
Never have I once seen Luka get
Luka
criticized.
didn't make the playoffs. I
Unless
didn't
it's
see
me.
nothing.
I'm
Luka
the- I'm
missed
the
the
only one.
playoffs and was rewarded with first team All NBA. I've never seen anything like
They
that.
gave it to SGA.
They definitely criticized Luka though.
Not as much as
don't.
not really.
I've never seen
Not a
Luka
lot.
criticism ever.
I see it a lot.
It's rare.
I
It
never
happens,
see
but
it.
not as much. Him and Giannis are like very pampered. Well, not Giannis now. Now Giannis is getting cooked, and I love
Tatum.
40
Yeah.
and 20.
I mean, I guess Tatum
13
doesn't get a
minutes
ton
for
of
the Dubs.
criticism. He gets
How
some.
many- is that the
but
same
not a
amount of
ton.
threes missed by Curry?
Zion deservedly
No, Curry
deserves
went full
criticism.
14.
Ja deserves criticism.
10.
Trey, like everyone else,
Good
like
shot.
criticism's
LeBron
deserved.
outshot him.
Does Zion not
That's
deserve
true.
Oh,
criticism?
wow.
I think LeBron took
Doesn't
less
play.
threes.
Does Zion deserve criticism?
He doesn't play.
I don't know about that. He's injured. I kind of
But I think that's fine.
Zion takes way
Zion
more.
gets criticism just because he doesn't
But
play.
he deserves the criticism.
Him getting hurt is not his fault.
not playing
not-
is.
I feel
it's not as
similarly
bad
the
as
way
playing
where
bad.
I see AD is how I feel with Zion. When they're both on the court, it's undeniable how great they are. But why do we use injuries to knock a player's ability? You can't.
You did it with Kawhi.
That's not true. At this age, I took a 24, 25-year-old Jason Tatum, and am I wrong?
I said people.
Oh, I thought you said you did it.
People.
I thought you said you did it.
I heard you too.
I'm sorry. People. I said people.
Pick a side meme goes, we all know Drew is the Knicks fan.
Damn.
Santos on your ass.
This guy Santos.
I love him.
Joke.
I love
Now
him.
you love him.
Whoa. I've never, ever been rude to Santos. Ever a day in my
You get his
life.
jersey?
He was a part of the double or nothing, whether he likes it or not.
He was.
He was a part of it?
Yeah. I
Okay.
do
By
admit
default,
that.
yeah.
Good, because shipping is a B, man.
Yeah, it's a fact. Because
It's a
he's
B.
in
Oh,
Cali?
I think it's California.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just gonna take a minute.
Shipping
But for
is
Santos,
horrific.
I don't give a fuck. He
Overnight.
that's the
Kilver
guy.
goes, we need to give huge credit to the Lakers' depth, arguably the best out of all the remaining teams. Any role player can get 20 at any given night.
The only team that has the depth that we do is the Boston Celtics.
Denver's
We're
solid.
going like 7 deep.
Not better, but Denver. I like Denver.
That's what I say. On our level, I look at Boston, but of course, you can't disrespect the Nuggets.
So now we're going to jump to the Nuggets and talk about them.
He's dodging. He's dodging. I'm sorry. Executive decision.
KD.
We're talking about
KD.
We want to
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
KD.
the Suns.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking
about
Let's talk
KD.
about the Suns.
Yeah.
What did he do?
What didn't he do? What can't he do?
What did he do? Brother did nothing.
Yeah,
You told me Steph needed KD.
Oh, what KD needs everybody.
I think they both. Let's just come to that agreement, which we should have just all come to. Just inevitably,
Yes, we should come.
they both. They both needed each other.
Really, because Steph won without him.
KD can't say the same.
Warriors.
They both needed each other. Let me
To
finish.
beat LeBron.
To beat LeBron James.
You know what? LeBron's one of the greatest. I don't give a
One
fuck.
of.
Warriors.
Well, it's him and MJ.
As you're wearing the jersey, talk to me. Who's the best ever?
I'll still MJ. But what did I tell you? What did I tell you though? I said if LeBron.
The fifth. Yeah, it moves you. I respect that.
Warriors are not a
moved.
dynasty without Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant pushed them to that status.
Wow.
pushed or he heightened it.
Well, he pushed them to the dynasty status, yes.
That's your 2
Hey.
extra.
Yes. I mean, they went 73-9 and lost.
Because of Steph.
But
But that's like Kevin Durant heightened
But a
it.
dynasty,
you can add Harrison Barnes. Klay Thompson was kind of mad.
dynasty,
Ultimately, it's up to Steph.
dynasties, historically speaking, are 3 championships or more.
Yeah, but what's solidified the dynasty is the ring without KD, which was last year with Andrew Wiggins.
Even
Yeah.
without KD, with that last ring, they were
Mickey
still a
Mouse
dynasty.
ring.
What means what do you mean? Like without KD,
With,
there's
no,
still.
with Kevin
Mickey
Durant
Mouse.
in 2018 when they won that
Irish.
championship,
Irish
they were still a dynasty.
Oh yeah, but what made
After
the
that.
dynasty greater is the year with Andrew Wiggins and
Got-
sweeter.
I
got
agree.
lucky.
No, yeah, it
You
did.
look at that ring, and that's the reason why everyone has Steph
If
over
Tatum didn't have a
KD.
bad wrist, would have been over.
No, for sure. I think that's true. When let's talk about the
Let's talk about
Suns
your,
game,
bus
and then let's
rider.
talk about Denver because I think Denver should get some love.
But Miami shouldn't. This is
No.
insane to me. But
Why?
well,
Why
they're the 8th
they-
seed, bro, and they're in
they
the
beat the
BCF.
Knicks.
That's it. That's the sentence. They're an 8 seed that made the conference finals.
They
That's
they
the
beat your
sentence.
Knicks.
Oh yeah, they did.
They beat the Bucks. So you
We
thought
only
we'd
had
come
to
back
play.
3-1.
Only one offensive player showed up for us the entire series.
Congrats.
pretty
So
much.
did us.
And-
What do you want us to do?
Respect RJ.
RJ was inconsistent for 2 games. He was not good.
2 out of 6 though. You'll take it.
I don't know. Game 6 was really bad.
Jimmy
It was.
wasn't the Jimmy we were expecting.
Oh no,
Let's stop.
Jim. Yeah,
But
Let's
Jalen
stop.
Brunson outplayed him.
Jimmy was great though.
No, for sure.
but the fact
Jalen
that
Brunson was the best player in the
yes,
series.
the fact
Yes, he
that Jimmy
was.
Butler wasn't putting up 30, 40 every night.
That's
and
what
he
I'm
Jimmy was
saying.
also seeing a lot of different coverages.
He was.
So
for
was
sure.
Brunson.
And they were hitting shots. They
No,
were
I
hitting
agree.
threes.
But
they only shot like
respect Miami.
30% from 3 this
All right.
series.
Look, this
Anyway,
question. This
KD.
question is: can the Suns successfully build around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker?
Fuck the question. We're going straight to KD slander.
Man, how the mighty have fallen. We come back around
Full
a
circle.
year. Yeah. I would like to hear your thoughts on the Kevin Durant. Devin
Wow.
Booker
Of
situation.
all that, he says, "Nah, I don't want to talk."
No, just
Well,
funny.
I think it's kind of ridiculous how every year Kevin Durant doesn't win a championship, it now turns into this laughing stock. Because
Got swept last year.
yes, but
At least he made a
I
step
feel
around.
like a player's not going to win a championship every year. Who knows
Agreed.
if KD wins one again? But I think
Their
it's
Steph
the,
6 to 7.
it's the same thing that happens with that's happening with Steph Curry now. Although he won his championship last year, people are so quick to forget what he did last year, and now they're just judging him off of Game 6. I gave those jokes to you just because you disrespected Kevin Durant.
Ooh.
I understand Steph Curry's greatness, and all I've been advocating for is for Kevin Durant just to be held to the level of respect that he deserves, because he's an all-time great player. And for whatever debate that we've had in the past about Kevin Durant being a legendary player or a legendary playoff performer, if you want to say that he's a legendary player and not a legendary playoff performer because he's not at the level of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and LeBron, okay, that's fair. But we have to understand that in order to discredit Kevin Durant as a player, we are measuring him to the greatest that have ever played the game.
It's legendary.
But measured to everybody else,
We're not
he is
doing that.
That was a great cop-out.
We're not doing that because if you're going to do everyone in NBA history, you're talking about fucking like Nate Robinson and Glenn Davis. Like there's so many players that are not even KD stratosphere that we can't even compare.
There are a lot of all-time greats that are also not in KD stratosphere too.
For sure, but we're still talking about the best of the best. That's why I don't like, of course, if you're taking the 10,000 players ever played basketball, yes, KD is absolutely top 0.1%, but we're still talking about the top of the top of the top dogs. That's why I don't like that cop-out.
This is my rebuttal to that. Even if Kevin Durant is not a top 10 playoff performer of all time, Kevin Durant is top 5 in playoff points per game in his career. His efficiency is off the charts. These last 2 playoff series against the Nuggets and then last year against the Celtics were not good from an efficiency standpoint. But let's not let that overlook his career. And that's the thing that I want to jump to. Kevin Durant may not be a top 10 playoff performer of all time. There's no question to me he's top 20. I would even say he's top 15. And sorry if you call me crazy for saying that. I think if you're a top 15 player to ever perform in the playoffs in NBA history, to me, you are legendary.
Do you have 15 players off the top of your head? Because I could just name a few.
I don't.
All right. Is he a better playoff performer than Kawhi Leonard?
No.
Is he a better playoff performer than Hakeem Olajuwon?
No.
Is he a better playoff performer than Tim Duncan?
No.
Obviously, LeBron James,
MJ.
Michael Jordan.
No.
Is he a better playoff
Kobe.
performer than Kobe Bryant?
No.
Is he a better playoff performer than Steph Curry?
No.
What are we at? 8, 7?
This is just off the dome ski.
Call it 8.
Is he a better playoff performer than Larry Bird?
No.
Is he a better playoff performer than, let's just go, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, and let's say Magic Johnson?
No.
It's 11.
Is he
It's like 12.
Is he a better playoff performer than Shaquille O'Neal?
No.
Is he a better playoff performer than
That might be it.
I'm trying to.
We say Wilt?
I said Wilt. Is he a better player performer than Wilt?
No.
Common saying Moses Malone.
Interesting.
I think Moses deserves respect.
Is he a better player performer than Dirk Nowitzki?
That's what comments are saying.
I think he is.
Isaiah Thomas. They're talking about.
Okay.
I think he is.
D Wade.
Dirk, is he a better player performer than Dwayne Wade?
I think he is.
I would say no.
And here's the thing. When it comes to Dirk Nowitzki and
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade, people will point to their championship run. Dirk Nowitzki went on that 2011 run. It was historic. It was one of the best we've ever seen. Dwayne Wade did it in 2006. After that, Dwayne Wade doesn't have a playoff moment. The only thing you can point to is 2012 OKC, where he was
2011.
Indiana.
He was amazing too. But as the main guy, no.
Don't forget the year before he won the ring against Detroit.
And
he
talk to me.
destroyed
And you
them.
like to mention the year after LeBron left, that Heat team was
and
very, very good.
And Dirk Nowitzki,
Dirk
before
scored.
2011, he was classified as a playoff choker.
Mhm.
He was a 1 seed, lost to an 8 seed. And after 2011, they didn't win a playoff series. So he had an insane moment, and those moments deserve respect. But I don't think, while winning it matters a lot, I also value performance, and I also value what you were surrounded by. To put that all into context of what happened and what we witnessed in Game 6, while it was an embarrassing beatdown, Kevin Durant did not play well. He was inefficient all series long. He was very inefficient. And to that, most of the time we just say, oh, Kevin Durant sucks. But Aaron Gordon is one of the league's best defenders. And in this series, he held Kevin Durant to 38% shooting from the field. And he held Kevin Durant to 11 assists and 11 turnovers. And the Suns in this series, they had nobody outside of KD and Devin Booker who could hit a shot. They finished 13 of 58 on corner threes. The easiest three-point shot to hit, they were 22% on them. And that lack of spacing affected both Booker and Kevin Durant in the last 2 games specifically in this series. And although Kevin Durant had a bad series, you look at KD, even in these playoffs, when you combine both playoff series, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.2 stocks on splits of 48%, 34% from three, and 92% from the free throw line. 60% true shooting, and he was one of the Suns' best defenders on the team. That's bad for KD. And that just shows how great Kevin Durant is. And that's all I want to say. And even with him playing bad, Devin Booker left and did not speak to the media. Kevin Durant was there. He took the questions. He took the heat.
As he should.
And this is just perspective on it. It's not an excuse, but it's perspective on it. KD played 8 regular season games with the Suns. He played more playoff games than he did regular season games. The Lakers made a mid-season trade, and they were able to find momentum together before heading to the playoffs, and they carried it into the playoffs. The Suns never were able to have momentum. They were never able to mesh. And then you have Chris Paul going out. Then you have Ian not playing the last game, and his effort issues were in question all playoffs long. That, to me, is more of a reason why the Suns flamed out like this, and not just Kevin Durant.
Rebuttal, Mr. Brown?
Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, when they got together, we knew it would be unfair. We knew the league was in trouble. Nobody was going to be able to stop them. That's 2 of the top 3 players in the league. I think it was LeBron, then them too. They got together. Easily. They still had Clay. They still had Dre. They completely dominated the league. When they separated, we started to pay extra attention to what they were going to do post themselves, because we saw Steph won before him, but the team was hurt. You know, LeBron's team's hurt, then they blew a 3-1 lead. They both blew a 3-1 lead in the same year. So we was very hypercritical on what they've done since they left each other. I think you can criticize Kevin Durant for how he's played and still think he's an all-time great. I think you can still consider Kevin Durant a top 15, top 20 player, but also acknowledge that he's been bad. I mean, we like to praise how in the regular season he was efficient from the mid-range, efficient from the three-point line, efficient from the free throw line. He was just great scorer. He should have made All-NBA, but then he goes into the playoffs and he does not perform against Phoenix. I think that's we can't do that. Pardon me, against Denver. We cannot do that. We can criticize a player without talking about the extra shit. I do agree with Joel. We can just talk about it. We can just critique him. Kevin Durant wasn't good offensively as a scorer. He wasn't efficient against Denver. I don't even look at the Clippers series because Kawhi was down, PG was out. I thought they would get past that once Kawhi went down. And they just had nobody, a bunch of 6'4", 6'3" guys. They had nobody that can really contain Kevin Durant. But against Denver, Aaron Gordon stepped up. He's a bigger body. He can get a physical with you. That bothered Kevin Durant. And I think, to play devil's advocate, Devin Booker left the meet. He didn't talk to, because he didn't have any help for the first 4 or 5 games for the most part. He was out there putting on historical performances after historical performances, and Kevin Durant was struggling efficiency-wise, and the role players were not that great. Chris Paul was out, but you even said it. You thought they would be able to play better without them. So I don't know if you can
with more pace.
Yeah, I don't know if you can use that as an excuse. Chris Paul wasn't that good defensively anyways. But as a whole, the Suns weren't ready to me. I just think they didn't have the proper role players in this series. And Denver, Joker, you even see it on the sideline. He said they have 2 players. They have 2 players, and credit to Devin Booker. For the most part, he played really well.
Amazing.
We can't dismiss for the game 6 he had. That's another year
and 5.
Another year back to back. He got destroyed. But Kevin Durant, we cannot keep just giving him a pass. He just got swept last year. He did not play well. He went to a new team this year. He just lost in 6, and then he got embarrassed in their home court, and he didn't play well in this series either. So I don't think we can keep giving him a pass. Yeah, unfortunately, when he plays bad, we always have to bring it back to Steph. And I know sometimes that gets annoying, but you just went to a whole nother team and you played bad again. You just got swept last year. So it's like, yeah, what Kevin Durant did before Golden State was amazing. He's great for that. What he did with Golden State is amazing. He's great for that. But what he's done post Golden State in terms of winning, going far in the playoff runs, like outside of that Bucks series where he was amazing, nobody's discrediting, he was amazing. He hasn't been that great, and I think that's the problem, because we sit here and we talk about his regular season, how he comes back from injuries. He's still elite. He's just elite scorer. He's efficient everywhere. And then he's gone into back-to-back playoff series, and he's not performed like Kevin Durant. When you don't perform, when you're a superstar, and you're an all-time great, like you mentioned, you get put on this pedestal. You get put on this type of level. You need to at least reach that. He has not reached that in back-to-back postseason, and I think that's a fair criticism.
I don't think anybody gives KD a pass, though.
You just tried to give Kevin Durant a pass.
I acknowledge he didn't play up to
but
his
you just tried to give him a pass. Like he gets a cop-out because, one, Phoenix didn't have depth. You knew that going in. You still picked them to win. You used the Chris Paul injury. But you even said you think they will play better. Then you started talking about what he's done pre-Golden State. We know what he's done pre-Golden State.
What gets you popped is that we had the conversation about the Phoenix Suns' lack of depth. We did speak about how the Nuggets were not a good matchup for the Phoenix Suns. You said that I'll see this end in 6 for the Suns as opposed to seeing it end for the 6 and in 6 for the Nuggets. That's where I feel Riv.
Well, also, the Nuggets' defensive coverage on the Suns was they were forcing the corner pockets of the offense. They were forcing players to hit threes.
For sure.
We saw Landry Shamet in Game 3, Game 4 knock down 5 threes, and that's what opened up the offense a little bit. Outside of that game, the Nuggets kept playing that defensive coverage, but players were not shooting well. So when players are not shooting well, they can stay in their defense where they're just honing in on Booker and KD. And I think what also attributed to KD performing worse is that Devin Booker, Game 5, injures his ankle, and now he's not a reliable scorer at all because you can see he's a bit hobbled. And that's why I don't hold the Game 6 against him. I do wish, after he scores 12 points in Game 6, he talks to the media because this is back-to-back years now where Devin Booker has been at the forefront of an embarrassing home loss. And that is raising some questions for me, whether or not Devin Booker wants to be in Phoenix long-term, skip the media. Maybe he is just disgruntled, or maybe he looks at this roster and it's not what he thought it was. Now, the thing with Kevin Durant is that this is the context, and I'm just providing context. I'm not giving him a pass because he didn't play up to his standard, but him not playing up to his standard is averaging 29, 10, and 5, shooting 45% from the field, 22% from 3, which is not good, but he did everything else. He played amazing defense. He was their best defender. He was making the correct reads. He didn't have the best series, but he did not play poorly in my estimation. I thought he still played well. But when it comes to Kevin Durant, I just feel like people are way too quick to diminish him because of his move to Golden State. People still hate him for that move. And I don't think anybody tries to give Kevin Durant a pass. If anything, everybody loves to pile on him and make it worse for him. But the context behind his career post Golden State is that he suffered a career-ending injury trying to play through a hamstring in the finals. He tried to give it his all to win the Warriors a 3rd straight championship in a row, and he was injured. An injury that players have not come back from. Great players in this era, like DeMarcus Cousins' career, were completely ruined by an Achilles injury. Kevin Durant,
Kobe Bryant was never the same. Exactly.
Kevin Durant comes back from it, averages 30. His first playoff appearance from that injury, he was on a historic tear in the playoffs. And had it not been for Kyrie and Harden getting injured, we're talking about this so much differently. Has he played bad in the last 2 playoff series? Because even in the first round in this playoffs, he did not play bad. But has he played bad against the Nuggets? And has he played bad against the Celtics? Yes, he has. But so much about a player's legacy is based off of luck, because if Kevin Durant has a healthy squad in 2021, that team can win a championship. And we're seeing it now. Once you have a championship, it seems like to me, people don't care what happens post whatever you do, because now people just go back to, well, you won. And Kevin Durant has won already, but somehow it just gets discredited.
What has he done post one?
He's had 3 chances. He was historical in 1 playoff run, and in the last 2, he didn't play well. But I think also providing context for those seasons, the 2022 Nets were a mess.
They weren't that
and
good.
The 2023 Suns were decimated by injuries late.
We cannot say that, Joel. We picked the Nets to win.
And also why...
Even if you pick a team to win, you can still acknowledge their problems.
But why should us as a whole, quote unquote, feel bad for Kevin Durant when, again, we're talking about him in context of being one of the greatest to ever put on a uniform? So that of itself That's respect, and that's a homage to Kevin Durant's greatness. But again, when you enter these conversations, you are now welcoming yourself, whether you like it or not, into conversations that become extremely critical.
It's a fact.
And you start to nitpick.
It's a fact.
And it's not an indictment on Kevin Durant, who we understand is a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest scorers of all time, to most, the greatest scorer of all time, one of the most efficient scorers of all time, one of just overall one of the best players ever. When you enter this conversation, you now welcome yourself to extreme criticism. And why he's welcomed himself to even more than that is what we've all said. You joined a 7-3 win team that you blew a 3-1 lead to the following year. You were the best player on their team for 2 seasons in a row, but now you leave trying to assert yourself as, hey, I'm the reason we won these championships. You leave, and the guy who was the reason you won the championship ends up winning a championship before you even make it to a championship in Steph Curry. And then you mentioned it. He was amazing that year, that first year with the Brooklyn Nets, where he was back. He come back from the injury. He was unbelievable against the Milwaukee Bucks. He was an inch away from sending his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. But then he followed it up with his worst playoff performance since 2016, those last 3 games against the Golden State Warriors. And then he follows it up with, to be fair to Kevin Durant, he was coming back from injury. And again, listen, I can be critical, but I can also be fair. He's coming back from injury late into the season. This is a brand new team as well, so you have to get yourself acquainted to it. You lack depth because this team was dismantled to acquire you, Kevin Durant. Game 1, the first series against the Clippers, it became very heightened to us that this team lacks the depth, and it's Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and company. You get by the Los Angeles Clippers because they don't have Paul George, because Kawhi Leonard ends up getting hurt mid-series, and then you go against the Nuggets, who have just been one of the most consistent teams all season. It's more so to do with the lack of depth of the Phoenix Suns as opposed to just Kevin Durant playing poorly, which you can look at and say he wasn't Kevin Durant. And that's where we need to have these conversations. It's not more so if Kevin Durant was bad. It's more so Kevin Durant was not Kevin Durant. And that's a fine standard to live by when you've become so great at the sport of basketball. So to shoot 2 for 12, that's not Kevin Durant from 3. To go 0 from 3 in a game 5, that's not Kevin Durant. To shoot no threes at all, to get blown out by 30 points, that's not Kevin Durant. So if you're getting criticism from if you're Kevin Durant and you're getting criticism, it's because you didn't live up to what everyone believes Kevin Durant is. Simple as that.
I think the 3-point comment you made, Kevin Durant admitted this in his press conference. He's not a high volume 3-point shooter,
but he's been an efficient 3-point shooter.
He's an efficient 3-point shooter, but historically he gets to his spots in the mid range, and throughout this series, it was happening less and less, and he was chucking up more threes because the defense was already set. So he was forcing up some shots.
But that game 2 was the only game that he shot over double-digit threes.
And that led to his efficiency being not as great from 3, is that he was chucking up some bad shots.
But even his field goal percentage itself, you had the 2 games. Game 1 that he was great. Game 4 he was
12
was
for
it game
31,
4?
10 for 24.
But other than that,
for
less than
19.
50, less than 50.
That's true. But also, it's like, if we're just measuring players by the field goal percentage, there's a lot of players that we're just going to say have bad games.
I'm not trying to do that.
Game
but
He's an efficient player.
Game 4, while he wasn't the most efficient, he had a 30-point triple-double.
Yeah, he had to go out there and shoot.
Devin Booker was amazing.
Game 4, he was efficient.
And also, I'd rather you go out like that than there are games where James Harden takes 14 shots and has 9 points in a playoff game. I'd rather a player shoot 25, 30 shots
at all.
and go out swinging.
I don't disagree
if the
with that
shots
at all.
don't fall, they
play.
just don't fall. But my whole thing with Kevin Durant is that I think there are more problems than just him. And
Agreed.
What you mentioned earlier about, well, when you say that, referring to Kevin Durant, when you say that you're the reason they won these championships, Kevin Durant has never once come out and has been arrogant in saying that he's the reason they have won these championships. He doesn't.
It's something that's untold. That's unsaid.
But
that
he doesn't,
we sit here and we understand.
But this is the thing.
If he didn't think it was about him, he would have stayed with Golden State. He would have continued to run it up.
It's not that he didn't think it was about him. It's just that it became a toxic environment. And that's ultimately what it became. Golden State became a toxic environment because everybody was always comparing Steph and Kevin Durant to each other and wanted to pinpoint who was responsible for whose success. in history, we don't do that with nobody. When it comes to Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, we don't say, well,
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, we don't say, oh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic. Oh, Magic's not as great because he needed Kareem to win.
As a member of the LeBron
Kobe gets
stands,
flack because Shaq was the best player on those championship teams. Not a lot, but
and
Kobe gets flack.
People try to minimize Michael Jordan going 6-0 because he didn't do anything until Scottie got there.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's just how nasty conversations.
I understand that, but everybody on the Warriors, whether it's been Draymond Green, it's been Steph Curry, it's been Andre Iguodala, they have all said they needed Kevin Durant to win those championships against a LeBron team it's LeBron. You need that to win. And Kevin Durant just wanted to be in a situation where he was winning and playing basketball he wanted to play. He has been out of Golden State post-injury for 3 seasons. And last 2 seasons, I could say they were dysfunctional situations. He should have played better, yes. But I look back to 2021 and say, I couldn't have asked more from him. And it's just unfortunate that, 1, his foot was on the line. And then 2, Kyrie and Harden were injured.
I can't be too upset. I mean, he chose to go team up with Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie's never been the most, exactly. He's not someone that if things are going to be
even then he was missing
chaotic and out of structure, I don't know if you would go to Kyrie and he's the one you're looking for to kind of put shit in place. Golden State, I mean, obviously they had their issues this season and Draymond's had issues in the past, but they're one of the most well-run organizations. I mean, they're a dynasty for a reason. You don't win 4 chips in 8 years and have all of this dysfunction running around. So I can't blame Kevin Durant, or I should say I can't, feel bad for Kevin Durant when he made the choice to leave Golden State, because he could have stayed in Golden State and probably won a couple more championships.
Sure.
He wanted to be the guy, and I get that because all of the, slack he got, which deservedly so, for teaming up against a team you just lost to, just blew a 3-1 lead to. He wanted to go and prove to himself and everyone else, saying, I could be the number 1 on a championship team. And I think we all know Kevin Durant has the talent to do it. But if you're looking specifically at this series against the Suns and kind of breaking this down, I think the biggest thing you have to be disappointed is these last 2 games, where the first 4 games of the series, Devin Booker is just on a heater we have damn near never seen before from anybody in the NBA, right? He's putting up like God level center efficiency as a guard and just putting up stupid numbers. But the last 2 games of the series, Devin Booker is not that same player, right? Especially in the closing game in Game 6. And Kevin Durant in Game 5 goes 10 for 24, puts up 26 points, and 8 for 19, and puts up 23 points in those last 2 games. Both games you lose, Game 6 being at home. So I think if you're a Suns fan and you're looking at this, we just trade all of our future, all of our assets, all of our role players to avoid what happened last year, where you could look at it and say, well, Devin Booker is really the only person you probably fear on this team, right? You had Bridges, Chris Paul, Ayton, you had these guys who could put up points, but it was really just Devin Booker who was striking fear in the heart of the opponent. Now you go and get KD, so if Devin Booker isn't playing up to that potential, you have someone else you could look to, and he didn't set up to it. I mean, even a Game 6 close, narrow loss where KD gives you 30 on efficiency, you're probably sitting here and feel a little bit better about yourself. But the fact that these are the last 2 games and you gave all that you had to do coming off last year's L, it's just tough for Kevin Durant. He's going to bounce back. We're going to talk about it. Like, to get into just, I guess, the Suns' future, they need to, they have a lot of questions. They have a bunch of free agents, guys on team options. Let me see it here.
Conversations that Chris Paul's already
CP3 half guaranteed contract. DeAndre Ayton does not seem interested in being a Phoenix Sun. Lundell's a free agent. Okogie's a free agent. So they have a lot of pieces that were integral to their part. The fact that Lundell played better than DeAndre Ayton's a big issue. Okogie obviously had some big minutes there. They need more players. You gave up all of these assets, and it came down to those role players not stepping up. And of course, you had Landry Shamet and Okogie every once in a while, and Lundell, like I said, but you needed someone else other than Devin Booker when he wasn't being God-level efficient. Kevin Durant's going to do this. You need something else there to keep you going. The Suns roster right now, it feels a bit gutted. It feels really shallow. I don't know what DeAndre Ayton's trade value is. So the question that really started this is, can the Suns successfully build around Durant and Devin Booker? It's going to be hard.
Kevin's getting up there in age too.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for Kevin Durant. I think there is an inherent lack of respect for him as a player for his career, though. It's okay.
Everyone acknowledges him as a top 20 minimum.
There's definitely a lot of disrespect around who he is as a player in his career.
because he's not considered a top
And,
10, 12, top
no,
12
no, no, no.
player?
I mean, he is a top 15 player all time.
I agree with that.
He is.
But my point is, because we don't consider him better than Steph Curry, because we don't consider him better than a Hakeem, understand what I'm saying? Is that disrespect, in your opinion?
It's not.
I think it's disrespect to push aside everything he did in Golden State, winning 2 Finals MVPs just because he went to Golden State.
And you know what? That's where I can at least level with you, because that's what I do.
But people
And
do it with
I
Steph.
do that. But that's why
But that's why he
Steph
bounced
winning the
back.
championship
But this is the
last
thing.
year
People
was
do it with
just
Steph, but you
icing.
can bring up things that like people don't acknowledge those 2 chips when they were together. But the reason why it's such a big thing for Kevin Durant is when you go to Steph, you could say, well, okay, that doesn't count, but at least you did something here. You did something here.
After
Yeah, but
Kevin
the
left.
context
is-
being the
can't
context,
So you did something before Kevin was there,
And then after.
and then you did something after he was there.
but to that point, and this is where I get annoyed with how people just the period at the end of the sentence for everybody is he didn't win. I get annoyed by that because in 2012 when he led the OKC Thunder to the finals, I understand it's a long time ago.
Over 10 years.
He was amazing.
He was
but
unbelievable.
he got routed
Yeah.
by arguably the best version, the most
No, yeah,
motivated
yeah.
LeBron
Of-
James we've
I was
ever
gonna
seen.
say of the Miami Heat. That's what you were
look
expecting.
how far you have to go
when
back
you-
to
when you
find
saw the
to
big-
get
I don't
that.
have to go that far back. I look at
It's 11
20.
years.
I go to 2021 where he was historic in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he lost, but he had no help.
That's
so
fair.
there is moments where even when you bring up
Is
Kevin
that
Durant's,
the first time we've seen a great player have no help and lose?
but even when you bring up Kevin Durant's moments of brilliance, it is always ended by the sentence he didn't win and not provided any context to.
He also
James
did go
Harden in the
6
finals was abysmal in
Yeah, yeah.
2012. Russell Westbrook was not good either. Magic Johnson went on national TV and said he's not a point guard. Like there is context to
You
all
can do
these
that
things.
with every all-time great. Michael Jordan in 1998, Scottie Pippen's back was broken. Dennis Rodman was coming up the bench. You could do the same thing with Kobe. You can do the same thing with Magic. Kareem didn't play. You could do the same thing with Larry Bird. You could do the same thing with Isaiah Thomas. He was on one damn near ankle.
There are certain
can
players
do
that
that.
definitely get passes for not winning, though.
I was going to say the one. I was
There
going
are
to
so
say,
many players. that
my
get
God,
passes.
LeBron, he gets praise for 2018 for being unbelievable. In my opinion, that's the best performance I've ever seen in the playoffs, and he didn't even win.
But
So
yeah,
I'm with you there.
here's the thing, and that's the thing. There are certain players. LeBron is 101, so I don't want to discredit him. But there are people that, when they bring up the GOAT debate,
Yeah.
they value 6-0 versus going to 11 straight finals.
Sure.
But they end that sentence off with he didn't win. This is why MJ is better. And there are people that side with LeBron in that argument. But when it comes to Kevin Durant, and he could perform well, but as long as he loses, that shit does not matter.
But
And
LeBron,
that's my gripe.
but LeBron gets put in that conversation because although he didn't win, he was damn near amazing in 10 out of the 11 finals.
And
Like,
that's the point
for-
to Riv was making last year when we had this was now we can point to multiple moments in Kevin Durant's career where he hasn't been Kevin Durant.
Yeah, every player, great player, has those bad moments.
But
though.
now you nitpick, and now you want to put him in that conversation. You have
Exactly.
He has bigger moments or more bad moments than most of those players you want to put in that
I don't know if-
conversation.
I don't
Because
know
we're
if he
talking
has-
legendary. When you talk legendary, you automatically have to start grouping in the Michael, the LeBron, the Steph, the Magic.
And although
the
he's top
But here's the
15,
thing,
top
I don't
20, that
think-
room is still small.
I don't think
Facts.
that even when you go tit for tat and you compare other players' bad moments, I don't think Kevin Durant necessarily has more. I just don't think people remember other players' bad moments.
Well, it depends on who we're talking about. You're talking about that small group because he is a top 15 all-time player before, but even then, that room is still
Because
small.
look at, you know what?
small.
Even off the
Even
top of my
MJ
head,
and LeBron aren't on the same tier as these other
exactly.
players.
Listen, people will bring up LeBron to me, is the greatest of all time. People bring up 2011 religiously. Tim Duncan, he basically had a flawless career. That 2013, I will never forget him missing that bunny that could have potentially ended that series, ended that game 7. I don't forget the fact that he wasn't on the court for that game 6, even though it wasn't Timmy's fault. There's moments where I look at great players. There's just times where even Magic Johnson, there was a point in his career where people looked at Magic and said, he can't get it done. Larry Bird's
Tragic
that guy.
Johnson.
Tragic Johnson. And we're talking about Magic, who majority have him as a top 4, top 5 player of all time.
I understand that. You're mentioning those examples.
But I named you top 7, top 8 players.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
But all those things I do not agree with when people bring up. The
Interesting.
same way where when Nikola Jokic for
I
the
respect
last
the-
2
I respect
years
the
has been
consistency.
getting criticized for not making deep playoff
This
runs.
was bullshit, though.
When,
We
I know
that.
it's bullshit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
a lot of these nitpicks are bullshit, though.
Agreed.
That's where I'm getting at.
But of all of them, let's be fair here. Of all of them, Kevin Durant is the least.
That are BS.
Correct. Let's just level. It's the least.
He didn't play up to standards.
And
for
that's
sure.
it. That's all I can ask.
Yeah. But I understand, but my main point is that I don't think winning is everything. I think winning is a big part, but I don't think just
so
because
Giannis's comments are okay.
I think they're okay.
I don't agree with them.
On a moral human level, I think what he's saying is true.
I thought it didn't make sense to bring it up.
I think the Bucks did have a failure of a season getting bounced by an 8th seed. I think that's an embarrassing moment. But here's the thing. Why, when Giannis says that, it's like a 50-50 split when it's
because why he brought it up.
When criticism is geared towards
Because
him.
they asked him,
but it was a basketball related thing. It had nothing to do with.
But this is the thing. This is what I say to Giannis.
To be fair, he kept the basketball.
Even after he made those comments, there was people agreeing with him and disagreeing with him.
Agreed.
Majority agreeing with him. The reason why is because you say, well, he won already, so it's fine. You know, he could say that because he doesn't have anything to prove. If Giannis had no ring and said that, there'd be an all-time high of disrespect towards him.
I agree.
And that's the same thing with Jokic right now, what he's going through right now, where if he doesn't, people are talking about Denver as being a first-round exit, second-round exit, although I did pick the Suns, but they were disrespecting Denver as a team and Jokic thinking that he cannot be this type of playoff performer because of non-playoff runs in the past, even though his team was unhealthy. So that's the thing where people pick and choose and people just don't add context to things. And the sentence is always ended with he didn't win.
But Giannis's comments, I feel like people were not agreeing because he started talking about his life and how he's not.
He was asking the reporter about like his job.
Yeah, well, he compared his job.
Yeah, but
that's Giannis's
we were
job.
talking about basketball related things. If he would have kept it basketball, it wouldn't have been all the extra people disagreeing.
But the way that
he
sees it, it's bigger than basketball.
Yeah,
you
but
can't
that's not what the reporter asked you.
No, I agree.
The question
but
was basketball related.
I agree with you. But what he did was he compared Giannis's job with the reporter's job. Is that unfair?
Yes.
But why?
Because they're not the same.
But they're
job.
both professions.
Yeah, but it's not the same job.
It is.
One is
it
entertainment.
I think,
like if we don't reach 100K, if we don't reach 100K by the end of the year, is that necessarily a failure?
But you can't come. Giannis is in an entertainment job. That's different than what a reporter is doing.
I mean, a reporter technically is in the business of entertaining.
Yeah, but it's not an entertainment job. You can't compare jobs. He's doing this to entertain.
I don't think
this could get. We can go on for so long.
My perspective on this is, I don't think being an entertainer devalues you from the conversation because basically what the reporter is asking Giannis is, did not winning a championship, is that a failure for you this season? Giannis bounced that question back. It's like saying, if you didn't win the award for the best journalist of the year, were you a failure this year in writing all your articles?
But that's a fair question to ask. I feel
if you're the best if you're the best player in the world like Giannis and you don't win a championship, if you're the best reporter in the world, you don't win the award. It's like,
what do we do? What do you?
It's different.
Yeah, what are we bringing up? You're successful in your life. That's not the question. The question was basketball related. You were the number 1 seed. Did your goal was to win a championship? Do you feel like you failed?
It's black and white.
It's black. It's literally black and white.
Really
all the extra.
Listen, there will be some players that just say outright yes, they did.
It's a simple yes or no question.
But we can't knock Giannis for thinking how he thinks in his perspective.
And especially 10 minutes after a game ended that you were supposed to
I could
win.
not agree with it, but I am also not going to say that he had no right to say it, or I don't see where he's coming from.
I don't think he had no right, but I think it was a simple question.
You don't sit up here and call like him an idiot or be like, "How do you dare say that?"
No,
I'm
just saying you didn't have to say that. Like
that's why. I don't know. Giannis shit's been funny to me.
I mean,
and now the tweets he said after, what do you put out? The video,
disrespect?
The disrespect.
Yeah, the disrespect.
I love it.
He's going to get a jump shot finally, maybe.
I don't know. If the reporter's goal was to be the best and he wasn't the best, then he failed.
Everyone's goal should be the best.
But I also think, even though we value these achievements at the end of the tunnel, I think that the journeys would matter.
Process, yes, for sure. It's part of the process, but there's still
the journey was. It just wasn't
like the
Knicks.
Journey. The Knicks was a success. You reshaped the culture. You know, Jalen Brunson was great. RJ had some moments. You got to the second round. Finally won a playoff series for the first time in a decade. That is part of the process. The Bucks making the playoffs is not part of the process.
It
They
isn't.
were the 1 seed and they lost to an
It's
8
not part
seed.
of the journey.
That
So
is
you-
not the. That's taking a step backwards.
You mentioned earlier that the Suns they don't have much flexibility. The good thing is I think Matt Ishba, their new owner, is very hungry to win now.
Yes.
And there's been reports that DeAndre Ayton might be out of town. Chris Paul is likely not being on the roster. So I had some DeAndre Ayton trades
Here we go.
because where could Ayton go? And this is a segment, where could DeAndre Ayton
Yeah.
go? I have 3 teams that I looked at and said, you know what?
Shanghai?
Maybe they fit there. Not Shanghai.
Okay.
Number one,
What about
is
Gun
the-
High?
number one is the I list.
It's okay.
Number one is the Chicago Bulls.
Because Vooch is gone.
Yeah.
Losing me.
I said
Would it be a
Chicago.
signing trade, do you think?
It has to be.
Number 2 is the Toronto Raptors.
I don't
Pirtle
think
is,
so with
is
Jakob.
free agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just traded first from you probably signed.
And number
Sign
3
and
is the
trade.
Dallas Mavericks. And you can have them whatever order. The Bulls trade package is sign and trade with Nikola Vucevic
Yeah.
and add Caruso or Patrick Williams.
Too
No
much.
way.
Mm.
No way.
Too much.
I said
No
that's
way.
a
Caruso
steal
cannot go.
for
Suns is
Oh, the
Phoenix.
Suns
Yeah,
fleece.
yeah,
Suns
They
fleece.
get Caruso out of that. Damn.
You get someone that can actually stretch the floor, that actually would be aggressive on the offensive side. Stretch as in mid-range. Relax. I'm not an idiot. And Vooch can kind of knock down the
Yeah,
three.
He can hit a 3 every once in a
Yeah,
while.
some weeks can't. You know, maybe.
That's
It's the
more
life
than
of a
Ayton.
number 3.
Yeah, Caruso though, that's a steal
That's
That's the
huge.
GOAT. I
The
miss him
first
every day.
trade I had was Caruso and Patrick Williams.
for Ayton.
I feel like if I'm you guys, I still say no.
Chicago. What are they getting out of Ayton?
A starting center.
They have a starting center.
Young.
Vucevic is gone, most likely.
You're not.
I think you
resigning
want
Vooch.
everybody gone though.
The issue is that Vucevic played better than people expected.
He did.
Yeah.
What contract is he getting? Ayton's getting what, 25
He'll
million?
probably-
And's getting almost 30 million.
He'll get, I was going to
So now
say,
you got
he'll
a-
get
Vooch
close
is
to
gonna get
30.
less than
You
that.
got a 3-man
Might
of
get close to it.
Zach, DeMar, Ayton.
But there's not a lot of teams that have cap that are going to.
And he's older, so, but I think that he played well enough that he could get that.
Doesn't Ayton want a
26 to
heightened
29.
role?
You'd get that in
But-
Chicago.
yeah.
Assuming Levine and
No, he
DeMar are
wouldn't.
gone.
Nah, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
I'm
He'd be the number
if-
3.
I'm saying if DeMar and Levine aren't
Zach
there.
just got 40.
I was going to
doubt
say
he's
Zach, and Zach was their best
DeMar's on
player
like a
second-
$27 million
second half of the
deal. He's
season.
a free.
thought
He's
that-
a,
That's why
I thought you were
Chicago
assuming they're
might
gone.
not work from
Huh?
that
I
thought
standpoint
you were
because
assuming those two were
Aiden wants
gone.
more touches.
DeMar's on a 1-year deal. I think he's 1 year now.
So he's expiring.
Yeah, so you can't. Who's gonna want to bring him in? He's on a 1-year deal.
Teams will bring
I
him
would
in
say
for sure.
expiring.
Like who?
Yeah, I think more likely expiring than if he had
The
3 years
Mavericks.
left or 40 a year.
The Mavericks went.
They'll be hungry for any talent to
DeMar-
send around.
So
Luka.
number 2, I have the Toronto Raptors sign and trade Fred VanVleet and Otto Porter for Aiden.
Why the fuck you keep throwing
You
around
love
Porter
Otto
in
Porter.
deals?
His salary filler.
I
So
think
it's Fred
that-
VanVleet for DeAndre.
I think that would also have to be a sign and trade where you include
Yeah.
Jakob. I think me personally. I guess
Oh,
yes.
you
Paul-
think
Chris
you
Paul is
include,
gone,
include
probably.
Jakob and VanVleet?
no.
Then you
Hell
don't have to. You
no.
don't have to sign and trade.
It's one of the
I don't
two.
think.
And I think I don't think Fred will be. I think Fred is probably going to return as a.
Who's their point guard now?
I
That's
think
what
they'd
I'm
rather have
saying.
Jakob.
Toronto. Scotty. Oh,
Scotty can run
Not
it.
insane.
I understand you would say that.
Screw you.
And number 3, the Dallas Mavericks.
This is the best option.
The trade package is Tim Hardaway Jr.,
See ya.
JaVale McGee,
See ya.
and Reggie Bullock.
See ya.
That's a good move for Phoenix. You're getting a lot of good role players and some spacing,
Yep.
Correct.
but they've shown the ability to freeze up in some moments. So fuck it though. You pull the trigger.
But that also becomes difficult where he still would be the third option if Kyrie Irving were to come back.
Luka will give him the ball a
I
lot.
think he wants
don't-
it
I
more.
think that pick
he
and
wants
roll would
new
be-
scenery. I think more than anything. Like he wants.
he was ready to go to Indiana.
That's what I'm saying. I
Because
think he
Tyrese-
wants to leave.
Tyrese
He
is a
want-
point guard.
I
he
think
wants to
Indiana's out of the
leave and just
running.
Be like, fuck
no,
this.
no. I only say that where this offseason he was ready to
Yeah.
sign with
Yes.
Indiana.
What I think is this. I think if a trade with the Mavericks happened, they're flipping issues because now the Suns have depth, but the star power might be lacking the top heaviness. Where now Dallas, let's say Kyrie resigns. It's Luka, Kyrie, Ayton, and then
it's
a
damn
bunch
near
of
Phoenix 2.0.
a bunch of depth that's not there.
In my opinion, though, as long as you have KD and Book, if you surround great role players around them, they'll be able to contend. Look at the Los Angeles Lakers. You have LeBron, you have AD, you surrounded them with excellent role players.
But is
They're
Reggie
able to
Bullock a
contend.
reliable?
I'm not saying that.
Role player?
I'm just saying you need role
Yeah,
players.
I agree.
Right? I mean,
Tim
it's-
is cool. I like Tim. Tim's
it's like
cool.
Dennis Schroeder, right? You just look at him. You
I've
don't
always
look
thought
at,
Dennis Schroeder was good though.
I do.
He
I
just-
did too.
He fucked himself.
I agree with that, but I just mean in the sense of you don't look at Dennis Schroeder to be this consistent guy night in, night out. He has a role.
But
That's-
the
that's
difference
would be-
between you guys, LA and Phoenix, is they need guys. They need 4 to 5 guys.
I
You
don't
guys
disagree.
already have. If Dennis
We
isn't
got
there, you put him out, bring
I
somebody
mean,
else.
we
in.
lost Dennis and still able to maintain last night. So I get what you're saying.
Moving on to the New York Knicks. Successful season.
It was
It's a successful season.
for sure.
You know, although he lost in the second round,
Oh, you think the Heat suck though?
the Vegas thought we was only winning 40 games.
They didn't win a championship, man.
Oh, yeah, you
Including
can't say
me,
that. That's
including
steps.
me, I did not predict this
It's
team to make the
steps. Come on,
playoffs.
what we
A
doing
playoff
here?
lock. I had them as high as a play-in. But what did we learn about the Knicks this year?
Julius Randle's a fraud.
Been a fraud.
Again.
Listen, I think what
RJ
we
Barrett's
learned,
better than what we anticipated.
John talking
little bit.
shit.
what we
Baby
learned
steps.
is that Jalen Brunson is that guy.
He's a savage.
Dog. Number
24 points per game in the regular season, 28 in the playoffs. He outplayed Donovan Mitchell and Jimmy Butler. And versus the Heat, he averaged 31,
little
5
bit.
rebounds, and
It's
6 assists on good efficiency. And that was with them sending a bunch of doubles and trying to trap him.
That's what they did.
Intense defensive
Jimmy too,
coverage.
though.
But not saying that he didn't, but at least Brunson, let me not
Jimmy
say at
was
least,
great
but
on both
Brunson
ends.
also was great with the double in his presence.
Jalen Brunson answered every single call that was handed to him.
Interesting.
And this is our first playoff series win since 2013. You know, this is the first playoff run that we've
Don't-
had a playoff series
Stop.
win since
Riff.
2013.
Be humble. You have 0 teams right now out of 10. Stop.
All right. 2013 is a long
So
It
long.
is
10 years.
massive.
That's the Jets drought. Oh, shit.
2010.
But it's a 10-year drought,
2010.
right? Oh, no, you
We're
guys are
going
13.
13.
You're fucked.
And what we also learned, it's getting harder and harder to vouch for Julius Randle.
Devastating.
I don't agree with fans outside of the arena
That was
spray painting him,
horrendous.
saying
That shit
trade
was
me.
nuts.
No,
I
and
think
they
it's
also
ridiculous.
They
Yeah,
took down his
stomped on it.
poster, stomped it like it was trash.
I
Fans
think
really
it's
be gross sometimes,
disrespectful
buddy.
to Randle. RJ Barrett, for me, also I learned that he gets one more go around. I think he's earned it.
That's
He
growth.
gets one more
Proud
go
of you.
around.
I'm proud of you.
He played well in the playoffs. Listen, I'll stick with
Wait,
him for
who-
one more
RJ
year.
So you're not saying
The-
that his trade value to heights is ever going to be?
It
That's not
might, you know, the trade machine.
saying that
I'm
shit.
just saying.
Stop it. Respect
I'm
Star
just
J.
saying the trade machine isn't automatically getting pulled out from RJ right
is
now.
Star J back? Is the nickname back?
Nah, I don't think so.
Ah, you prick.
He was up in.
I also
He
learned this.
He played 4 straight great games. Not that we're throwing a pizza party for
I
that.
get what you, yeah.
I also
Bro,
learned this. Our third ranked offensive rating in the regular season was a delusion.
Yeah.
This team had no spacing. It was Jalen Brunson, one man show for most of the playoffs, pretty much.
players didn't show
RJ
up.
Barrett showed up here and there. You know, no doubt credit to him, but mostly it was a one man show.
I'm waiting for you to give, some type of criticism to Emmanuel quickly.
And Grimes.
We're talking about a
Quickly been
6-man
no show.
and Grimes.
He was hurt, but
He was.
listen,
he
you're on
was
the court. I need to see
for
some.
how much
No.
Knicks fans were pushing IQ, bro. The fact that
But that's
he
why
can,
I said-
No, but that's not a slight to Knicks fans. It's more so talking about
That's fair.
Emmanuel.
That's
Quickly.
why I
I'm
said.
talking
That's
more
why I
Mikey.
said after the first
Mikey,
round.
Mikey deserves it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Manny Quigley should win 6 man of the
No,
year.
No.
Fucking
Six
starting.
tweet threads.
If you look at his advanced,
bro had every vote for our.
you look at his advanced VRP, you can see
No,
he's one
bro,
of the best.
He killed me with the each voter's vote for 6 man of the year. He
love you, Mikey.
really
I,
was
I
up
will
there.
say
Facts,
this:
facts.
after the first round, when the 6 man of the year award was announced, I was happy Quickly didn't win it.
You thought that would fire him up?
No, not that it fired him up, but listen, you performed like trash in the playoffs. I'm glad you didn't win an award for being 6 man. Malcolm Brogdon, with his performances, he's
playing
deserved
well.
that. In the playoffs, he showed he deserved it. Emmanuel Quickly showed that. Come on, man, where are you?
He's been a
Where
no
are
show.
you?
Had an
And
ankle
you know
injury.
what's
To be
thing?
fair,
This was
but-
driving me crazy. If we get production from these guys, I think we win this series.
Yeah, it's not insane.
You can
dude.
say that about a lot of teams.
You
I
can.
don't disagree, but the fact that Quickly was a no-show, the fact that Julius Randle was inconsistent as shit.
Can we? No, he wasn't inconsistent.
He was bad.
Bam locked him the fuck up.
I can't say that
But
because
yes.
Game
Randle-
five, Julius
Game five-
Randle was really good.
Yeah. What else?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
What are you
But
talking about?
Randall was doing
He
the
was
shit
hurt.
he was doing the regular season, bro.
Oh.
Taking these contested shots, these step back mid ranges,
I'm
like
wrong.
just ugly
He's
shot
doing the
selection.
shit he's been doing.
I know,
has.
but that's what I'm saying. I
Well,
don't think
Bam was
that's
on his
going to
ass.
happen in the
Let's
fucking
get some respect.
playoffs.
Bam was OD.
Come on.
Bam was OD. I can give credit where credit is due. Bam was amazing defensively, and when it came to the offense, he wasn't doing more than what he was asked for.
To like game 6.
Listen, I'm happy I don't get to see Randall
Monty got
Sasha
fired.
this year.
Monty Williams.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you hurting? Are you hurting?
Bro, he's a Nuggets fan right now.
No. Are you hurting?
Why did John turn like that?
Because he's a nut. He's a
Bro
Suns
turned
fan.
hella
Bro
quick.
got shocked.
He's a Suns fan. Are you hurt?
Ooh.
You're hurting, aren't you? You about to cry?
Hey, they got a new owner in there. He probably wants to put the stamp on it, make a new coach.
Are the Bucks about to go after
Well,
Monty?
it's.
Go from
I'll be
London,
honest.
go
It's
to the
probably
Nets?
Monty's fault because he chose to play Landry Shaman all fucking day.
Landry Shimmer's making shots.
Eventually,
Yeah. In game was it 5? No. 4 was last
his
time. they won, right?
lineups
Yeah,
were a
it's
little
4 or 5.
questionable.
It was 4 and 5.
So
Oh,
to
yeah.
stay,
Three and
we'll
4.
talk about
Yeah.
Monty shortly, even though
They were
we
home.
spent some time on the Suns.
Wait and stay.
Our future in New York is bright.
Maybe, bro.
We have the assets to trade for any disgruntled star that becomes available. We have 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. Our only free agent is Josh Hart. We're not paying anybody on this roster more than $28 million a year. I think we're in a good position. And because our season was so great and Jalen Brunson showed us so much, I think it's time for a would you rather on Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
I think it's time for a would you rather.
I'm gonna cook.
Let me hear this.
I'm ready.
This is would you rather Jalen Brunson edition. First name up, Kyrie Irving.
I would take Kai.
Kyrie.
Kyrie's a better player.
I'm going with Jalen Brunson.
Brunson's more reliable.
Do you know that Jalen Brunson?
Player, like,
Do you know that Jalen Brunson has more 30-point playoff games in this playoff run than Kyrie Irving has post Cleveland?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
How many has he actually played though?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably been in like 10 playoff games.
He's been Celtics and he's played. He
Oh,
played 2
Boston.
playoff series with the Celtics.
So
He played 2 playoff series with the Nets.
Yeah.
And he played he
played
played 3
one-
playoff
yeah,
series
yeah.
with the Nets.
Mhm.
And then he missed the playoffs. So he's played 4 or 5 playoff series post ball.
I'm taking Kyrie.
2025.
he played 4 games last year with the Nets. He played
He didn't have 30
he played
last year?
5 the
That's
first
31,
series.
right?
He played 2
Shit,
and
I
a
don't know.
half that
The first
next
game he was
that next
Yeah.
series against the Bucks. He missed obviously a huge portion of that first year with
That Bucks wasn't even a half. He played 3 games.
That's why I said 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 games.
I'll go Kyrie though.
The Boston, he missed the first playoffs entirely. I'm
This
going
would you
Kyrie.
the would you rather though is you're taking
With
the player
respect.
on your team, all the shit that comes with it. I would be taking Brunson.
You know what?
Who
Who's the
can say
better?
Kyrie's a
Yeah.
better player?
Brunson.
Jalen Brunson in these playoffs has performed better
I
than
don't gotta,
Kyrie
I don't
Irving.
gotta worry about no shit with Brunson. Like
Jalen Brunson in these playoffs has performed better than Kyrie Irving in his last 3 playoff runs. He has.
I'll go Brunson.
The
then.
thing is, you
You're
can
right.
argue-
I did forget about all that extra
I'm
shit.
not, listen, you guys make fair points.
And we're talking about with no second co-star backing him up.
I just feel like I look at Kyrie Irving. It's just undeniable what he is. And
you
what he
could take him
brings.
now, and then the next would you rather is not gonna be on your team.
I'd
anymore.
guarantee you that the Mavericks right now are looking at Brunson like, damn, we'd much rather have him than deal with Kyrie right
for that
now.
contract.
Only
Got a
only
good
because they
point.
gave up their depth for
So,
Kyrie.
especially the contract. Yeah, the contract for Brunson is gonna be. I mean, Kyrie's gonna get 40 mil probably.
The ceiling may be higher with Kyrie, but not much higher. Brunson is as steady as they come, more steadier than Kyrie.
He's a
I'd rather
borderline
have
All-NBA
Brunson
player.
has solidified himself as the truth. That's it.
Trey Young.
Trey Young.
Trae Young.
I'm going with Jalen Brunson.
All right, so Jalen Brunson's a top 4 point guard in the league.
Top 4, I would say he's a top 7, top 8 point guard in the league.
Trae
for
Young's
sure.
a
Trae
top
Young's
5 point guard in the
top 5,
league.
top 4.
He's not a top 5 point guard in the league.
Five
I think Steph Curry is
Yeah.
better.
He went from number 1 to not top 5.
I want to hear the 5. Who's the 5?
Steph
Steph,
Curry,
Dame.
Fox.
SGA,
Okay. Oh,
Luka,
right.
De'Aaron Fox, and then I'd have Brunson. I think Brunson's
Fox
right
is
there.
a close one.
Not mentioning
Trey's-
Dame is
Trey's
disrespectful.
tough.
Oh, Dame, I'm
Said-
sorry.
said
Fox
hold up.
is
So,
a close one.
Steph Curry, Dame, SGA, Luka, Fox.
Fox.
That's 5 easy for me that are better than Trey
Fox
Young.
is a close one.
It is.
Fox is
Trey, and
easy
Brunson
better
are
than
all.
Trey.
For me, yes, he is.
Trey, you talk about floor raising for an offense. Trey's up there.
Fox is just part of the first offense rating in history.
So what's the bonus?
He was.
Both
But Fox in the playoffs showed.
Trey
he's
Young
him.
was really good this year in the
He
playoffs.
was.
and Trey's first
Trey
playoff
stepped back in.
performance, he was very
For
good
4
also.
of the 6 games, he was really good.
No, Trey against Boston. Trey was really good this year. I'm not gonna say it.
Didn't he
I don't
average,
think- I don't
am I
think-
bugging 30 and 10 against y'all?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think it's
going
that
with-
easy.
I for me, it's easy off the fact that De'Aaron Fox is a 6'4" guard. He's not 6 foot like Trey Young. He's a 6 foot guard who can defend, who can score at a more consistent rate than Trey. And playmaking Trey is better, but I think
Not even close.
in all aspects, De'Aaron Fox has a more all-around game. He has a better mid-range. He's a better finisher at the basket. And their three-point percentages around the same because Trey Young is
Trey's a better
inefficient.
shooter,
Takes
though.
him
So let me
wherever
ask
he
you a
wants.
question. Are there 5 point guards that are top 20 basketball players in the world? Are there 5 point guards that are top 20 basketball players in the
Well,
world?
Steph, Dame, and SGA are top 20.
and Luka.
And Luka, so yes.
Okay, so
I think
Trey
Fox-
Young.
Wait, Trey Young's not top 20 in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
That's an insane drop.
And John
He was just,
Morant.
like,
We
top-
didn't mention John Morant.
Trey was just like top 16. Like
So John Morant's not top 20 either.
Well, Trey was just a top.
I think the point
Trey
guard the
was
best
just let's bring context into this. When I had Trey ranked highly after last season, Dame had not played the entire year, so he was not in the ranking by default. SGA had not become this. The only two that were over Trey were Steph and Luka, and De'Aaron Fox had not had this breakout yet because the knock on him always was winning. But if you're starting your team off with a guard, I think you're taking Steph, you're taking Dame, you're taking Luka, you're taking SGA. Those are 4 easy ones. Like you're just blindly taking them. And I think De'Aaron Fox proved this year.
Blindly taking SGA over Trey? Blindly?
Yes, I am.
I think at this point, yeah.
Blindly?
I am. I am.
I think the Fox one is a conversation.
I only say blindly.
Fox, Trey,
Josh, SGA. Those are the conversations. And I love SGA. I think that I would take SGA too. But I can't say blindly.
Trey rattled off 30, 38, 30.
That's what I'm saying.
30, 38, 35, 32,
I'm
taking
SGA pretty easy.
Mid, but
like 40, low 40.
But he had to. I mean, he's got DeJounte, John Collins,
and his assist
Capella.
was 10, 13, 15.
What was his efficiency if you could do me the favor?
It's not good. 42. Oh, I'm sorry. It was regular season. I don't feel like looking it up.
Fine. Don't worry about it.
It wasn't that good. But Trey was.
Come on, Fox. He was the best finisher at the basket this year, and his mid-range clear is Trey Young.
Inaugural clutch player of the year.
Facts.
But I don't think
SGA people taking over right now though.
I don't think Trey Young
first or second SGA.
First team. Respect him.
But Trey Young, I don't think he's top 20 because you have Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, AD, Jimmy Butler, SGA, Dame, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. That's 10.
LeBron,
Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, Jason Tatum. That's 13. Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
That's 14. Devin Booker. That's 15.
And this is where it gets dicey.
This is where it gets
dicey. Did you mention Ja?
I didn't mention Ja yet. Ja Morant.
That's a
Zion Williamson.
Zion Williamson, when healthy, I will take him over Trey.
Brandon Ingram, top 20, yes or no?
Said Book.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I did say Book.
Jalen Brown, top 20, yes or no?
Would you take him over Trey? I think it's a toss-up.
JB, Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown's not better than Trey Young.
I can't. And I love Jalen Brown more than a lot of
Respect to
Paul George.
I would take Trey Young.
Trey Young, probably.
You think she's better than Paul George?
Trey Young is tough, bro. I mean, like.
I know he's tough, but Paul George is tough,
Fox went 38, 24, 26, 24, 26. So, in the first round.
Nah, bro, he's OD. Fox is insane.
Trey had 4 30 balls to
He
Fox's
was unbelievable.
And like I said, I think Brunson's over Trey. I think it's not crazy to say Brunson's a top 20 player in the NBA right now.
I think that's a little crazy.
It's not crazy. After the playoffs he just had, it's not crazy at all.
I think that's a little crazy.
He outplayed Donovan Mitchell and Jimmy Butler.
He's not
in
better than
back-to-back
neither
series.
one of them.
I mean,
he played better than
probably in the
them,
same tier as a lot of those guys.
I don't know why you're openly.
Let's
like,
call him a top 30 player.
He didn't just outright outplay Jimmy Butler. Like, it was close. He openly outright played Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, but Jimmy and him were close.
Okay,
on both ends.
He outplayed.
It
was close, but he outplayed Jimmy Butler, who was on a historic run in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler matched him.
He couldn't average 40 points anymore.
But even he didn't slow him down. But I'm saying, even if you want to say Butler outplayed him, you can only.
It's close.
Okay, if it's close, the fact that Brunson was on par with him in this series,
he was on par,
is a testament to how great he is.
Thibodeau made adjustments and they were zoning in on Jimmy, but
they wasn't zoning. They were zoning in on.
A great job this series.
Yes, they doubled and tripled team Jimmy Butler.
They both had the same coverage. And I think they just were on similar levels. He did outplay Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards or Jalen Brunson?
I would take Anthony Edwards. Of course.
I mean, we're just
Jalen's not top 20.
No, he's
not. Top 25, top 30.
He's better than Trey Young, bro.
I don't think so.
It's probably still slightly Trey Young, but I mean, Jalen Brunson's putting himself in that conversation, in that tier.
Jalen Brunson's efficiency was insane.
No, Jalen's top 25, top 30 player. Yes,
I
top
take
20.
Who Jimmy Butler? Is Jimmy Butler a top 10 player?
Yeah, he's like top 10, 12.
Okay, so Jalen Brunson matched his production in the second round.
He also outplayed Donovan Mitchell, but you don't have him over Donovan Mitchell. So why do you keep telling me that?
Yeah, because I'm not.
Is he over Donovan?
No, he's not.
No, I don't think he is. But this is the thing. Just because he played better than somebody does not mean I put him over them.
I agree with that.
So why do you keep telling me about Jimmy Butler?
Yes, because where was Jalen Brunson?
Trey Young played better than Jason Tatum.
Where was
15 heads, right?
Where was Jalen Brunson? Hold up,
Zion.
Where was
Brandon Ingram? We didn't. Is Jalen Brown?
Jalen Brunson is better than Brandon Ingram. He is. He is. How is that a crazy take? He's better than him.
Brandon Ingram's nice, bro.
He's nice. Jalen Brunson is nice too.
So are you giving the same credit to Trey Young outperforming Jason Tatum in the first round? That doesn't matter at all.
Trey Young, what he did matters to me a lot. In the regular season, he was inefficient. The entire body of work matters to me. Jalen Brunson, post the new year was playing at a top 3 guard level. I would say top 4 guard level, top 4, top 5.
Yeah.
He was playing at a top 5 level, and then in the playoffs, upped his play.
But Trae Young also upped his play when it mattered.
And I'm not saying, and this is the thing, just because he outperformed him does not mean I think he's a better player than them, but it moves you up more. The same way how Trae Young coming into these playoffs may have been lower, the playoffs definitely brought him back to where he should have been.
All right, well, you kind of tossed this would you rather out the window, and I say that with respect. Name the players you were naming right here, whether Trae Young is top 20 or not, and we're going to now change it from Trae Young to Jalen Brunson. So you said it. You said Luka, you said Jokic, you said Embiid, you said Giannis, you said Steph, you said Jason Tatum, KD, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Davis, of course.
Ant-Man.
But what I'm saying
Anthony
is that
Edwards,
Jalen Brunson, what he did in the regular season.
Ja Moran or Jalen Brunson?
I'm going Ja. I'm still going Ja.
I didn't know where he was going.
But this year, Jalen Brunson has been better. Like, no doubt. He's been better.
Ja has relatively been the same. It's just all the allegations was really on him. I think
in the playoffs, Jalen Brunson was better though.
James Harden or Jalen Brunson?
I'm going Jalen Brunson.
Top 5 player for him this year.
We see what James Harden is without Embiid, bro.
I mean, that one's tough.
This is the thing. For example, I don't. This is what I don't get, right? Because Brandon Ingram, before he took the Suns to 6 games in the playoffs, was not being ranked as highly as he was. It took that playoff performance for people to be like, yeah, BI is like that in the playoffs.
Last year in that last 15 to 20 game stretch.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
How fair is that? Because now we're talking about SGA as a top 4 point guard because of what he did this season. Why is that so wrong?
Wait, hold on.
For people to boast up Brandon Ingram off of playoff.
Hold on. Nobody. When did I say it was wrong to boast him up? I didn't say it was wrong to boast him up.
You're saying nobody did it until this.
No. I'm saying this. The reason why Brandon Ingram got boasted up, whatever it is, the 15-game stretch that led the Pelicans to the playoffs, those 6 games to everybody proved, okay, Brandon Ingram is more than regular season. Okay. That's why Zach LaVine is still a guy that you're like, I don't know, because he hasn't done it in the playoffs yet. Jalen Brunson performed at a top 5 guard level post the new year, and then in the playoffs performed at a top 6 level and outperformed Donovan Mitchell and Jimmy Butler. So yes, that moves him up. Let's stop acting like that shouldn't move him up. That should move him up.
All right.
That's all I'm saying is it should move him up.
I think it does move him up. I think that I look at Jalen Brunson as a top 30 player, and that is a respectable thing.
I got him top
25. I would even level with that.
Do you have the rest of the names you want to rattle off?
Yeah, so the next name is Tyrese Halliburton.
I'll go Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson.
I just rattled off like 17 names better than Jalen Brunson.
I'll go Brunson.
I'm going Jalen Brunson. Darius Garland.
I would also go Brunson.
I gotta go Brunson right now.
I'm going Jalen Brunson.
That hurt.
De'Aaron Fox.
That hurt.
Yeah.
I'll
go Fox.
Slight lean to Fox. That's close, but slightly to Fox.
I think this is very close. I like Jalen Brunson's footwork and shot making a lot.
Jalen Brunson was better, but regular
season 3-point shots better than De'Aaron Fox.
It is. Yeah. I like De'Aaron Fox just because of the size he gives me.
He's a little bit more twitchy too.
Mm-hmm. So I'll take De'Aaron Fox, but it's close, and Jalen Brunson's right up there.
Damn, that is very close. I'm gonna go Brunson.
SGA.
I'm going with SGA.
Not even thinking about it.
I'm going SGA too, and now Donovan Mitchell.
I'll go D.
I'll still go D. Mitch.
I'm going Mitchell.
I think Jalen Brunson is closing the gap right now on Donovan Mitchell.
No, he is.
This is back-to-back. This is back-to-back postseasons where he's outperformed Donovan Mitchell by a significant amount.
So let me know, Steph or Brunson?
Take Steph.
Giannis.
Joker.
Embiid.
Who's counting? Can you count? Can somebody count?
I'm 5. Butler. 6. I'm 5. Butler. Tatum 6. Kawhi 7. D Book 8. D Mitch 9. SGA 10. Fox.
We said
11.
Fox.
Ja.
We said Ja.
12. PG.
Debatable.
That is.
I
debatable.
also think Fox is debatable.
Okay, so those 2 debatable.
PG is debatable with Brunson too.
Okay, so 2 debables.
Don't count them.
LeBron.
AD.
Luka. Dame. So it's like 14 facts, 2 debatables, and I'm still thinking of 4 more. And that's without Zion. So that makes him more.
I'd take
Say Ant too.
Ant, Zion,
more.
facts.
That's
Karl Anthony
16.
Towns, Jalen Brunson.
Brunson.
Oof. How the mighty have fallen.
There's a lot of debatables for that, like 4 or 5 spots.
Because you got to take into account playoff risers.
Yeah,
Cat is not a playoff riser.
Definitely is.
And
he stays healthy.
He's not even a playoff at my level. He's a playoff dropper.
He is.
Brunson's a playoff riser, though.
Without a doubt.
He is.
Playoff faller for sure.
He's a playoff
Hey,
riser.
shout out the Knicks, man. That's why, like,
Oh, shit, I
It's
forgot
successful.
KD.
KD.
That's
You said
18.
Debo.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's 18.
Yeah.
Flat
It's successful for the Knicks, man. I mean, I don't know if you really want to get a superstar because that feels like the next step. We all love Jalen Brunson here. I don't think he's the number one in a championship team. We've had this conversation, I think, even with Ja. It's just really hard if your name is not Steph Curry to be that size and be the best player on a team, just because it's hard to impact the games in ways that wings can or even centers. So if you do want to go out there and get a superstar, RJ is going to have to be part of that package.
Hey, listen, I don't disagree with you, and I don't take that comment with no disrespect.
He shouldn't.
Because
He could be he could be the best two in the fucking game.
Because there are people that take those comments with disrespect but don't understand the context behind it. To your point, I don't think Donovan Mitchell, I don't think Jalen Brown, I don't think Damian Lillard, I don't think a lot of these guys are best players of the championship team. Maybe Dame is the closest to closing that gap, but I still don't view him in that lens. So saying Jalen Brunson's not that, I take no offense to it. Heck, Anthony Davis at the level he's playing at with LeBron on that team is still cloudy whether he is number one. It is.
Don't do that.
He did nothing with the Pels.
What do you mean nothing?
He had no success with the Pels.
He had the same success Jalen Brunson has with the Knicks right now.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. It's cloudy.
Yeah, can Anthony Davis definitively be a number one on a championship team that doesn't feature LeBron as the first or that
My
best
thing is
player?
though, why do you does AD not get the my team was injured and I played the Warriors slack same way how you give Harden it?
Nah, definitely.
For the most part, he's played the Warriors.
Nah, definitely he does.
So then what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, my statement is
team-
that do you think can Anthony Davis be the number one on a championship team?
If his number two is Jalen Brown,
Well, you
say,
could
and
debate
not
that
LeBron.
he's been number one this season.
He's been the best
Yeah,
player
sure,
in this
but it's
postseason
'cause
on his
his
team.
number two is LeBron.
Well, it's because the defense, he's really just taken to
I don't
another
know.
level.
There's a lot of players you can't definitively say are number ones, and it's not a knock. That's just a reality of it.
Yeah, it's just the Knicks. It's hard because if you don't get that disgruntled star, if you're not able to trade for him this offseason, it's hard to go into next season and feel like you're going to have more success than you did this year. Maybe, not saying that you couldn't get past the Heat, but the Knicks shot 29% from three. The Heat shot 30%. So it felt like the Knicks shot a lot worse. But when you look at the numbers, I don't know. It felt like the series was never.
It was muddy.
Yeah, it was always ugly offense. It never felt like the Knicks were as close as they should have been, right?
Mhm.
You go down 3-1, you win the big game 5, then go back to Miami. And it was a close game, especially down the stretch. You had that weird, elbow when they were trying to inbound the ball that made it really close, even though it's like a 6-7 point game with 50 seconds left. But if you're not able to get that star and you couldn't beat this Heat team that they're a solid team without a doubt, not the most talented, and it's not like they got crazy hot from three. It's not like Jimmy Butler was dropping 40. For the most part, the Heat were kind of just playing average, and you still weren't able to rise up and overcome that. So I like the Knicks' future. You obviously have a lot of picks, but it takes two to tango. You need to have that other superstar available, and if you're not able to get that this offseason, and you're not going to do anything in free
You also
agency.
need the right superstar.
Exactly. So it's tough for the Knicks because you're going to need that superstar to become available for you to take that next step.
Listen, that is fair. I think that the Knicks ceiling with Randall is capped, and I guess Brunson. I'll say more so Randall is capped. You know what you're going to get. But to be fair, if Randall plays at his level, we're in the conference finals right now. Julius Randall
If he's playing regular season level,
Julius Randall not playing at an All NBA level,
it's going 7.
has affected us.
It's going 7.
Has affected us big time.
I don't know if I could outright say you win, but it goes 7.
This
It's
is the way I look at it. Game 1 without Julius Randle, that was the big factor for the Knicks losing that game, in my opinion. That you dropped that one, and then Julius Randle.
We looked great in that one.
Did look great game 1.
Let's
You
not
look
forget
great.
the game without Jimmy. It was close.
It was.
It was.
You got a good point there.
It was close. What I will say to that is that's why Knicks fans have been saying all year long, and if you've been watching this team, Randall is the all-star, all-NBA player, but that's really Jalen Brunson.
Of course,
Brunson's a guard,
Yeah.
so he's not going to get in.
Exactly. Jalen Brunson has really been that guy that has been the best on our team. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's crazy to have Jalen Brunson top 20 right now. And I know John has been working on his top players list. So, John, if you can hear me right now, where do you have Jalen Brunson ranked in your top players
Where's
list?
he got Randall ranked? Told me 59.
Where do you have him?
I'm screaming. I got him high. He's 20 something.
That's still high.
He's 24 for me.
Who do you have
What
over
was
him?
that?
Give me
Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, Pascal Siakam. They're right there. Zion, Jalen Brown, Donovan Mitchell for now.
Those are reasonable
That's
numbers
fair.
over him.
That's the
I've
tiers
got him
then.
above Tyrese Halliburton, Darius Garland, Bam, Cat, BI as well.
Where's Trae Young ranked?
16 for me currently.
16. So he's high for him.
Where'd you
too.
have Randall, John?
He's low.
Yeah, but saying all those names though are debatable with Jalen Brunson right now, I think.
Yeah, we said top 25. I think that's a respectable.
Like he's top 25 lock, but there's arguments to push him to top 20.
I think those are the wait another year arguments. I think Jalen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, those are like wait another year, because I think.
Because Jalen Brown,
Yeah.
you asked him to elevate his offensive game, and he did.
Yeah.
He showed you that even.
But top 25 is respect. It's a good number
I
to
mean,
be.
come
in
on,
Jalen
very
Brunson.
few
He
players
wasn't even
ever
top
get
40.
It's fucking Jalen Brunson, baby.
Yeah. Was he even top 35 last year? So it's like
Bro, he was
just to make that
barely,
jump.
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Probably wasn't even top 50.
yeah. So to make that jump, Randall dropped.
People were taking Garland over him clean. No one would ever think about taking
Brunson.
Brunson over Garland. Here
They
we
were
are.
taking every guard we named over him. Tyrese was over him. Everybody was
Facts.
over him.
Facts.
Yeah, well, you're capped, buddy.
LaMelo was over him.
You're fucked.
I still would.
What do you mean I'm
still
fucked?
going.
You
LaMelo.
will be a second round exit for the rest of your life.
You think so?
Jesus, the rest of your life.
I'm wrong for still taking Lamelo.
Yes.
I'll go to the grave.
LaMelo
Potential.
ball.
He don't even play.
potential.
Respect. He got
Sorry.
hurt. What the fuck?
Sorry. Did
So-
he or did they?
Wait till they get 1B.
Did he get hurt or did they really just?
Do you
think
guys-
of-
Hey,
So question, do you
take a
guys
vacation.
want to preview the conference finals matchup on this show or do you want to do it next show?
next show?
We're 3 hours
I'll
in.
be honest, we're 3 hours in. It's hot
It is hot.
Tired.
It is hot in here.
Bro,
Um,
I'm sweating.
I don't know why it got so hot.
because we all been talking. Our breaths aren't up to par right now.
I
I
need
don't think it's
chapstick
that.
so fucking bad.
When did the game start? Wednesday? Or
I know
Tuesday?
Sunday.
Sunday's you guys. We could do.
No, game 7
Oh
is
my
us. But I'm
God.
saying for
Probably Tuesday
the
or
Western
Wednesday.
Conference.
I'm down. I thank you, bro.
Yeah. Tuesdays.
Game one's Tuesday, so we could do it Monday.
I'm with it. I'm with
Yeah.
it. So, question: Are we about to wrap the show up?
No, not
Yes,
wrap the
bro.
show up, but just do
Oh.
the other two topics that we have. But we don't have to go too in depth on them.
We got the all
Just the
NBA,
biggest
yeah.
takeaways from all NBA.
What do you
the
think?
All NBA
'Cause
selections.
I feel like I still want to make this announcement.
What? The NCLEX?
Damn.
Yeah, make it.
All right.
Yeah, shoot. That's
So
the end of the show.
this is real. Oh yeah.
I feel like it should be.
We have to.
All right.
Whatever.
So
Do you want to wait till the end of the show to make it?
No,
Yes,
no,
we're
no.
right.
It's already done.
No,
My
no.
goodness.
I also
We're
don't
not gonna
think
announce
that.
a failure. Right?
I don't think that facts. That's a fact. So yes, it's been a tough month and a half for me. Honestly, I apologize that it's gonna be long. Riv.
I have to pee. That's why you're
Go to the
hurting me.
bathroom.
Go
He's gonna
piss.
go on his monologue.
How are you gonna go
Yes.
piss on his announcement?
He already told me.
It's all right.
That's
to tell
fine.
him. I
Come
did.
on.
So it's been a tough month and a half for me mentally, to be honest with you. I say this very humbly and respectfully, and I'm very grateful to God for this. There's been very few outright failures in my life, and to fail the NCLEX really took a toll on me. So you learn from things like that. You have to. You can go in one or two directions. You could take that failure and you can go left. You can take that failure, use it as motivation, and come back better. And thank God, man. We passed the NCLEX, and I appreciate the applause. I tell you what, man, finding out that I passed, that 2 days was hell because I was just so unsure of myself. I was shaking. I wasn't expecting to fail the first time around. So waiting for that result the second time around, man, I really was worried about it. To see that passing just to see it say pass. Oh man, it was an emotion that I haven't felt in a very, very long time. And I say this on the show because I know my dad's listening. And I know that he's going to hear this. And I haven't told my dad that I've passed yet. I've really only told you guys, my brother, my sister, and of course, Alexandra. I don't think my mom's listening now. I'm waiting for another date now. But this is especially for my dad because I know that he listens to every single show that we record. And I felt like this would be a little special tribute to my pops.
Hey, shout out to Pops, man. Shout out to Drew. Drew's been grinding his ass off, man. We're going on playbacks, doing live streams, and after, of course, we're bullshitting. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go study. It's like 2 a.m. He's putting in the work. He's grinding. He's been doing this nursing shit fucking since when we graduated, 2016, right? So
Yeah.
2016, we've been there since the ups and downs where he doesn't want to do it, when he has to stick through it, and he's been grinding his ass off, man. The fact that you came – we didn't know if you were gonna be here. I know
That's
you
a
did not want to
fact,
be a
bro.
nurse. There was a couple years there where like, bro,
That's a
fuck
fact.
this shit. I don't want to do it. Let me just do something easier, get my degree. But the fact you stuck with it, man, it just shows your character and who you're about. And when you put your mind to it, you could fucking do anything. Bro.
I
So,
appreciate
proud
that
of you,
thing.
bro. Proud
Thanks,
of you.
man. Thank you. It's a lot, man. It's been an emotional 2 days for me, bro. I cried like a bitch, bro. I really did. I found out that I passed, and I just hugged my dog and started crying so much. It's really one of those things that you don't realize how much of a toll a failure has on you to that degree, but to overcome it is really just an amazing ass feeling. And Joel, it means a lot to me because I do know the work that I put in.
Sure.
And there's definitely those nights that I wanted nothing more than to put that shit aside and focus on the podcast. But I understood that I had a course to stay on. So here we are, man. And it's just the beginning.
Make sure you guys drop a like for Drew.
Drop a like for
in the
Drew.
live stream. We're at
That's fucking-
899 viewers, 900 viewers, and 395
Get those
likes.
likes up, man.
Make sure to drop a like on the stream and put W's in the chat for Drew for passing the any clicks.
So yeah, yesterday was one of the best days of my life.
Hey.
We got paid. We got paid.
So we got paid.
Lakers won. I passed the Uglex. Nah, I was living.
So on that note, we're going to read super chats, then do a buying or selling and end off the show.
We're gonna talk about Monty.
Hopefully that's a super chat. Maybe that's super chat.
Okay, I'll say that's probably the
Okay.
only thing we should cover.
So Tommy goes, how about
sweaty.
them Knicks?
How about them Knicks?
Oh,
Is right,
man.
man.
Fucking
Daniel
garbage.
Guerrero, Joel, as a Lakers fan, you are not allowed on the boat.
You're trying to
Agreed.
get on.
I don't want to be on the boat. Trust me. Senpai NFT, appreciate my 100 from Riv. Sad that your Dubs had to go out like that, but Curry ain't never beat Braun with healthy
No.
stars without KD on his team.
I lost some good money.
I should have took money from
My
you instead of
goodness.
this.
I lost
bullshit.
$500.
Oh,
Sheesh.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I respect though. You know what I'm saying? I was
This from
confident.
Santos, but where's my Curry jersey?
he's
Bro,
done.
We lost, bro.
He's done. He's done.
It's okay, Santos. We'll get him next year, hopefully.
Anthony Sirocco goes, when Miami makes the finals, Joel should wear a Bam Adebayo or Kyle Lowry Heat jersey.
That would be insane.
That would never
Not enough
happen.
respect on my boy Bam, man. We
That would
moved
never
up.
happen. Easy E goes, when Celtics make it to the NBA Finals, Joel M should wear a Tatum or Brown jersey.
Whoa.
That's why I'm wearing every jersey of teams. My goodness.
No doubt about it, though. You're wearing a LeBron James jersey if and when they win.
I have not made any bets with you.
I don't
mister.
care. Has nothing to do with bets. As a man,
That's a man.
Santos goes, wait a minute. You're telling me I'm not getting my jersey?
Oh
Wow.
That
And I was
fast.
going to give y'all an NFL jersey.
He
I'm in
was,
pain
facts.
right now.
listen, Santos. Wait the chorus, bro. We understand that you're top two, arguably the greatest pick a
Top
side
one.
fan of all time. All right, understand that. You be patient. You get your rewards.
Josh Boateng goes, had to stop by and show some love. Keep up the good work, fam.
My guys.
Shout out to Josh. Ray B goes, keep doing y'all thing. Also, Riv, the Laker fit suits you well, sir.
They've been crewing. I'm
Look
gonna
at
have to, I'm gonna have to jump
The,
on
Sun-
you.
the Suns are expected to explore the feasibility of luring Ty Lue away from the Clippers.
Wow.
So you're about to be a Suns fan,
No, I wouldn't move because of Ty Lue.
And he's a Paul George guy. He's
but he
not-
loves Ty Lue.
I do, but
Would you
Brandon
trade picks for
Rapone
him?
go-
They don't have any
Brandon
picks. How do we
Rapone-
get Ty Lue?
Brandon Rapone donated $19. No comment. If you want to throw in a comment, we'll have John put it up.
Shout out
Now,
Brandon.
Clicky Keys goes, I caught my boys live. Nuggets and 6. Let's go.
I haven't met many Nuggets fans.
Just John.
This from Q
And
Boogavelli.
Swiper.
Swipe.
I'm
effects.
being hell competing with
Oh,
Swiper.
yeah.
Nick
Who's more
Nurse to
toxic? I don't know.
Phoenix. Q Boogavelli. Clicky Keys, that purple and gold looks like home for you, Riv. LOL.
Tell you what, if you need a coach, it's a good year to need a coach. Monty and Nurse. out
Oh,
there.
D.
Bud
And
to
Bud.
lesser
And
extent.
now
Yeah.
this is from Sid A, who donated 70 euros, I believe.
Hey.
Monty got
That's good
fired.
conversion rates.
Who do you think replaces him? So this is a Monty Williams topic. So Suns fired Monty Williams. That's a breaking news. It's
Yeah.
live on the show. So what happens now for Phoenix?
Wait, what's $70 in euro? What's that?
It's a good conversion for US.
It's solid. It's almost $1.
It's about
right?
the same.
Yeah.
I think that, in my
I think it might be
opinion,
more,
I'll
but
still
probably.
say this: Nick Nurse is the best available head coach that there is. If you are a team that needs a head coach, you look at Nick Nurse as the best available option. I'm the Phoenix Suns. If I'm the Phoenix Suns, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, these are the two teams that I look for Nick Nurse to be in heavy conversations for. Phoenix Suns, we spoke about it ad nauseum already, that they need role players. Forget about trying to put another star around KD and Booker. You need role players to surround these two guys. You need better defensive play. You need guys that can knock down the three ball, that can space the floor. And you need players that are going to want to play for the Phoenix Suns, not guys like DeAndre Ayton, for prime example. So it's going to be a coach that's going to try to get the most out of these players. It seemed like Monty kind of lost the locker room, and a guy who's the number one overall pick to lose his drive and his motivation for the game of basketball, to have a bench player come in and take his minutes and be effective. That just speaks more so to how you kind of lose the team, and more so that's more on Landale
Yeah.
than it is on Monty, really.
So
he didn't have much of a choice.
no, for
He was
sure,
playing better.
for sure, he was. So I think it's more so someone that's going to come here and demand respect, and I think that'll be a Nick Nurse. That'll be although I don't think that he's the best head coach in my opinion, a Budenholzer, someone that really is going to come in and demand respect.
Listen, how I feel about this is I'm not surprised. Monty Williams, he's done some great things for Phoenix. He's the
Absolutely.
reason why they are finally a relevant team. Started with the undefeated streak in the bubble, then transferred over to the 2021 season where they made the NBA Finals. Monty Williams has always been questionable in terms of his rotations. He is a bit too loyal to guys that he shouldn't be. Landry Shamet is a prime example of that.
Facts.
I think this team just needed a different voice. And what this tells me is that, one, Matt Ishba is serious. He wants to win now. He's not happy with the second round exit. So the fact that the Suns have an owner that cares about winning, that to this point shows signs of being functional and being aggressive and making moves is a good sign. What I'm interested to see in all of this is what happens with DeAndre Ayton, because I think a big part of DeAndre Ayton's drop-off in his effort was Monty Williams. After the 2022 playoffs, Ayton doesn't talk to Monty Williams for months. They don't talk at all in the offseason. And it feels like DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams have been clashing heads in that locker room for a while. So maybe bringing in a new head coach. Maybe it's Nick Nurse. Maybe it's Tyronn Lue, who the Suns are trying to lure away from the Clippers. Maybe they bring a different side of Ayton that we haven't seen yet. And this could be the positive. I still do think that Chris Paul will not be a part of this team. I think he's too unreliable from a health standpoint. And given his age, he just doesn't offer you enough given his age right now. But I like this move a lot. I think they needed a new voice. And my girl told me they fired some scouts. Like, they fired a bunch of scouts from the Suns, too.
Really?
She locked in.
And another thing that I want to say is the leash that head coaches have in today's NBA is so
short.
minimal. Like
Some of them, yeah.
you have one bad season, it'll change the entire perspective of how a front office can see you, and then you're gone. We've seen head coaches win NBA championships.
Monty got
and still get fired.
back-to-back years.
I don't disagree. And listen, I'm here saying that I understand where they're coming from, but I can also sit here and say there is such minimal room for error if you're a head coach nowadays.
Can I ask you a question?
Talk to me.
So Monty got outcoached in Dallas, I think, after game 2.
No doubt. Easily.
Do we think Monty got outcoached against the Clippers, or the Suns just had better talent? Or they just had the better two-way player?
I think that
he got
what
outcoached.
happened-
He got outcoached.
For sure.
And then he also got outcoached against Denver. That's 3.
He got outcoached by Mike Budenholzer,
Getting
too.
out, and that's the biggest fault in my
That's
opinion.
4. Well, aside from the
Not
first
just
round
because it's the
against
finals,
the Pels,
because
That's
Budenholzer
4
gets out coached more
that's
often.
4
than
in his last 5 series.
You look at the Suns, and 2021 was their finals run. In the first round, the Lakers got injured. In the second round, they faced the Nuggets with no Jamal Murray, and MPJ had a bad series that year.
Tyloo Fig outcoached him in that one, too.
And then in the Western Conference Finals, without Kawhi Leonard, they take you to 6 games. It could have been 7 had it not been for a game winning tipping by DeAndre Ayton at the basket.
In game 2.
So, there are a lot of it shows that if the Suns don't have overwhelming talent, they're not going to win. If teams are not injured, they're not going to win. So right now, it just shows that they need a coach that's going to maximize the talent, because when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you're not going to have the best depth around them. So you have to get the most out of the players you do have.
Yeah, and the windows are just so small. Like, especially for them, Kevin Durant, he's in his mid-30s now. He's had injury problems. But also it could go the opposite, right? Budenholzer was going to get fired. He goes and wins a championship that you survive a couple more seasons. And for Monty, even this season, they beat the Clippers in 5, right? 5?
Respect Kawhi.
But it was still those games with Kawhi and without Kawhi, all of those. Exactly. Like, obviously, they win the series. You win in 5. You're going to look at back history, be like, oh, they won in 5, whatever. But all those games were close. Ty Lue was pushing all the right buttons. And if Kawhi's healthy or Paul George, that could easily be a 6 or 7, win series for the Clippers.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think, like I said, 4 out of the 5 of your last series, you've been outcoached. And the reason why you won some of them is because you've had your team wasn't injured. Against the Bucks, you got outcoached. Dallas outcoached. Clippers outcoached. Denver outcoached. I think you have.
Did he really get outcoached against Denver?
I think.
I feel like it was a skill issue.
I think Mike Malone outcoached him, but we can agree to disagree. But that's also another problem.
I'll give some pushback with the Nuggets series, because Denver was a better team. And you can't control your players shooting 22%.
I think they were a better team, but also Mike Malone's defensive scheme was really, really good. But to say all that, even then, like you said, They didn't have enough talent, and that's also another problem. You have money allocated to Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre, and you got to find a way to get Chris Paul off this roster. You have to find a way to make DeAndre.
Chris Paul, though.
You can, but what are you going to get back? That's the thing. And
that's
the thing.
I think as long as you get a role player for Chris Paul, it's a win.
But who's the that I don't know if that's a win because they just had a bunch of role players on the roster.
Because you don't have any picks. You don't have any picks to attach to him, and whoever's taking on Chris Paul is probably a championship level team. Who's like, we need a veteran presence.
I want to push back on this notion, and Drew mentioned earlier. Out the picks that Phoenix gave to Brooklyn was a lot. It was. It's Kevin Durant. I don't think they gave up their depth for him, though. Jay Crowder wasn't playing for Phoenix anyway.
It was Bridges and Cam.
It was two players.
But Jay Crowder went to
Milwaukee.
But you got to remember, they gave up their depth. Not their depth. They gave up the two wings, and they also created
their
triple
best
of
role
their
players.
team because now they don't have draft.
Because now those guys are out, and you got to insert Josh Okogie or insert Landry.
Yeah, that's fine. But even with Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson on this team, because Jay Crowder was not going to play for them at all.
Terrible.
Even with Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, the ceiling is much less. I don't think Mikal Bridges becomes this player.
The ceiling for Phoenix, even when they got Kevin Durant, was the same. Well,
I think it's higher for sure.
But this roster?
I think, well,
yeah.
Now
it gives you KD, and now you go in the offseason, you fill out the team.
Now this gives you a chance to go into the offseason and now get the surrounding parts needed to compete.
Yeah.
I think with Mikal and Cam Johnson, given Cam Johnson was approaching restricted free agency, so he was going to get an offer sheet. They had to probably match, and who knows how much it was going to be. I think you're trading two players for a top 10 player.
But the ceiling in theory should be higher. But when you give up two players and then all the draft capital, and now Chris Paul's aging, Ayton doesn't want to be there. You have a lot of holes you have to fill. No, I'm just saying you have a lot of holes you have to fill. Getting Kevin Durant, you make that move 10 times out of 10. It's Kevin Durant. But at the same time, the ceiling still ended up inevitably being the same ceiling you had with the role players, which is second round.
I mean, hindsight is 2020.
For this season.
But next year, Kevin Durant gets older. Now you have no draft capital. He's going to be fine, is what we keep saying every year.
But the Suns
in the regular season, but not when it matters, which is the problem.
Was the issue this series about Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant was a part of the problem.
It was, but
offensively.
But also, don't you think that getting a new head coach in there now,
new voice,
there's new voice, but not only that, but now it's potentially a coach that can get Kevin Durant into better spots offensively. But because Monty wasn't running an actual offense.
That's going to come with who he brings on the roster. I'm more interested in what they do in free agency than their coach.
And maybe, like you said, Ayton could open some shit up too.
The Suns have the ability to sign a mid-level exception free agent, which could be valuable
for sure.
And who knows? Maybe they do trade Ayton and Chris Paul to get something back for him. I think
they're going to reshape it.
I just don't think it's not. This to me was not Clippers trading SGA, Gallinari, and 10 years worth of draft picks for Paul George. I don't think it was.
It's the same thing.
I don't think, not even close.
Same thing?
Wait, how many picks did
they give up? 4.
They gave up 4 for 2 players. No, I'm sorry. How many did the Clippers give up?
Oh my God.
Because the Clippers have like their 2027 pick, right?
And I think they gave up a ton.
They gave up so many.
But they gave up so many for 2 players. Essentially.
For one, though.
No, it was 2 players.
I guess if you want to
TJ Warren and Kevin Durant.
No, I'm talking about the Clippers.
He's saying the Clippers did this for Kawhi and Paul George.
You have to, because if they don't get Paul George, they don't get Kawhi.
That's what makes it kind of
better. The Clippers
is
still worse. It's still worse. Undoubtedly, it's still worse.
Max said KD knows how to go to a team and ruin it.
Painful.
Yeah, so it was Clippers received Paul George for Gallinari, SGA, 2021 first round pick, which was Trey Mann.
Was it
2022 first round pick, which became Jalen Williams. 2023 first round pick via Heat. 2023 first round pick swap. 2024 first round pick. 2025 first round pick. 2026 first round pick.
I wish I could be.
Oh my!
I wish I could be in the room when they were just asking for first after first.
SGA is the killer.
Crazy.
SGA is the killer.
Come on.
Like I love Mikal, but I don't think he's going to become that.
No.
So if you're able to trade, because Mikal,
I think they're both bad.
Mikal on the Suns is a utility role player who he was going to average 18, 19. So I think it was still a fair trade, even though people act like they just gave up a haul for KD.
Oh, listen, I think
the picks was a lot.
I think this very blatantly. If the Suns don't win a championship, it's a failure trade.
They don't even get to. They might not even get to the WCF.
So they have until Kevin Durant retires for them
to leaves or.
I mean, every team that trades for a star player doesn't result in a championship is a failure.
Agreed.
I think.
Agreed.
Same thing for the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell.
Agreed.
I think if.
Yes, Riv.
Championship.
Riv, stop Yes.
I think that's
You don't
more.
make that move to go to a
Like the
WCF.
No, but I think
time.
that move is more credited to not what, like we've mentioned, not what Donovan can do, but what the young players can do along with Donovan. I think if the young players don't pop, that's more of a
But
failure
we
than
all.
Donovan.
But the expectation was, Riv.
In a couple of years, they should be finals contenders.
Because of their young players.
Yes.
Donovan's
And
gonna
Donovan.
but Donovan's gonna be what he's gonna be. It's more on the young, like it's different. Whereas Kevin Durant, he's the next piece up. Donovan is a part of it, but it's really the young.
Well, they
just
got
made the
him to
deal
take
kind of
them over the
prematurely.
top.
Yeah, but
They
it's
made the
really the
deal
young.
It
before
was
players.
the young guys
the
popped.
Cavaliers understood.
They needed another guy.
We have a young primetime guard in Darius Garland. We have the future at the forward position in Evan Mobley. Jared Allen is a fucking damn good center.
Yeah.
Now we add Donovan Mitchell. We should make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They didn't.
I lean that more. Yeah, I get what you're
It's the
saying.
Motherfuckers
same
want
thing
mute.
for the Clippers and Paul George. If the Clippers
that's
don't
a
win,
failure.
that's a failure.
And you look at what the Wolves did. They tried to make a move for Rudy Gobert because they thought that was going to put them over the top. That's just what happens when you look at players that are traded from multiple.
Win now
firsts.
trades have to be looked at in that lens.
I agree
For
wholeheartedly.
sure. I don't know if they looked at Rudy like this is what puts us over the top to be a champ. I think they're waiting more. This helps us, but we're still waiting on Ant and Jaden to
That's
develop.
true, but if the team never reaches that height, then it is a failure.
There's only
Yeah.
been two.
No, I don't think that's more.
trades.
I don't think that's on the trade though. I think that's more on
like if the
two players don't
Timberwolves
reach it.
in the next 5 years don't make a conference finals, and they have to trade Gobert like within those 5 years, I think that's a failure.
But if the Timberwolves don't make it and it's because of Ant or Jaden not popping, is that still on the trade's fault?
well, Ant's gonna pop.
No, I'm just saying hypothetically, is that on Gobert or on them two itself? Just hypothetically.
Well, I would
speaking.
say Jaden is more of a question mark,
Mhm.
but like, and you're trying to tie this into the context of like the Cavs.
No, I'm just.
I think
it's
Garland.
hypothetical.
I think Garland is an all-star, and I think Mobley should pop in like the next 2 years. So
okay,
if-
so using them, if they don't pop, is it on Donovan Mitchell because they didn't pop? Like, is the trade a L or it's on them? The
it
draft.
depends on how it goes, because if you're getting outplayed by Jalen Brunson in the first round, then it is on you.
Getting outplayed by Jalen Brunson, yes, but your other two guys did not show up at all, and you are the only offensive player out there doing good.
But he was supposed to be the one to win those.
He was
series
also
for you.
supposed to come in there and have a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just saying that it's a failure if they don't make it far in the playoffs in the East, given the trade.
But I was
Yeah,
going to say
yeah.
also, how many, realistically, off the top of my head, I can think of only 3 trades that have resulted in championships for superstar players.
And those are successful, like the
But
Anthony
no,
Davis
but
one.
that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I only look at 3 trades
What,
that were successful.
Golden State. No, it wasn't even
No.
a trade.
Free
I
agent.
say,
Well, wasn't that a signing trade?
do you count Wiggins?
The Barnes.
No, I'm talking about KD. Wasn't that
That
a
was a
signing?
Nah,
Barnes.
that was
Or
a
no,
sign.
it was Barnes.
It was a
and then,
sign.
yeah.
I look at Kevin Garnett, I look at Kawhi Leonard, and I look at Anthony Davis. Off
Were
the
you
top
counting
of my head,
Wiggins?
you could if you really wanted
like the
to.
thing closest to that I think teeters the line of
I mean, he's the
successful
second
or
best
failure.
player in that team. So
But I say,
he
like,
probably
you
could,
ch-
honestly.
Like even
Those are also
Kawhi wasn't even
established, yeah.
traded for that much in reality.
But everyone else, like
the
this
Rockets-
is the superstar we're getting.
But you got to think those trades are like they already have a pretty much established roster. They just need one more thing.
Not the Lakers and not even Boston.
Boston was it was a bringing all big 3 of them together.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what
I
it
understand.
was.
I understand where you're
Yeah.
coming from. I'm just saying that maybe not a championship, but the Cavs need to make deep playoff
Yeah, yeah.
runs because
I'm
I
with you.
think their young players will pop.
No, I'm with you.
But
I'm
I
with you.
think the thing that the trade that teeters the line closest to failure or success is Chris Paul to the Rockets.
Mhm.
You know that because they were successful in 2018, but he got injured, so they didn't win a championship. So in hindsight, the thing was a failure, but it
Yeah.
could have been successful. This from Brandon Rapone. Congrats, Drew. Riv looking good in the Lakers colors. Sixers win tomorrow. Let's go.
Ooh.
Damn.
Lost me there.
My
Did
God, Dehls.
God, I got the other day when we were going to Game 6, I was getting so nauseous just thinking about the game. Tomorrow's gonna be hell.
Clicky Keys, the Ricky
Yeah.
Drew. This Ricky Drew.
Man,
Yeah, and I saw that. Shout out to my boy Ricky, even though he's an absolute troll when it comes to the Lakers.
You have
That's
Tatum.
that's
Why are you not
Broncos
manning
fan.
up?
Wayne
Scared?
go crazy.
Sure, it's game
Shout
seven.
out
Don't you
to
have a top
Heat.
8 player though?
We do.
You think sure? You don't act like you do.
So do they.
This
Not
from
really.
Wayne
Booker
go
didn't look
crazy.
like a top 8
I
player.
don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying.
Who
You
cares?
told me Devin Booker was better than Tatum.
No, he told you that. Turn around.
That was
Stamping on
him
it.
too.
Yeah, wasn't me.
Shout out to the Heat, first true 8 seed to
Well,
make
they
the
both
ECF. No lockout needed. Respect us, Moran. Oh, get out of here.
Wow.
We're not even gonna make the finals. We made the finals, and we lost to the Spurs. Respectfully, a dynasty.
Young Tim Duncan.
He was menace. He was dog.
I agree.
David Robinson.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Back in David Robinson.
Jim O'Brien. Maybe a new coach can fix Ayton if the Suns can't trade him.
Bucks.
New coach and new owner can maybe get him to buy in and play hard.
They better hope.
Yeah, I mean,
They're hoping.
DeAndre
They don't have
Ayton
much of another
did
choice.
say in the Suns exit interviews that he loves playing hard for Phoenix.
Right.
I don't know if I believe him.
Yeah, what he says and what he actually does is
Yeah.
like two
Is
completely different
DeAndre
things.
in the new street clothes?
But hey,
I need a new nickname.
At least
No, he
he's saying
plays.
that,
He
not
just-
fucking Randall.
Maybe-
They just wanted him more than
plays.
us. Right? I'd rather him lie.
Openly sat for a game 6.
No, but I'm saying he's not always injured.
No, I understand, but
He can't be street clothes. He's maybe we can
I
maybe
feel like
call
it's more
him-
disrespectful to sit when you're healthy than it is to sit when you're not.
He was. I thought he was injured.
Come on, bro.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Wiggins went out there and played. Fucking ain't.
Wiggins is a grown man. He's also a real man.
So, I mean,
He's
you
a
think
champion.
Aiden's
Anthony
man.
Davis had a concussion.
Oh God.
Okay.
Now to finish off this show, we're
Bro,
gonna
we know
go
if he really
buying,
had a concussion. He was not playing, bro.
buying or selling. Jordan Poole will have a bounce back season next year.
I'm selling the hell out of that.
You're 5 Poole. I'm buying. I gotta buy. Fuck
You
am I
don't
gonna
feel
do?
confident. I just don't hear the confidence in your voice.
What else am I gonna do?
Is he gonna be on the Warriors?
Be honest.
Yeah, I'm buying.
In this
I don't-
hypothetical,
I don't know.
You have to gamble on it. It's called
This
gambling.
is your thoughts. Whatever you think.
Is
Damn,
Tatum
bro.
gonna win tomorrow?
I think he'll be better than this year, but
pray
that's
to
not
God.
saying much.
He will be better than this year, but not as good as the championship
No,
run.
I'm buying. He'll have a bounce back season.
Because he was fucking terrible in
That's
the
what I'm
playoffs.
saying.
He has to
Hey,
be better.
No, bro. He was bad.
When he started, he was good.
They're cooked.
How many games did he start in the playoffs?
In the playoffs, he would never start.
No, that's what I'm saying. This playoff run, he didn't
Zero.
start.
Zero.
It was terrible.
I know. You remember when?
That's not true. He
Never mind.
started when Drake was
Started one game.
was
One
sus-
game. He had a
I
good
said-
game against
thought
the
he
Lakers
started.
in game 1. It was a good game.
he started a couple against the Kings actually. Now I think
I think
about
like,
it
no, I think he started
because
like
I think
one.
it was-
he started
the-
the game that Dre was he
In the
missed,
game after.
and then the game after.
Yeah,
Oh,
facts.
yes,
Started two.
two. This is hilarious coming from you.
Why?
Nothing.
I said he's gonna be better than this year, but not as good as
No.
championship run.
You're jibber jabber after.
Has he not been terrible?
He's all right.
Oh, okay.
Austin Reeves or Jordan Poole?
Jordan Poole is still, bro.
Idiot.
Austin Reeves had a better run.
Yeah, better. Who?
Playoff run.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
2 rounds. Whoop de fucking do.
Well, you told me he was going to be better this playoff series.
And I admittedly was wrong.
Okay, and you told me
But
also.
Reeves wasn't all world.
But you were taking.
to stop acting
But
like
you were
Reeves was
taking
all world.
victory laps.
Poole's just terrible, so it's kind of easy to be better.
Yeah, it's easy to be better than terrible.
You were taking victory laps.
Well, I mean, because Poole had 3 30-point games last year,
No,
and I
no,
thought
no,
we
bro,
were going to
no,
be great.
I'm not even
the
talking
fuck
about
you
that.
want me to
No,
do,
you were
bro?
taking victory laps at game
has
3.
Reeves had a 30-point game in the playoffs?
You were taking
Has
victory laps at
Reeves
game 3.
had a 30-point game in the playoffs? Has he
Doesn't
had
need
2?
to.
Has he had 3?
Has Jordan Poole ever played good defense in the postseason?
Yes, he actually has.
Okay, when?
Last year.
Really?
When we won a chip.
Be real.
No, it's serious.
Then why was he getting hunted down this
I
series?
said last year.
How do you get worse on defense?
He got worse at everything. What the fuck you want me to do?
Good point.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world.
I'm selling that.
You're a fucking hater,
Bro, he's top
Oh
3.
my-
God forbid.
Who's better than? Do
Fine.
not say Mr. 13 missed free throws.
Come on, bro.
Right now it's right now it's Jokic.
Bye.
The
I think Jokic deserves that recognition.
I've
I'm
been
buying
buying
that.
the
for a
run
minute.
he's
Are
on
you guys,
is fucking
going
insane.
to call Jokic the best player in the world if and when Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers win the series?
Did AD outplay Steph?
I think AD was better. Oh, my bad.
Let's just say yes. Is he better than Steph?
No.
That's what I thought. Anyways, I'm buying.
But the thing is, they play 2 different
Wait, I hear you.
positions.
Yeah, I hear
does it matter?
It does.
because AD and Jokic are gonna be matched up.
So he means to tell me AD's gonna jump from probably like 8, 9, 10 range, right?
This
Thing
Right.
is,
playoff
we
run,
understand when
he's-
he's healthy, he's the fucking
We understand
GOAT.
when Joker's healthy, which he's been
He's
for
been.
3 years. He's
He's
been a
been.
2-time MVP and pretty dominant in the playoffs. Stop.
I'm taking the two-way ability. Simple as
Two-way
that.
what? AD's offensively inconsistent. So two-way what?
But when he's on, he's on.
Nuggets
see,
have
that's
an
the
elite
problem.
defense.
But
these
he is
playoffs.
really 50-50
Come on,
on
bro.
offense.
We're talking about arguably the greatest offensive center ever in
Yeah,
life.
like this
Probably
run,
the best.
He is
Yes, number one.
And you're talking about a guy
stupid.
who's a two-way
And
maybe on
efficient
Sunday.
because
as
we're talking about
fuck.
arguably the greatest defensive big man of all time.
He's not arguably. He's
playmaking,
not even close.
Why?
offensive
Hakeem clears him on
powerhouse.
defense.
Done.
Like it's not a
Agreed.
close.
Agreed.
Like Hakeem clears
I
him
agree
on
with
defense.
you.
Like he will never be better than Hakeem
Okay, take
defensively.
it easy.
No, it's a fact. Like he
Easy.
will never be better.
Hakeem
than
will never
Hakeem.
go into the perimeter.
He'll never be better
and
than
lock the
Tim
way AD
Duncan
does.
either.
Hakeem won a
Definitely.
ring with Kenny Smith as his number 2.
Okay.
You
Also,
didn't know
Jordan
that.
was locked out. What do you mean? Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Are
MVP.
you sure that
DPOY.
Drexler wasn't the
MVP?
number 2?
No, that was the next year, clown.
Okay.
MVP, DPOY ring. I got you. MVP, DPOY ring. Has AD
He's a
ever
legend.
done that in
It's
a year?
because Jordan was out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
That's the real Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah, he beat Shaq. Young Shaq. Very
Yeah,
athletic
real
Shaq.
Mickey Mouse.
Okay. You beat the fucking Heat and Jimmy Butler. Really, Mickey Mouse? You want to play that game? You play Bam
I mean, you're
Adebayo.
telling me, aren't you a Heat fan?
I'm not.
Okay.
Fuck the Heat.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Love Bam, though.
Mhm.
You played Tyler
Stay
Hero
true to who you
and
are, man.
Goran Dragic.
Fucking fraud.
Congrats.
God,
You're a
fuck
fraud.
Orange Dragic.
Yeah. They played Penny and Shaq. You
Yeah,
played
Lakers in
Goran
6, bitch.
Dragic. Oh, you got it.
Okay.
Wiggins has a ring.
DeAndre and
AD.
Chris Paul.
Respect
So does Rajon Rondo.
Fuck cares about Rajon Rondo.
Mickey Mouse, you
Just
remember?
2.
Exactly.
Fuck
It's a legend.
Thanks.
Respected.
Legend for who?
Celtics.
Oh, he is your legend. Think about that.
He's a Lego legend.
DeAndre and Chris Paul will get traded.
Buying.
One of them, at least.
Both of them?
Monty getting fired changes Ayton's perspective with me.
I'm selling it because I think Ayton will stay.
Yes,
I think Chris Paul
gets
goes.
moved.
Yeah, it's
Facts.
both of them. So I'll go, shoot for the stars. I'm going to buy. Fuck
It's
it.
because they just paid Ayton that I don't think that they'll move off after year one.
And yeah, who knows what you get.
Knicks should trade Julius Randle.
Bye.
I'm buying it. I'm putting my life
I'm
on it.
over the regular season multi all
Fraudulent
NBA or
All-NBA
Julius
guy.
Randle. Do not care. This brother does not show
But
up
here's
to the
the thing.
playoffs.
Am I
2
crazy for
years.
saying I think Kyle Kuzma fits better?
Why the fuck do you keep saying Kyle Kuzma?
Bro, love
Respect
Kyle
Kyle.
Kuzma.
Yeah,
Kyle
is it-
Kuzma's a GOAT.
Yeah. I'll say this. What's the real difference between Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle come playoff time?
Cat is better.
Marginally.
No, I think he's significantly
I mean, they
better.
both have only
Julius
played like
Randle
2 or 3
just put up-
playoff series.
What do you have? Like 17 this run, bro, or 18? It was ugly.
That wasn't all world against
He's not
Memphis.
all world, but he doesn't
Julius,
completely
the
fall
only
off as a
reason
player.
Be real. He was horrible against
They're both
Denver.
not
He
that good.
was.
They're both not that good.
He was. But the only reason you wouldn't is because you don't know. Right now, I don't know how valuable Julius Randle is. The player you get back is not going to be good as Randle in the regular season. You're just hoping he's going to be able to fit whatever superstar you could get next to Brunson as role players.
Would I do it because I have Jalen Brunson? You can run that 2-man ability with the fact that you can pick and pop, pick and roll.
And said I'm chasing my
All
boy MJ.
Are you guys ready?
Best shooting
So,
guard ever.
Who?
Love.
Anthony Edwards?
Jesus Christ.
He's
He's an
gonna
idiot.
get there.
No, he's not. Not
He's
even
gonna
close.
get there.
He won't
And it's
pass
funny
James
because remember
Harden.
when he laughed at Edwards' bad game and then Tatum had
Yeah, you
a
fucked
stretch
up.
of
And I was-
stinkers?
I had to laugh at it the way he was
it
pushing
good. It's just
fucking.
the way Tatum did you was bad.
Tatum just put up
So
60 in the
these
fourth
are
quarter.
this is Cat.
He
This
needed that.
Yeah, bro. You know what the fuck this offseason would have been if that's how we went out?
You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't stop. I would have killed you. I would have been on you
We
every
would,
single day.
I would have
would've randomly
gotten
texted you 3 in the
Tatum's not
morning.
top 5, top 15.
So, okay.
Should you trade Tatum? I'd
should
rather have
retire.
Donovan Mitchell, some ugly shit. I
should
already
retire.
know.
I would've
Cat
said that.
Cat versus Randall. Randall these playoffs averaged
Outstanding.
16.6 points per game, 8 rebounds,
Oh my god.
shot 37% from the
I
field,
don't want to know.
and 26% from 3.
16 points,
Cat
bro.
averaged 18 points, 10 rebounds, shot 46% from the
Clears.
field, and 25%
Oh, so
from
they
3.
both stink
Because it's marginal.
because he's a
Yeah,
stretch.
But
and
last
that's
playoffs, Cat
Randall
averaged
shot
22 and
36%
11.
from the field?
Yeah,
and
so
he
they both
shot
stink,
40
but Cat less stinks.
He shot 49% from the
fucking
field
Cat
and
was 44.
46% from
He
3.
shot 29% from the 3. That's his motto.
That's
Motto. Yeah. So basically, one is dog shit, and the other is human shit. The
Cat is better. in the
Cat is
playoffs.
better, but it's not.
He is better. Marginally.
He's a better player too. He is a
In the
better
regular
player.
season, one guy's an All NBA. Respect.
Cat is an All-NBA too. You know that.
When the
Right?
last time he made it? It's been a minute.
He just made it when they made the playoffs.
Cat didn't
He
make
just-
All NBA this
yes,
He
year.
made it
did.
last year.
Did he?
Last year.
Respect the Cat, and I know that.
13.
You're supposed to be an NBA historian. Look at this guy.
I don't remember when frauds make All NBA. I'm sorry.
But you remember
You know who
Julius
did?
Randle.
You remember when
He just
DeMar
did.
DeRozan
Remember
made
when
it?
Jalen Brown made it?
I actually don't remember. DeMar made it last year.
He'll never forget that.
You
What?
remembered.
Jalen Brown? He only
Yeah.
made it because they put him as a forward. If they put him as a guard,
Because he
was
played
fucked.
forward all
He
year.
should be playing guard. You should play 2 bigs. I hate you guys.
But you're also
Playing
an
2 bigs
idiot.
now.
You hear me?
Hmm?
You're an idiot
Why?
because you slept on Jalen Brown.
I'm still sleeping.
Wake up.
Nah.
Idiot.
They're about to lose to Philly. And Maxi's been better.
You believe that?
No.
He's
He's
been
been good though. Don't
Yeah.
sleep though. He's
Now, Max.
When Maxi gets hot, it's
You can't do
nasty.
it.
Now
Anything.
this from
It's nasty.
Clicky Keys. Are y'all streaming Jets versus Broncos week 5?
If we
I don't
can
think
get on
playback-
yeah,
yeah,
playback. I
playback
don't
is-
think.
I don't
that's
think
gonna
playback has it. Yeah, I don't.
We're in Denver.
should,
Again,
play
that's
back
not fair.
tomorrow.
We're in Denver 2 years in a row.
Shut up.
That's when all of our guys. That's when ABT and Brees
and
got hurt.
up.
Fuck that.
That shit was
It's
sad.
gonna be freezing in week 5.
Well, that's gonna do
Remember?
it for this
Like
episode of the
October
Pick a Side podcast, episode
it's cold.
280. You can follow
This
us
is
on
fucking
Twitter
right
at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Buy Pick a Side merch on
Download Boom Fantasy.
pickasidepodcast.com. Yes,
Download Boom
download
Fantasy.
Boom Fantasy,
Like I
download
said,
Mojo.
Legendary episode. We had
Support
over
our sponsors.
1,000 heads watching
Yes.
at one
We're
time.
begging you. to download.
Please, code
No,
pick
like,
aside.
please, I would do things if you help me.
I'll Venmo you the 10. Just download,
Yeah, like,
deposit.
at this
sign
point,
up.
we'll bet you out of money. Just download the
Just
fuck.
if you're in a just DM either one of us personally on our personal accounts.
Drew won't
Tell us
answer.
you're downloading Boom Fantasy. We will send you $10 on Cash
Just
App
DM
to make a
me.
deposit.
None of them are gonna answer. Just DM me. I'll answer.
I
It's,
answer.
it's
I
legal
got
in
you.
like half the states. Let us know what state you're in. I'll let you know if it's legal.
And then we'll send you the $10. Hopefully
Send you the
used
10.
for
Hopefully,
Boom
1,000
Fantasy.
people
Yes, sir.
won't hit us up. Like,
Only people
send
that don't have it though. If you have it,
if
don't
you already
come.
have it,
yeah.
thank you, but this doesn't apply.
Yeah.
And we love
So shout out to Drew once again for passing
Shout
his
out to Mr.
and
Velez.
Klex. That's gonna do it for episode 280 of the Pick Aside Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.